We're gonna go over the rules of the podcast because obviously it's been a while since we've done one of these Rajj Royales. We're gonna go over the rules, so everybody in the chat is familiar with it. What?
Destiny thinks someone was actually eliminated.
No, nobody was actually eliminated. Okay, so here are the rules of the Rajj Royale podcast. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Here we go. As you can tell, right above the heads of the contestants, there is a timer. Where's this echo coming from?
You got it.
It's John. I can mute John.
Zoker, get out.
Here we go. We muted him. Above the heads of the contestants is a timer. That timer has started. At the end of the round, we will submit a straw poll into the chat. Chat, you will vote for who you want to keep on the Rajj Royale podcast. Keep, not kick. The person with the most amount of votes will choose between the two lowest amount of voted people. That person will be eliminated. We will get through all the rounds until there's one person standing. That one person standing will win the Rajj Royale podcast. Does that make sense to all you contestants and viewers of the stream? Yes? Okay, good. Now we can move on. Let's go to introductions. We're going to introduce every single person who's participating on the show. Like I said, Trihex is here. He's just not joined yet. I will let you know, and he'll come on camera as soon as he joins. Let's start with our introductions. Top left-hand corner, Eva Unalove. Welcome aboard.
Hi, my name is Eva Unalove. I go by they, them pronouns, and I teach intersectional feminism here on Twitch.
Awesome. Welcome aboard, Eva Unalove. Thank you so much for being here. To their right. Sorry. Excuse me. I'm working on it. Destiny, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for being here. Destiny, hello. Introduce yourself. I'm sure everybody knows, but Destiny without a beard. Hello?
Yep, that's right. Thanks,
yes.
Raj. Nobody could tell until you pointed it out. What's up?
Yeah, no problem. How are you doing with that? I've heard a lot of shit being spoken about it. How are you feeling about it?
Tell me I look good. You don't think so?
I didn't even recognize you when you tweeted the picture of yourself.
Good. I'm glad. That was the goal.
Yeah. How do you feel? How does Melina feel about it?
We're all feeling okay here, Raj, at the Bonnell household. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Like the soy boy meme really comes to life when you don't have a beard now.
Thanks.
You just have no masculinity about you at all.
Wow. Thanks. That means a lot coming from you, Wes.
I have masculinity. It's just round.
Thank you very much, Destiny. Welcome aboard. Thank you. To the right of Destiny, this is the first time she has been on the Rajj Royale podcast before, mounted with a shotgun AR-15, all legal weapons on behind her. Go ahead and introduce yourself, BX Bullet.
Hey guys, my name is Becca. I'm a competitive shooter in Texas. I'm also a self-defense instructor, just really into self-defense and competitive shooting, so.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard.
And I'm a new streamer. I've only been streaming for like 4 months. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And you stream on Twitch. What do you primarily stream?
Correct. Mostly just chatting, but I've also done some IRL live gun range stuff. I play some games here and there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. To the right of BX Bullet TV, crazy and not allowed to own anything on BX Bullet's wall, Cutie Cinderella. Welcome aboard.
Hi, I have really exciting news. I've almost finished this whole bag of Cheetos in one sitting. I've kind of been going through a lot since Slicker dumped me, but
yes.
I think I'll be okay.
Are you recovering?
I'm all these things.
Are you recovering nicely because you chose love for Slicker after not choosing love for many men before that, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Who did you choose love with? You chose love with Ms. Kiff. You chose love with who else?
And Slicker.
And Slicker, that's it. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't have the Slicker merch anymore. I threw it away, and now I just have
and you ripped the portrait that you had made of him, right?
I did. I have nothing left, Raj, besides your show. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. So you have nothing left. Thank you. Welcome aboard, Cutie Cinderella. To the right below Eva Unalove, we have Bella Fernandez. Bella Fernandez, welcome aboard. Go ahead and introduce yourself. This is the first time you've been on the Rajj Royale podcast.
Hi guys, I'm Bella. I've only recently started Twitch. I've been on here for like a month now, I think. And yeah, my main thing is like Instagram, but I thought I'd give Twitch a try.
Yes, absolutely. 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
It's fine.
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard, Bella Fernandez. We're excited to hear what you have to say today. To her right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wes, by the way. Trihex, are you in here, by the way? Hold on. Is Trihex, are you knocking?
I've knocked for like.
Okay, I
5
asked, I
minutes now.
DM'd you Trihex, but it doesn't look.
Oh.
It didn't look like. It looked like somebody else. Is that you in here? Did you just get let in?
Right. Hey.
Did
See here.
you just get let in?
Yeah, I'm in now.
Okay, good. Wait, how'd you get in? How'd you get in? Wait, did somebody drop off? Wait, who dropped
we had
off? Did
11
we
in
lose
here.
Well,
somebody?
Joker and Zherka, did they drop off?
No, they're still here. Did we lose
No,
anybody?
we had 11 in the appearance.
Oh, so
Candy's in the other one.
oh wait. All right, okay. Wait, so we had room? Wait, we had room?
Yeah.
Raj, Jesus Christ, who's running this shit? What's
Me.
going on?
That's the problem, I think.
And that's why we have room.
Trihex, your camera's not working.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. Give me a sec. I'm fixing it.
All right, Wes, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Wes, by the way. I'm contractually obligated to be here. I'm really excited because this is the celebration of 2 weeks until the end of my indentured servitude to Rajjpatel, and then I can start going on other streams. I just want to say thank you to Destiny for calling that out. I didn't have the courage to do it, but now that I have him back,
Can I be serious for 1 minute?
What
Raj,
the fuck?
I'm actually so sorry. I didn't know you fucking had that shit NDA'd because you never made me sign shit.
Okay, come on.
I didn't realize we weren't allowed to talk about
No,
it
he doesn't
publicly.
make you sign an
I
NDA
fucking-
Okay,
when you have
so
less than 100
this is
viewers.
what's crazy. Okay, earlier this week, Destiny came out and in Destiny-like fashion with his twisted, fucked up humor, came out with this idea that I had like given all you guys exclusive contracts, or that you couldn't go on other people's streams.
You got contracts? Fuck, he's fucking blackmailing my family. I didn't know you could
Oh my god, don't say that!
All right.
Oh my god, people came to my stream saying that too. Destiny, you don't just make those rumors. That's not nice.
No, but at the end, hold on. But it was like a 60-second clip, right? It was a 60-second clip, and at the end of the clip, he said he was joking, but people still believe it. People out there, I'm getting.
He said he was joking because it made me mad. So it was more like, oh, I'm joking just because.
I know, and so now there's like this big conspiracy that like I've got all these contracts with people that they're not allowed to come on my show, and now forever that's going to be.
Don't come on the live show. You need to fucking pay.
Yeah. Welcome aboard, Wes. Thank you so much. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Lecture fan. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Lecture Fan. I'm a conservative lawyer. I stream on Twitch every night. I celebrate Columbus Day. I'm skeptical of man-made global warming. I love the U.S. Constitution. Let's do it.
Wait, you celebrate Columbus Day. Do people not celebrate Columbus Day? Is that
Are you kidding? Defense streams all week.
Oh, interesting. That might be interesting.
Are you trying to deny like all the first council atrocities? Is that what you're doing?
No, what I call out is the falsities that have been spread about human slander and lies never committed.
You mean like how we do it wrong and you still did
Dude,
Wait, which atrocity?
He did not commit atrocities.
We'll address that off the bat. Okay, but let's finish the introductions. Rem the Bad Boy, thank you so much for being here. On the bottom left-hand corner, thank you for taking the time out of your very busy day. Clearly, it looks like behind you, but from the looks of behind you, looks like you're doing a lot of nothing. What is that? What's going on behind you?
What do you mean?
What is that? Are those research papers or?
It looks like an episode of Hoarders behind you.
It's like papers that I printed out, and I have nowhere else to store them.
Do you even read them?
Yeah, I've read those.
Okay, very nice. Well, go ahead and finish your introduction. Go on.
Hi, I'm Rem the Bath Boy. What? It's my name. It's Rem the Bath Boy. Okay, I like
Where
that.
did you get your name anyway? Where did Rem the Bath Boy come from?
Well, Rem because
It's what
I
Destiny
sound like
calls
such
him
a
at night.
pretentious twat, but
What is
Rem
that
because my
supposed to
favorite
mean?
painter is Rembrandt. Okay.
Oh god.
Wow.
And then bats because I've said this before. No one ever believes me, but on average, I probably bathe like 4 to 5 hours a day.
Really? Holy
what the-
shit!
Oh my god, so
What?
Are you half mermaid?
Do you
What's wrong?
do you really?
I evolved. My skin has like evolved, and yeah, but I teach or educate people on philosophy and philosophical topics on my Twitch stream.
Did Bella Delphine get her?
Do you
IP
really?
from
Do you really? Sorry, Wes. Go ahead. Sorry,
Wait,
sir.
what?
I don't know. The bath boy, the bath water. Have you
Oh, the
started
bath
selling
water.
it yet?
You know how bad? Do you empty the bathtub and fill it up to make the water warm again?
Well, I mean, it's well, no, not really, but it's not a waste of water because it's well water, so it's not being.
So it's not bad for the environment.
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I'm aware. I guess the worst would be like the heating of the water.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Definitely.
Weird.
All right. To the right of Brum the Bath Boy, joining us from a hotel room satellite phone, Jon Zherka and Jokered. I'm gonna unmute them. I think they're gonna join on a MacBook though, or something like that, right? Let me unmute Jon Zherka. Hello, John. John, test.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Raj?
Yeah, I can hear. Are you gonna join on your MacBook?
Just a second, Raj. This is more important.
Okay. Wait, what's that? Keck W. Okay. What are you gonna? You're gonna join on your MacBook?
No, but we're doing IRL, so make sure like we win and make sure these clowns don't get a host chat. You know, like look at them. No, but seriously, guys, like we're doing IRL. We need the host. What I want to say is Zherka official /Twitter. What's your Twitter?
Joker TV.
Yes. And the first thing I want to say is shout out the Dry Jack game and Destiny for all the whole 6,000 viewer hosts. Destiny, you keep hosting, you're investing in potential. That's what you're doing.
According to Jon Zherka's Twitter, John, you have forgotten about all other people that have helped you because of Destiny's host recently, right?
I know. I hosted Jon Zherka.
Raj, I'm gonna say it right now. That guy hosted me 5 times in 24 hours, each over 4K. I'm forgetting everyone except him. I'm dead serious.
Really?
Joker, Zherka, why can't you just get your own viewers? Why do you care so much about the host, man? You're just taking someone else's viewers and they fell asleep during Destiny debates, so they're just sitting there asleep.
Wait, is he saying he's not viral?
Hey, Zherka, you're a drug addict.
I don't speak fast.
All right. Thank you, John. Welcome aboard. Thank you, Joker and John. To the right of Joker and John, Kaceytron. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Fresh off of a roast of Ninja, definitely caught up in a lot of drama. We're going to talk about that today. Anyway, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm just here to get baked on stream.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here, Casey. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
To the right of Jokered and Jon Zherka, who are creating a lot of background noise. Candyland, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Candyland. I go by woman, female, also like, baby girl or mommy, whatever you prefer. And I'm politically neutral, and I believe in like peace, like world peace. We're gonna achieve it. And I tripped and fell.
Okay, great, wonderful. Last but not least, Trihex, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. You lifted 20,000 pounds of weight during your gym session recently, which is unbelievable. Give him a round of applause. That's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to throw you the workout app I use. It quantifies all the shit I did over like the hour and 45 minutes. Now I got a nice little pump. So sorry about holding everything up.
No, you didn't hold anything up. You're all good. Welcome aboard. Say anything you want to say for your introduction.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? I came today because the tea is spicy, not just hot. The tea is spicy this week. A whole bunch of shit happened.
Yes.
The Ninja thing. Can I say it? Am I allowed to say it? The Bad Bunny.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Bad Bunny.
Here we go.
I'm here for the tea. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
There's a lot of drama.
I've got a lot of takes on Bad Bunny.
Blizzard.
I'm here for the front row. Okay, I'm the one with the biggest like foam like hand thingy. Like that's me right now.
Okay, so you're here for the tea. On top of that,
I'm here for the tea, baby.
we have the Blizzard. We have let's get this straight. We got the Bad Bunny drama. We got the Kaceytron fight with Ninja on Twitter. We got the Blizzard saga that is continued, and we also have Destiny shaving his beard. which is another hot topic that I plan to discuss today.
Good one, Raj.
Yeah.
He legit
So,
looks like Todd Howard.
Yeah, so anyways, is there anything that anybody wants to bring up that's not completely obvious that we can talk about? We can get into the topic. Well, first things first, everybody in the chat, welcome your cast of today, October 19, 2019. Say hello.
I want to bring something up, Raj.
Okay.
Is it a real topic? I got a real topic if you're gonna fucking.
Canadian elections on Monday.
This is real too.
Well, let's hear what Wes has to say, Destiny, before you assume.
You shave your beard and suddenly you're God. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no shit. Yeah, come on,
Well,
come
I
on.
don't know if you're about to do some meme shit. Okay,
Oh,
listen.
sorry, Destiny. Sorry for trying to be in humor in such a dark world where all you do is call out racist and homophobes.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay,
You
Wes, go
sad
ahead.
fuck.
What do you got? What
No,
joke you
no,
got for us today?
I'll
Go
come
ahead.
in
No,
later.
I'm curious.
No. Not Bad Bunny.
We got
She did
Casey
nothing
Tron
wrong.
smoking weed. Did you want to call her a fucking dope fiend or some shit? We got.
She is
Judy
a drug
Canal.
addict.
I have a
Okay,
joke. I have a joke, Destiny.
Oh yeah. What's your joke?
Since you shaved your beard, are you able to eat pussy better? Like, I hear it helps with like eating pussy.
Why would you even think that?
Why is that?
There's no flavor saver. That's why.
You know what I really? Okay, Casey, I want you to close your eyes. Yeah, here's what I like to do. Okay, I like to.
I imagine
like to
Destiny
wait
eating
stuff,
pussy
like
and I
that.
want to throw up.
I like to
Let
wait
him talk.
until I
Let him
like to
talk.
do
Let him
the
talk.
unshaven, and then I take my
Hold on, hold on. Hold on.
up and
Hey,
down as far
somebody's
as I
dog
can
is
until
barking.
they're crying in pain.
Destiny, there's so much noise. Destiny, repeat what you said.
I don't want to repeat that. Okay,
Come on.
listen. I want to talk about the ninja thing. Do people in here think that he has a bad take when he said he didn't want to play with women because it causes drama? I'm actually curious who.
Okay,
thinks
so
that.
hold on. Let's put the topic in context since
I
you.
actually think.
Hold on,
that,
let's
and
put the
I'm not
topic in
trolling.
context. Does everybody know about the ninja drama, the drama that happened recently? I'm gonna put it into context here, okay?
Yes. 2 years ago when he said he
No,
didn't
let
play
me.
with
No,
you
no, no.
girls.
I'm talking specifically about the ninja drama with Casey,
Oh,
okay?
Kaceytron begging for
So,
followers? Yeah, we don't know
so
about that.
Lady
I
Gaga.
wasn't begging for followers. Do you really
Oh,
think I'm
right.
gonna get ninja
Hold on, let's
followers?
put it into
Please.
context before you guys start arguing, okay? Here we go. So this is what happened, okay? Lady Gaga tweeted out, wondering who Ninja was. She says, "Who are you?" and tweets at Ninja. Kaceytron follows up with the tweet. I have the tweet right here, copied and pasted. We're gonna put it up on the screen. Kaceytron says in her tweet. Oh God! Actually, I fucking lost it. What did you say, Casey? God damn it! The link's bad. The fucking link is bad.
I said something like he didn't support women as he
Was it
has
as bad as things that
many.
Bad Bunny has said? Just so we have a
No.
No, not that
Let's
much.
see. I actually, hold on. I think
All
I.
I said was the truth. He doesn't play games with women. I don't know why.
Okay,
people
hold
are
on.
mad
Let's
at me.
see.
But it's not the truth, and he proved you wrong, and he absolutely bodied
Hold
you.
on, hold on. So here's
He did
here's her
prove you wrong.
tweet.
He's played with how many women?
Hold on. Here's the tweet. So, tweet. So you respond to Lady Gaga, Kaceytron, and you say he's one of the most popular streamers on the internet, and he doesn't support women, as he has publicly announced he will never do a stream with any woman, I guess, unless it benefits him. Is Kaceytron's
True.
tweet? Okay.
You know what
It's
that
true.
what that end part
Yeah,
was?
but that's the
Kaceytron
second
was
tweet.
saving face because you
second
didn't
one.
realize. that
So,
you were
hold
wrong,
on.
and you're like, if I am, it's because it only benefits him.
So-
how can you dictate what
So,
is and
so
what
hold on
isn't
to what?
beneficial?
Hold on. This is what he responds. Okay, Ninja responds and says, "I have literally played squads with multiple women after that article
How
over the
many?
last. Excuse me, not done. After the last year and a half, and as well as hosted many female streamers. I will continue to support everyone in gaming while you get baked on stream." Okay.
You Kaceytron, that's
Ninja knows
Okay.
you are,
Bodied by a
Casey.
mixer streamer.
So I think
You were canceled off Twitch.
So I think Casey also follows
I've
up.
been ruined.
I think you followed up again, Kaceytron, talking about his sponsorship with Red Bull and how he was promoting a product
Red Bull
that was.
kills more people than weed does.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's talk about it. So let's talk about whose side are you on, and why, and or
I'm
just
on
general
my
general
side.
thoughts.
Can we allow? What is the Red Bull thing?
This is what it reminded me of. It really reminded me of the Mike Pence rule, which is he won't go to dinner alone with a woman if he's married, and he won't go to drinking events alone or without his wife. And that actually makes sense to me as a
Does
in a
it? It does
traditional
make sense to
in a
me.
traditional
It makes sense to me.
relationship.
That's so
That's respect for
stupid.
respect for your spouse. And I think
Exactly.
it's an interesting and sort of somewhat different take when you start doing like online gaming. And if you're married to somebody and they're going home every night and they're gaming with somebody of the opposite sex, you can certainly see that going into
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I look for in my
Exactly.
Twitch
That
streams. I look for I look for
Let's go to Cutie Cinderella. Cutie Cinderella, go ahead.
I think it's absolutely pathetic to not have to not even trust your own spine to say that you can't associate with the other sex because you're in a relationship. Like that's so pathetic. That's
It's not what he said.
Eva.
It's a matter of levels.
Okay, you guys don't have. Hey, can I just say something?
One second. Who wants to? Eva, go ahead.
If your partner's bisexual or pansexual or whatever, can they not talk to anyone? Go and play with anyone? Like, what the fuck then?
You can do whatever you want.
Can I just say something? You all don't have to keep on ass licking Ninja. He doesn't even stream on Twitch anymore, so.
We're not calling you out for being a fucking Twitter follower and greedy.
And I'm calling you out for ass licking Ninja. I'm a greedy bitch.
I hate Ninja. I think he's uninteresting, unfunny. He's mediocre.
Then why are you kissing
But you're
his ass?
dog shit on Twitter. And Kaceytron, you were the most historic troll on this website, and you've gotten away with some god tier trolls, and no one called you out for it. But this one was petty at best, and it wasn't even believable.
I'm not trolling.
The worst fucking part. Hold on, Kaceytron. The worst part is that once you realize it was blown up, what's the first thing you fucking did? You posted your stream link, and then you posted a YouTube video about fucking Fortnite. No, not to trigger them, bitch, because you wanted more fucking attention from them. Because that's why you sit in your RV and smoke weed all day, is because you don't get any attention except from sad Sims, aka your subscribers, and no real man gives you any attention. Shut
the fuck up and let me talk. Can I talk?
Yes, go ahead, Casey, please.
Can I talk? Can I talk?
Yes, you can, Casey.
Okay. I just want to say, like, you say that I didn't do it to get under people's skin, but look how offended you are that I linked my tweet, or linked my
No, I didn't say that. You
Twitch.
100% did it to get under people's skin. It was to piss people off.
No, you said that I did it to get attention.
You did. No.
You
He was
said
saying
that I
that
did it to
you.
get attention.
But
He was saying that
none of your
you didn't
tweet was
just
about
do it to
feminism
get under
or trying to be a champion for women. That's the part that was a 0%.
Trihex.
May I interject?
Yeah, after Trihex.
Vaguely.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, what's going on?
I'm gonna bring in some more context here, though. I think while I do agree it is ultimately pathetic if you're letting jealousy like literally control you like a puppet on a string, if you can't even control your dick in public ultimately, because like the archaic temptation of the opposite or other genders altogether here are gonna like propel you to just fuck everything in sight. I kind of agree with QD on that one, and ultimately it is somewhat questionable and or possibly pathetic. But I think it's important here to also denote here, while I'm not defending Ninja, the context that it was all reactionary, his conclusion to not co-stream with other women because of the exploitative clickbaiting that was done whenever there was any female mentioned in a stream in any kind of association, that was what propelled him to do it, if I recall correctly.
I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem. Oh my god.
Destiny.
I don't think it's a problem if people can set their own boundaries in their relationships.
I agree,
And
I agree.
if you're not comfortable with those boundaries, then fuck off. You can set your own boundaries in your relationships. It's crazy to me because everyone else in here is like a large content creator. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't like to deal with it. I know this. Every single person that I talk to on stream, like, oh wow, they're trying to fuck on. Everyone in here has the same fucking shit. People accuse Raj of it. People accuse Casey of it. I know they said it. Anytime you hang out with a guy, oh they're fucking. Anytime you see a girl, oh they're fucking. Like it happens all the time. If you don't want to deal with that in your relationship,
so why the fuck is it a big deal? Like, why are you such a coward? You're going to throw out the entire.
it has nothing to do with being a
because you're
coward.
so afraid of Dexerto.
If you don't want to deal with it, if you don't want to deal with it, it is totally within your right. It's not about being afraid of anything. It's not about being afraid of anything.
Ninja goes on like fucking Fox and CNN when people write about it.
I'm just curious. Ninja played with a female yesterday. Where are all the articles?
I just think that it's his choice.
Where are they?
We shouldn't get involved in their relationship.
Yeah, being a content creator puts him in a very unique situation.
Yeah, I agree. If he doesn't want to create content with women, he doesn't want to play with women on stream, and that's just his choice. Like that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's not like he's being sexist or anything. He has a wife. He just doesn't want to do it, so let him not do it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think his wife is his option.
Wes said something
I agree with what
BX Bullet. Let's get BX Bullet in here. Go ahead.
I agree that so I agree with what Bella is saying, but also Casey did kind of say what probably everyone thinks when a guy says he doesn't play with women, and you what you said was that his wife was insecure, which was kind of rude, but it was what we were all thinking, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I agree with Bella. It's his choice, it's his life, and if he wants to do that in his relationship, that's on him. But he also needs to be a little bit more careful about how he says things, given his
you can talk about like just being insecure, but streaming as like a public like person, especially somebody at Ninja's level, right? That's not just insecurity. Like that's a lot of shit. I'm sure, and I can say this because I know my girlfriends have gotten this. I'm sure she's gotten like personal messages from strangers saying shit like, "How do you feel that Ninja wants to fuck this person on stream that's way hotter than you?" I'm sure that they get harassed by a bunch of people whenever they play with
Ninja gets that regardless of whether he plays with girls or not.
It doesn't matter whether he gets no. It doesn't matter if he gets harassed regardless or not. This is a specific form of harassment that like specifically has to do with like his relationship. Maybe he just doesn't want to deal with it. That doesn't necessarily make him a coward.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Hold on, lecture fan. Hold on, 1 second. Can we get Candyland in here? Candyland,
Yes.
go ahead.
So what I wanted to say, I don't think that his wife has anything to do with this. I think she's like neutral. I don't even know if she's a streamer, but like for example, whenever he's playing with streamers, I 100% guarantee you they get super harassed in their chats. Like whenever I stream with anyone, Joker or Slicker, whatever, like people type about them constantly. Like people type about guys that have like rated me. They talk about P-Love still, you know. He was on your show once. Like it's like just annoying, and I think he just didn't want girls to experience that. But I think that Kaceytron is funny, and she made me laugh when I read her tweet, and also she made like even Asmongold was replying to it, and I was like, Asmon, you know she's a troll, but yeah.
So
go ahead.
Let me get in here. Destiny is absolutely right. There's really two primary reasons to do this, and number one is the human nature that when people of the opposite sex spend a lot of time together, it's inevitable that attraction develops, and so you can avoid against that. Number two, it protects against reputational harm. So if you're a married man and you're out going to dinner or going to drink parties and drinking with members of the opposite sex, there's going to be people that can take pictures of it or do exactly what Destiny's talking. It's a way to protect your reputation and your relationship and not have to deal with the harassment.
Can I respond to you?
So how do you?
Hold on.
So I have a similar situation as a competitive shooter. I do nothing but shoot with guys like all day long, every day.
Oh.
Raj, can I say something? So, like, in response to you, lecture fan,
I think you should allow lecture fan to respond to what she just said. Lecture, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything to respond to.
Oh,
that.
you
wait, wait.
I mean,
but she just
okay
came up
with that. That's fine. Then that's fine. That's your thing, okay? Like I have a poly relationship, okay?
Right, but I've had lots of boyfriends who are not okay with it.
Just because, yeah, that's fine. Just because you're okay with it doesn't mean everybody else is okay with it. Just because I have a personal preference doesn't mean everyone else. There's a difference between saying like, if somebody says I don't like, like sushi, you would never go like, well, I like sushi, so you should eat it, you stupid fuck. Well, yeah, okay. If you're comfortable, doing things with a lot, if you're comfortable doing things with a lot of guys on stream, that's fine. Not everybody is. Like they should have that right.
Exactly, okay, and I'm not saying everybody has to agree with me. I'm just offering my opinion.
1 sec, Eva. After lecture fan, are you done responding?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm the same way. I'm not telling anybody else that they have to agree with me or that they have to do their relationships this way. I'm saying this is what I believe about relationships, and that's my opinion, and I've got a lot of good reasons to back it up. You don't have to agree. You don't have to live your life like that. But
can I respond to you, lecture fan, quickly? Just your the first one about human nature and that. Whenever there's a man and it's such an overblown generalization that I think really doesn't hold any weight. I mean, if you put...
Dude, have you ever been into any office environment?
Or any job, any corporate? Why do Twitch streamers fuck each other? Why do people hook up in high school? Like come on, dude.
Exactly.
Do you think that's inherent, though?
Yeah, but you're talking about, you said human nature, which is what I was taking issue with.
Yeah,
it is because every environment where you have men and women together, it's inevitable that attractions and relationships will develop and people.
That's just not true. There are gay people, there are lesbian people, there are people who are of different genders.
Well, then
hold on, Eva, I want to get you in here. Eva, go ahead.
Doesn't hold up, Rim.
Okay, so first off, I do just want to acknowledge that it is a little bit more than the comparison of eating sushi. I understand that you aren't drawing a perfect comparison there, but I also want to recognize some consequences to this. This doesn't mean I'm saying Ninja has to work with women, but what is the impact? Well, we all understand as streamers that working with other streamers, especially if this is your livelihood, that is part of your job as well as the relationships you connect, right?
Wait, can we...
And this if he is one of the largest streamers and he steps forward and he says, I don't want to play with women because of this, first off, lecture fans coming with these takes, right? And that reinforces that idea that men and women can't work together without this being a problem. I understand him wanting to avoid the harassment, right? But at the same time, what are the ideas being perpetuated?
I agree. It sets a very unhealthy standard.
All right, Rem, let's get Weston. Let's get Weston here to respond.
Have to come out and say it. Women are drama. Women are responsible for the failure of relationships. Cool vibes. Things.
Wait, did he never say? Wait.
Casey.
He's perpetuating.
Casey.
Stop acting like he hasn't played with women. You keep going on the point like
because they're drama.
It's
and
Wes. Go ahead.
You keep acting like he hasn't played women, but he fucking has. Stop trying to perpetuate this bullshit argument that he hasn't, like he's cold case blocked.
He's played with like 4.
Okay, well, how many professional female Fortnite players do you know that are women?
It's
100%. No, Kaceytron, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Name 4. Name 4 professional female Fortnite players. Name 4, because I can name 1.
I don't fucking play
and
Fortnite.
She is a child.
I don't give a fuck about Fortnite.
Well, so don't act like it's some great imbalance if 95% of Fortnite players are male and 5% are women. If he's played 100 duos with men and 5% women.
This is the dumbest shit in the world, Rod. I mean, there's an actually good conversation going on.
Female gender.
It's just based on the numbers. It's 100%.
He didn't acknowledge that impact, and I think that's my issue I have with it. Is I wish he would have just stepped up and acknowledged, okay, I am playing with women, and I'd be curious why he decided he did that.
Well, he's letting his audience basically constrain him, which is ultimately like the issue. Is that his audience? He knows that his audience are going to embrace this sort of.
That's totally okay. It is not on you to tell somebody else that they have to martyr a relationship for whatever your cause is. Now,
I don't know. I don't know if that's quite true,
it's his
Destiny.
business.
I don't think that's true. Because if you look at the type of standard that he sets as one of the
Destiny, let him finish, Rem.
Twitch streamer.
Rem.
You're basically saying like, hey, listen, I know this might cause like severe harm or like even result in the end of your relationship, but you should definitely do it for my cause. You don't have the right to put that on somebody. Like we can argue over the impact.
I don't understand what cause we're talking about here. Like what impact does this actually have? What impact does it have that Ninja chooses not to? How does it affect anybody?
It's his business. It's his choice. How would we respond if a business said, I'm just not hiring any women?
He's not a business. He's an individual.
Okay, hold on. Let Eva finish, and let's get a response. Who wants to respond to that? Trihex, do you want to respond? Anybody? Cutie, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll say it right now. I will play Fortnite with Ninja, and I won't try to fuck him. I'll say it. I said it, guys. So I just want that to be. I want that to be said.
I mean, Ninja's basically acknowledging that that both the press and his viewers are basically too immature or just too dumb to think that he could potentially play with a female and that he wouldn't then want to pursue a relationship with her.
Okay, let's say that's the reality, Rem. Then what? Let's say that's the reality, Rem. Then what?
Then you have to work as a huge content creator to fight against that stigma. And I don't think you should just wipe your hands clean of the issue. You have to address that issue head on. You have to talk to your audience. You have to educate your audience.
Destiny.
Where does the obligation come from that you have to make great personal sacrifices potentially to educate an audience?
I don't know, any sort of basic consistent moral system, Destiny? Because if you look at the amount of influence that he has upon millions and millions of people, that's where it comes from.
Yeah, but where does him playing with girls influence anybody?
Hold on, Bella, go ahead. Hold on, Bella's got a question. Go ahead.
I just don't understand how him not wanting to. He still does play with women, just not as many women as like the average person. But how does him playing with less women influence anyone? It's no one's fucking business.
It doesn't.
Let him do what he wants to do. Leave him.
The issue is him saying it. He should have never said it. He could have had this own private conversation in his relationship and moved forward. The issue is that he vocalized it, and now it's been turned into this conversation. If this conversation had never happened, then we wouldn't be careful what he says.
Can I just say, if anything, can I not be upset that the face of our industry is somebody who's like, yeah, I don't play with women?
Well, I'm not gonna say Ninja's the face of my
Is that not fair?
I also think he came back
in our industry.
It's not his obligation to, though. He has an obligation to.
He came back and played with a girl yesterday, probably because.
All right.
right.
Order!
Democratic Republic where we appointed some
I just
god
want to say
streamer
he played
who's
with
supposed
a
to make these
female
moral
yesterday,
judgments for every other
One
streamer
second, one at a
in these
time,
massive
you guys.
audiences.
Okay, Wes, shut the fuck up. I just want to say that he played with a female yesterday, probably because saying that you don't play with
Probably
females is
because.
bad PR
Yes,
and looks bad to
100%.
sponsors.
Okay. All right. Hold on,
Yeah.
Trihex.
Yeah, I think it's important here once again to
I gotta
double time reiterate that he didn't like outright say I don't play with women. He was asked in an interview about his reaction to the clickbait on YouTube, and then the indirect answer was the confirmation that he's considering not playing with women because it's getting really, really problematic. And that's what got extracted.
I think that's bad, but even in that context, I think that is something that is bad. He shouldn't have said that in the first place. Because he didn't know how his audience would react.
He didn't like broadcast bluntly that this is my new
No, of course, he didn't bluntly do it, but even doing it in the way that he did, look at the effect that it had. As a huge content creator, you should be aware of the effect that your words are going to have on your audience.
I agree with that. He should have been wording for sure. Like saying something like that so it can then have an effect on other people. Oh, sorry.
I
said that he.
Sorry.
Oh! Can I go? Can I go?
Go. Yeah, finish. Yeah. I don't know. Did somebody get interrupted?
Wes, wake the fuck up, okay? Just 1 second. What I'm saying is, I just think he should have been more careful with his wording because his wording can have huge impacts. Because, like Rem said, he is one of the biggest streamers, so he should be careful with that. But
He should
at the end of the
absolutely
day,
be careful.
100%. At the end of the day, though, who he chooses to play with is his decision. But how he chooses to express that and like say it should be, more thought out. Wes, go ahead.
Kaceytron, how fucking dare you simp bitch! Because you call him out for bad PR for playing or trying to save PR for playing with a woman, but doesn't that push the narrative that you want pushed, right? Equality, men and women playing together without like carnally fucking each other's faces. How is that suddenly a problem if he's doing what you want him to do?
This is such a boring conversation.
Shut up, Rem.
It's great that my comment pushed him to play with a woman yesterday, and I think that he did it to save face.
Okay, I have a pro tip to Ninja.
Who cares if it's saving face? He doesn't have to make these fucking massive personal changes. It's helping your cause, yet you're shitting on him for helping your cause.
I do. I think it's great that I got Ninja to play with a woman yesterday. I was like, cool, it worked.
So, hold on. I want to follow up here. I want to follow up here.
But I also think that he obviously did it to save face. I mean, you can't say that he fucking didn't.
Hold on.
Wow, businessman does something to save his business or to help his business. Like, holy shit. Like, unbelievable.
So,
yeah, no shit.
So this is...
Yeah, so you're saying that he did it because it looked bad?
It's possible. Yeah, of course. We all do things
Leave
for
the
our...
man alone and let him play with.
So, hold on.
Play with.
Candyland has some advice for Ninja.
Yes, I have a pro tip to Ninja and to everybody else who has put themselves in like a weird situation like this. If you're in trouble and if you're like in a controversial thing, just ignore it. It's gonna move on way faster if you just ignore it. I promise. Like anything is gonna be better if you just ignore it. Like
Does that work for Mitch Jones too?
Hold on, wait. What did you say, Trihex?
Does that work for Mitch Jones too? I'm just curious.
Is he unbanned by the way? Or is he unbanned yet?
Do you just stay silent and then meme on it like 2 months later? Like, I don't know if that's like universal advice or
I
not.
just want to say I am so upset that I may have threw a wrench in the plans of Ninja to play with Lady Gaga. Like, I truly cannot sleep at night.
Okay, hold on. So, real serious question
Again,
here.
I will play with Lady Gaga.
Casey,
and I won't fuck her.
Hold on. Kaceytron is here, right? Kaceytron, you're here.
I'm here.
Do you guys believe that Kaceytron's move was do you think it was an attention move, or do you think it was a actual legitimate concern move?
I mean, I did it live on stream. I was literally just baked out of my mind scrolling through Twitter, and I saw Ninja had commented on Lady Gaga, and I just typed that.
I think you should have been
I didn't even repost it.
I think you should have been more nuanced in your original tweet, because what you did say was ultimately false, but you could have had the exact same impact and avoided the unnecessary criticism that you got. Because there is a valid point to what you're saying. Just the way you went about doing it made you look bad when that wasn't necessary.
I don't care if I look bad to a bunch of Ninja 12-year-olds. I really don't.
Well, no, not just to him. I would do, like
I obviously don't. I come up here every weekend and everybody
You spend 12 hours responding to them. You obviously care about what they're saying.
I was getting enjoyment out of it.
You don't care, you fake ass.
I was getting enjoyment out of it. I mean, it was sort of a high.
No.
Do you
Are you a Ninja side too? whoever gets me to, like Ninja. Are you gonna take Ninja's seat? Oh, no. I'm not whoever said that I smoke too much weed.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I think
Are you guys going
No, I'm making fun of something unfunny.
Shut the fuck up,
Just because I think you told me to come here 115, now you're fucking house.
Casey, finish your thought. Shut the fuck up. The only one that Casey, and then shut the fuck up.
I forgot it.
Okay, Trihex.
Someone earlier said that they should be more careful about things he says, but not to oversimplify something, but I think it's important to bring more context to that as well. The fact that if ever, as a content creator, you're on blast, you're being interviewed by Kotaku, Polygon, and all that, you don't have final cut on whatever editor they're gonna do. They can be getting you some side bait bullshit and then let you quote from your broadcast over 2 months ago. I thought about that. Serve an agenda for that kind of thing.
Following that, you didn't really go into
Trihex, finish your thought. Trihex, finish your thought.
So, just want y'all to know when you say he should be more careful, like, all the power is really not on you unless you deliberately tell the editorial staff or whatever you're doing the interview for, let me get final cut on whatever the fuck y'all trying to do. But did you follow up and clarify? They can bait you in with like an ally email to get an interview, and then the minute you do some over air shit and they make it the written word over a very comfortable Discord interview, it's crazy. It's happened to me. It happened to me all.
On this, because I was arguing with a few people about this, and I'm like, okay, well, let me back up and let me backtrack and see what's going on. And I actually saw a clip from Ninja's stream of him talking about this, right?
Yes.
And it wasn't beautiful. Like, it was very sketchy. And of course, we all say shit on stream. Maybe, I don't know.
He didn't follow up,
I was
though.
still like, yikes.
Yeah, my biggest issue is he could have gone and cleared up. I don't recall him ever going up and saying, "Oh, that must have come across in the incorrect way. This is really what I meant." He didn't take those efforts that he could
clarify
have.
on his own stream when people kept harassing him about it.
Is it okay to choose not to interact with a portion of the population because of traits outside of that population's control? I'm just wondering.
No, I don't think so.
It's not. He's not refusing to interact.
He's not saying I don't talk
what do
to
you mean?
other
That
women.
is literally a refusal to interact.
He's saying he doesn't platform other women when on his own platform because of the complications
No,
that might have with
what
his
I was gonna
relationship.
say is I guess I was wrong because Ninja has played with a few women since he said that. I'm just surprised I didn't hear about it through all the clickbait articles and bad press.
Because it's not good story writing, right? It's like, oh, congratulations, the women finally get to play with Ninja. No one cares. They only care when they want to shit on him because people click that.
Clickbait about, oh my gosh, Ninja played with a girl streamer. The concern that he had. I think that's what Casey is getting at.
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't hear about it. I'm just surprised.
Well, maybe you should do your research before stone tweeting.
Yeah, I feel like he was quite aggressive and like a little sensational, and it maybe could have been said in like a nicer way, or just like not said at all, because it is kind of like in a sense his business.
I don't know, kind of like how it could have.
Well, no, but his business is subject to public criticism.
Yeah, I understand how, you know, because he said public would. That's why I do understand that it's like is now in the public and the public can now comment on it.
I love that the Royale has come full circle. We talked about this topic like I swear a year ago on this show when it actually happened.
Hey.
And now the topic has come back up because of Kaceytron and we're redoing the whole fucking thing.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Recycled content, baby. And everybody in here, nobody remembers it either. That's the key. All right.
That's the beautiful part.
We do have to take a vote. Okay, we're gonna take a vote, and then we're gonna get to one. We're not gonna move completely away from this topic.
Let's
We're
talk
not
about
incels,
Bad Bunny.
We're incels.
I really want to talk about Bad Bunny,
I'll take
but
it.
I don't know how.
She doesn't want
I also don't want to like blow our load too early on Bad Bunny. On that topic. On that topic. On that topic. Excuse me. I don't want to.
If Kaceytron's
I gotta get my word in
out of
before
25 minutes, Bad Bunny will be like an hour and a half. I don't know what you're worried about.
I have an interesting like middle topic, Raj.
Is that
It's
Bella?
actually about someone who's here. Can we do it?
Wait, who? Wait.
Trihex.
Yeah, what's up?
He was banned from AGDQ because of the F word slip from like 6 months ago.
Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Do we know?
Oh, yeah, we can, yeah. If you
Yeah,
want
but
to,
let's vote in the poll. Hold on,
off.
let's vote in the poll real quick.
I go pee real quick. Shit.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
We got a poll here in my DMs. Vote for who you want to keep, not kick. Keep, not kick.
I'll take John and Joker's votes if you want.
Yeah, I don't think they're not in the poll because they left.
Raj, can we talk about?
We're not here.
They're not
They came here to beg for a host and.
Go ahead and vote for you want to keep, not kick. They're not in the poll because they're not here. They left. I don't know what happened to them. Vote keep, not kick. Keep, not kick. Vote.
I'll drop my hot take right now.
What's your hot take?
Can I give a sneak preview, Raj?
Of what?
Of my Bad Bunny position.
What's your bad? Well, no. You can't. No, you can't.
Well, but I might be out.
No, you're not. You're not out. You're not close to being out. You're not out. You're not out. You're in the middle of the pack here. Okay. You're in the middle of the pack. Trihex and Destiny leading the charge. Wes actually up there, following closely behind Kaceytron. Dedicated Kaceytron viewers, putting her in 4th place.
Wes is so good in this show.
Vote for you want to keep, not kick, chat. Keep, not kick.
I have to say something about Candy. Candy and I are having a very serious conversation together, and I'm talking about someone who's rude to me, and I give her all these examples of how they're rude to me, and Candy goes, I think it was an accident. The most wholesome thing in the world. I was like, Candy, it wasn't an accident. She's like,
wait,
it was
somebody was being rude
Just
to you, and
forgive them.
and Candyland read the DMs, and then they.
Candy and I are having this heart to heart, and I'm like, this person's just so fucking rude to me because this, and this, and Candy's like, it was an accident. They were deaf. It was an accident.
Candyland believes that every single person is pure and wholesome in their heart.
Yeah,
and that anytime they're mean, they're just fucking up or misspeaking.
It's just the cutest thing ever. I was like, I don't think it was accidental.
She's like the fucking human embodiment of like a Pikachu, dude. She just everything about her is so wholesome.
She's so wholesome.
You're so sweet.
Listen, I mean, one of your biggest flaws, I'd say, Candyland, is that you find the good in very shitty people. But like, but
Wait,
that's okay.
I do what?
No, you find the good in even some of the most shitty people, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right,
But
vote,
it's
chat.
fine,
Vote
okay.
for you want to
That's a
keep,
good
not
thing to
kick.
have.
Keep, not kick. The poll's in the
Candy
chat.
for president.
Okay, here we go. The poll is final. Destiny, congratulations, you won the round. Followed extremely closely by Trihex.
Hey, oh shit.
Bottom
all right.
2, Lecture Fan and BX Bullet TV. Raise your hands. Destiny, you must make a decision to kick one of them.
Damn.
All right, Lecture Fan, why do you want to stay?
I should get to stay because I was second to last in the voting, not last.
You gotta have a better argument than that.
Okay.
Let's
hear BX Bullet TV.
All right, go for it.
Hey man, I'm just here to talk about stuff. I haven't got a chance to really talk yet, so.
And Lecture Fan, did you want to come up with a better?
Yeah, talk to me about guns and there's a lot of stuff going on about that. I know you guys want to address the guns on the wall.
Talk to me about guns.
I actually do want to address the guns, but
I don't want to address them. I just want to shoot them, dude. I want to go to the shooting range with you. That fucking shotgun with that long ass barrel makes me hard as shit.
I can't touch guns.
It's not a barrel; it's a magazine tube, but it's okay.
I don't even know what that is. I'm harder.
Lecture Fan, do you know a lot about? Do you think you know more than her about guns?
I do not know more than her about guns.
Fuck, I don't know how to do this. Okay, Raj, I hate you. God damn it. What?
Oh,
think about it.
Should I switch appearance?
Ask them if they stayed on which topic they would most want to talk about.
Yes, I'll give you the link.
You clearly said guns, but what about lecture?
Yeah, what do you guys most want to talk about? Lecture Fan, go.
I would say the Hong Kong, China, Blizzard, NBA, LeBron James thing.
Okay, BX Bullet, go.
All right, bye guys.
What? Well, no.
I thought you said go.
No, not go as in. No. He meant no.
All right, whatever.
He meant.
Hey, I'll talk about anything. I really wanted to talk about the. I really want to talk about the debates and about Beto's whole gun confiscation buyback thing, personally.
Oh no, what's this?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about
We can tag team on that one. I want to take a dump on Beto too.
Okay.
Relax, Ala, bro.
It's just nothing. It's nothing but gifts to the GOP from Beto.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
okay, I'm keeping Lecture Fan. I'm sorry, BX Bullet. I love guns, and you look like a fun person. Okay. That's
Sexist pig.
Yeah.
Damn.
Can't believe that. It would really, it would really. I just wonder what would have happened if she was a man. That's all I want.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I have to kick you off. Okay, it's because I just don't do podcasts with women. Okay, my family treats me in a really negative way, and I just don't think I should be on any podcast with women. Okay, so I'm trying to eliminate them one at a time. That's what's good.
BX Bullet, I am so sorry you lasted one round.
That's cool, guys.
Please go ahead and shout yourself out. Thank you for being here. We'll definitely get you on in the future.
All right, guys. BX Bullet TV. I'll come back on.
Okay.
We'll talk about something better than this whatever BS drama this shit was. Something more important. Something a little bit more
important than Ninja playing with women.
Oh, I know.
What?
More important than Twitter beef. I know. I know.
You know what? I gotta agree with her on this one, Raj.
You know
I
what,
think we
Ram?
can
Shut
step
the
up our
fuck
talk.
up,
Sorry, I
okay?
had nothing to say about this pretty trivial topic.
Yeah, you go.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I can't win, okay? If I start talking about politics, people are going to complain that they don't know about those. If I start talking about Twitch topics, people are going to complain that they don't know
Well,
about
that's
those.
the beauty of having a mixed cast. You have Twitchers and you have politifreaks.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Okay, go ahead.
Is that what we're called now?
Come follow me over at BX Bullet TV. We do a lot of fun stuff. So if you like shooting guns or you want to learn more about guns, that's what we're all about. It's just about education and
yeah.
I like that female bounty hunter.
Thank you very much, BX Bullet TV. Take care.
All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye. Okay, give it up for yourselves. You made it this far.
How did you let her come in last, dude?
I really wanted to talk about Columbus Day. I don't know if anybody wants to bring that up. We also have the Trihex.
Oh shit!
The Trihex, you got banned. I didn't even know about this. Could you put this into context for me? I didn't know what happened.
Sure. Yeah, I got suspended or banned, suspended again from GDQ, the largest speedrun charity marathon. You know, the one that gets like 100,000 viewers every 6 months of the year.
Yep.
I got banned.
Typing. Stop typing.
I got banned for the F slur incident slip up I had literally a year ago, October 2018.
Ooh.
They said that, oh, you know what, that happened, so we're gonna retroactively ban you for that and for this this upcoming event right here.
Really? Wow. So what are your general thoughts about that?
What happened was I got double dragged because I got dragged. Understand me, right? Because the headlines, the articles were all like, you know, Trihex used a homophobic slur on stream, which I did. I owned up to it. But no one's ever asking about the context of how that happened. So when you only see the Kotaku article or the Polygon article saying that sentence, I would imagine you fill in the blanks and say that, oh, well, obviously I told some gay kid off of Fortnite and told him to KMS or whatever.
Headline news is more important than the article itself these days.
Yeah, and that's it. So I was getting canceled, admittedly, and it was very, very stressful. And I wasn't really in an area to ask for, you know, sympathy or elaborative context, because then ultimately I can just get high roaded with the whole like, well, you shouldn't have said it, which is right. So I didn't. I held the L for a full year. Was already pretty progressive before, but went super squeaky clean on the whole thing. You know, I did the Cutie Cinderella podcast. I've done 3 charity marathons since then. I've been on progressive mode like nonstop ever since.
Wait, is the Cutie Cinderella podcast like the new like herald of like progressive values? Is that like good job,
I would
Cinderella?
love to be on your show, Destiny.
Okay, yeah.
So I think it's so dumb if it's a
Then
charity.
ninjas.
Wait, is it a charity event and they canceled like Trihex and he's super big? That's so dumb of them.
But the thing is, it's not even that Trihex is super big. Trihex helped build this organization. He's been there since the very beginning. He's one of the fucking founding stones of this goddamn charity.
Yeah. Ever since
so dumb.
So yeah, does anybody agree with? Because I don't even know if there's going to be any disagreement here.
Hold on, Eva, go get him. Does
anybody agree with the?
But really, Trihex, how did you respond? Destiny, you're so funny.
Well, really the big critique here was their transparency in the communication. I submitted for their show in January of 2020. I submitted in late August. They didn't tell me that I was suspended and that I'm ineligible to attend until like 2 weekends ago, like October 19th, whenever they were making their final roster. So they could have told me like 3 months in advance rather than me like have to like book the plane or book the ticket. So that was bad communication on their end there. I agree with the ban. Like it's their own private organization. They're very huge. They got a big PR to manage here. Obviously, if you Google me, those articles come up because that's like all that everyone's gonna see from the Google metrics. So I understand all that. I just wish that I wasn't being double dragged again because now it's like, oh, well, what? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I think I need to clarify my question.
Sure.
Last year, a year ago, when that came out and all the backlash from it, how did you respond to that?
I did an unsolicited apology, a genuine one. I was suspended for 7 days. I completely owned up to it, never denied it, and swore that I would represent my community better, and I would advocate for everyone to not use any kind of derogatory terminology that would belittle any kind of people.
You're social justice warrior
I love
stamp
it.
of approval.
I love
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
God!
I
Unbelievable.
didn't go into any whataboutism.
The only way anybody, that's it. There's no disagreeing on it.
There's
Anybody
proof that when you fuck up, you can actually build past it, and SJWs will eventually give you another shot. Wow. Big moves, man.
I'm
Good. Not you though, Wes.
I'm stunned.
Trihex, did you donate $1,000 to an LGBT protection charity?
So actually, I considered doing that, but I was worried that people would say I only did it as a reactionary cause.
No, that's not good enough.
Wait, are you serious, Ram?
Are you?
I agree.
Hold on, Ram, are you serious?
I'm kidding.
Your apology
Of course I'm
would have made it
kidding.
seem fake.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like, well, it's actually I didn't
No,
think about
I'm not
that,
serious. You did you did exactly the right thing in that situation, I think.
Yeah, it was a mid-topic, Raj. It was like one of those intermediate ones.
Yeah. So, the real, the stressful part, not unfair. The stressful part was that I was getting re-dragged for something I did a year ago when I've done nothing but reform since then, trying to move past that. And that was the whole thing. So because it was top trending on the speedrun Reddit. It was a LSF thread briefly. It was the speedrun drama in the speedrun community for a full weekend. Was bringing more metrics to all those problematic articles, so they continue to remain further relevant if you Google me.
Okay, so I want to bring up a new topic if everybody's agreed. I think we all agree on this, Trihex. I think it's a shame. You did everything you needed to do, and I think it's sad.
Well, this means I'll be streaming more. I'll be home all January rather than there. So.
So let's talk about Columbus Day real quick. I want to bounce to Rem real quick because Rem had a problem with Columbus Day, and I want to go back.
Can we have more context
circle that.
on this?
Yeah, Columbus Day is a day. So I'll link you. Is everybody familiar with what Columbus Day is? For the people that don't know what Columbus Day is, let's see. It's celebrating the Christopher Columbus arrivals to the Americas in 1492. And it's observed on the second Monday of October, same day as Thanksgiving in Canada. Rem, go ahead and address this topic.
Specifically, I want to talk to Lecter fan. Like, I don't know, how familiar are with it. Well, you say you're educating people on, the fake news surrounding Columbus, and I'm curious about this because Columbus did literally go to the Americas, collect Native individuals for slavery, brought them on their ships, brought them back to Spain, where he was then told, hey, actually, in Spain, we are not allowed to have slaves. So you have to send them back. So I think you are probably trying to say, well, actually, no, he wasn't able to get slaves. And that is technically true. But he still wanted to take them as slaves, and he attempted to do so.
This is super old news. What the fuck?
Well, no, apparently not, because Lecture Fan is here saying that he didn't take slaves, so I don't know.
And hold on, Rem, I want to build on your point before Lecture goes, because there's more than that. He also did use the slaves. It got to the point where he said, what was it, that they do not carry arms or know them, they should be good servants, and then he forced them under threat of loss of limb or death that the people who brought back the least gold would be murdered or have limbs chopped off because of it. This is what Columbus did to this Taino population, which was the native population of the now Hispaniola, I believe, island.
Wrong. That's what some of his people did. Actually, Christopher Columbus told his people to treat the natives correctly and properly.
Lecture, what's your source on this?
The Spanish people.
What's your source on this?
Lecture, this is his own diary. I'm reading his words.
Lecture fan, give me the book.
The Great Explorer, Samuel Erickson.
Okay. Let me look it up.
Or Samuel Frederickson, one of the two. But the point is that this stuff has been so blown out of the water. Nobody's perfect throughout history. If you're going to disown a guy and say no holidays because he did something wrong in the past, then you have to support tearing down the Washington Monument, tearing down the Jefferson Memorial because they own slaves. The fact is that nobody's perfect throughout history. You can still celebrate the benefits that they've provided to society. And Christopher Columbus is one of the most consequential and important men in history. He's one of the greatest explorers of all time.
Very consequential because he basically single-handedly caused genocide in the Americas.
He didn't. He was not genocidal, whatever.
No, he might be not intentionally, but he did cause in essence
Please let me go
genocide.
before this gets muddled. Lecture fan, there is such a huge difference between these white men in America who used this system that was already set in stone that they didn't know was bad or it hadn't been put in their minds yet, versus a guy coming to a land where they weren't slaves. This wasn't already happening on this island. He enslaved the mass population.
Dude, you know what was
of these
happening
native
on that
people,
island?
and then murdered and killed them.
No,
so
it
it's so much
wasn't.
different
Wow.
than using slavery as a built-in part of society and making slavery a brand
what the hell?
infecting it with stuff.
There was
They're
literally
very different
human
things.
sacrifice.
Hey, lecture fan, cannibalism has nothing to do with my point. Address my point and stop skipping over it, you pussy fuck.
Cannibalism.
His burden is too
Cannibalism
strong.
has literally nothing to do with my point.
Go ahead.
I think
So unless you're going to say that, hey, well, at least they're not eating each other anymore. Now they're slaves. Is that
Dude, no.
Disgusting.
Lecture fan, go ahead and respond.
If you guys really want to try to judge a man from the 1400s with your modern day SJW standards,
Whoa!
then
No!
good fucking
No!
luck. That's complete
No!
bullshit.
Hold on!
And you know what's
Lecture
really
fam.
important?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Christopher Columbus is a hero to Italian Americans, and that's the original reason we had this.
People.
So, and the Italian Americans used to be discriminated against horribly in America, and when Italians first immigrated here, they were treated like shit, and so this is their hero. And you're going to try to take away a minority, a discriminated group's hero from them? Screw that.
Hey, lecture fan, can I respond directly to
Yes,
this?
go ahead.
What about all of the native people who were directly harmed by the actions of Columbus when he exploited them cruelly?
But it was
caused
very
the death
fine.
of
They were
thousands and thousands of
cannibals.
people,
No,
sent
it's
them
fine. They
over
were
in boats as
cannibals and
slaves to
savages.
Spain.
No,
Like,
he had no idea this was not okay because this was like 600 million years ago.
No, that's not true. That is not true. The law in Spain literally said, hey, Columbus, you can't have slaves. Why did you send slaves over here? He literally wanted them to be slaves, but the government wouldn't let him.
You're getting that from the Vasco de la Casa's writings, that guy was Christopher Columbus.
Okay, you gave me a source, lecture fan. You gave me a book. It doesn't exist. So please tell me the book that you're reading.
It's called The Great Explorers and then The Great Age of Discovery.
Okay, who is the author? Because this Samuel Erickson doesn't exist.
Well, if you want me to bring up my Audible app and tell you exactly what it is, I really
books
can't,
that are like most famous on the
it's not
accounts
really
of
that hard.
Columbus.
The other one is that I'd recommend is Admiral of the Ocean Sea by Samuel Eliot Morison. That's who I was thinking of. The other two are The Great Age of Discovery by Paul Herman and
Great Admiral.
Wait, can I come in for a second?
Go ahead.
Can we just take a second here and convey here? Okay, so I get that there's an opposition or there's like a rift right now between y'all arguing over like should Columbus Day remain or should it not? Can we talk about what is the proposed solution here? Like what's like you want to rename Columbus
Yeah, that's a good idea.
and
Actually.
it's dedicated to what
This
exactly?
book is 80
I
years
will
old.
play Fortnite with Columbus, and I will not try to fuck him.
Hold on, Lecture Fan is referencing a book that is 80 years old. Do you not realize that we have more updated sources that are now being used in modern books? You would not find this book used in a university setting.
Literally, the news source that you have is a piece written by Christopher Columbus.
What are you talking about? No, I can name you multiple different sources of books on Columbus.
All citing to the newest piece of evidence found in 2006, which was a piece written by.
Well, no,
Christopher
because the
Columbus,
book that I'm talking about was written
opponent.
before 2006, so that's just not true.
You're basically that's the equivalent of citing.
He wrote this book in 1991. The standard book is by Fernandez Armesto. Okay, it's just called Columbus, and it was written in 1991. So this is not using your updated source. And in this definitive book that is used in universities all over the world, it clearly acknowledges that he took native peoples from the Americas and brought them back to Spain as slaves.
It's fine, and we should.
I know.
Okay,
let's
shift.
You're literally talking about fake history. This is fake history.
If you know that
it's
happened,
dangerous.
why are you defending it?
I know that happened. I'm not defending that.
Let him finish. Let him say his point then, Rem.
What I'm saying is that nobody's perfect. George Washington owned slaves. We still celebrate him. The fact of the matter is that Christopher Columbus is well worthy of a celebration.
Careful, you're going to fall off when you backpedal
here's
so
the
hard.
fact. August 9th is already Indigenous Peoples Day. It's the United Nations Indigenous Peoples
This
Day.
is
And for you
completely
guys to try
irrelevant to what I was talking about, Lecture Fan.
take away a holiday from a discriminated against minority in the United States like Italian immigrants is terrible.
Lecture Fan, you claimed at the start of this that he did not do this. You said it was
Lecture Fan,
fake.
how does changing the name from Columbus Day? Hold on, I'm talking. How does that
this is
take
the
away
stupid.
from the
You
Italian
literally were
population?
just denying
What
this,
does
and
that
now you're
do?
saying, "Oh no, I knew this. I knew this."
Lecture Fan,
Wes.
Fake history.
One second, Wes. Go ahead and ask your question
He
again.
did commit atrocities. He took people as
He
slaves.
keeps bringing up this point about
He's taking people as slaves on an atrocity
population. How does this devalue how does changing Columbus Day devalue Italian history?
No,
Because,
forget
by
that.
the way,
Forget that point.
Columbus never even discovered North America. He did South and
no,
Central
he did.
American
No,
coast.
he did discover North America because
No,
the Caribbean islands are usually considered part of North America.
That's it, not the mainland.
Okay, so hold on. But lecture fan. You said he did not commit atrocities, even though you just acknowledged that he took slaves. Right?
Look,
answer the question. Do you admit he took slaves?
That's not an atrocity. That's not an atrocity.
How the fuck is that?
Okay.
There you go.
All right then.
Does anybody want to disagree with that? Anybody want to disagree with that?
That's all I wanted to do. That's all I. It's
Go ahead.
It's not an atrocity. Lecture fan 29
So let me steer us in a better direction right now.
There's also a debate about that.
The proposed solution here was to change Columbus Day into Indigenous Peoples Day, which was it's meant to celebrate Native Americans and commemorate their histories and cultures. You said it was like a holiday based off the UN, but if there's not like a certified one in USA, I would say go for it because the Native Americans have gotten fucked over for a solid several centuries now, whether you want to look at Trail of Tears or the.
Fucked over by
I'm all in favor of it. Let's make another holiday. Why not have two holidays?
Okay, well,
why do you
keep going here.
Celebrate a man who just brought slavery into America.
If you're that upset about that, are you also upset about when John McCain didn't support to get MLK to be an official holiday back in 1982? Does that make you sad as well? As sad as Columbus Day right here?
Those poor Italian Americans.
I support MLK Jr. Day.
Italian Americans, what are they gonna do?
You know what? If you don't like Columbus Day, you don't celebrate it, and you let
Don't
the people
celebrate it.
No, that's totally irrelevant, Candyland.
No, but
That's
why
not the
can't you
point.
let people have what they have? Like I
Don't
celebrate
talk
it.
to
It's
me
my
like
own.
that.
It sends a message. It sends a message to the
That's the point that it's
Yeah.
recognized by our country.
What is the
centuries have been fucked over by the
You're
American
the one
government?
recognizing it. You're talking
wait,
about
can I,
it. Discussing it.
Yeah, Trihex, go ahead.
Does anyone smart know?
by the state.
So we're arguing over whether or not we approve or disapprove here, but what is the actual status? Did this change? Is Columbus Day no longer a thing now, or is there just like a Twitter discussion about it happening? Like, what's the actual?
It's still a federal holiday, but a lot of states and cities are establishing Indigenous Peoples Day to be in place of Columbus Day.
Yeah,
they're
and
working
God
on it.
forbid, right? Like that's just forget about the indigenous people whose ancestors were brutally slaved by the people
So
that
do we want to
Columbus
go
brought
back to that?
over.
You don't hold on,
And we're taken as
hold on,
slaves.
lecture
by
fan. You don't think
Columbus
that? You don't think
as lecture fan pointed out, that's not an atrocity, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm super
not
curious.
an atrocity.
Go ahead, Destiny.
No, wait. Do we because there are a lot of fucking people in history, okay? Like you're a philosopher, right? And I don't know how you feel about Kant, but like if you look at even a lot of people that preach like more realism and shit.
I don't think we should have an Immanuel Kant Day, Destiny.
Okay, so are you in favor of like removing like the celebration of any prior U.S. president, for instance, that owned slaves? Like, do you think that should everybody in the past that we judge as a good or bad person be judged by today's core?
I absolutely believe that we should not be celebrating people. But okay, I will answer that question. But I just want to acknowledge here that Columbus, I will answer directly that question. But Columbus was aware that there were people in his home country who said that slavery was not allowed, and he directly went against their orders.
Which is much different
it's
than
not
using
the same thing.
systems that are already put in place
Exactly.
by your country.
So it is different in this sense. But Destiny, in response, I would agree, that we should be actively condemning these people who clearly engaged in obviously immoral actions.
Okay, so will you condemn George Washington right now?
Absolutely, I condemn George Washington.
Yeah.
But like,
I condemn basically every U.S. president that has ever lived. I condemn Obama.
Regularly educating on slavery rather than brushing it under the rug. That's
I don't know why you have to jack yourself off to every U.S. president that ever lived. I'm sorry that offends your feelings so much.
Have a nuanced and sophisticated view of history.
Yeah, I do. I have enough nuance to know that he had slaves.
Like this happened before in time, and now it's a new day and age, and like we learn from our history. We don't need to be like
I'm sure it wasn't
That's the whole point. Is if you don't learn from your history, it will
We want
repeat
to
itself.
learn from our history.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that their history
One sec,
is
Eva.
correct.
I didn't learn that. Sorry.
No,
No,
go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
finish.
I'm sorry, Eva.
Finish your thought, and then Wes.
I didn't learn much about slavery at all. It was a side note, right? We didn't talk about that impact and how damaging and how these people got dehumanized. Like in Germany, they
that's
do
America's
talk
fault.
about these
Yeah,
things.
wait, how did you not
we
learn
we
about
learned
that?
a lot about that in
This
Sweden.
is the problem.
Raj,
Exactly.
can I say something actually,
and
like,
we are not
collectively?
learning about it.
One
And
second.
we are celebrating Columbus Day. It's not just Columbus Day. It's so much more. We have so much more work to do.
Wes.
I wanted to say like something actually serious here, and this isn't part of the debate, but a lot of people have this view that Canada is somehow very progressive on Indigenous issues, when in fact, of all the Western countries that exist in the world, Canada's treatment of the Indigenous population is probably the worst in history. And we treated the Indigenous people awfully. We sent them to these residential schools. We stripped them away from their parents against their will. And that only stopped around, I think, 70 years ago or 60 years ago.
Condemn Canada.
We still have them on reservations, and we feed them alcohol, and they're dying.
So there needs to be an active. It needs to be an active policy by any sort of major politician to actively engage with the Indigenous communities. Because, like, I haven't heard a single Democratic nominee talk about this in America, for example. Even though that Indigenous people in America are one of the most oppressed minority groups in the country, and same in Canada. The murder rate of Native people is so much higher than any other minority group. But this is not an active discussion in America. It is in Canada now, but it's not in America, and I don't know why.
Cutie, go ahead.
Eva, I feel like that was a weird, almost like a scapegoat to say the education thing, because at least me personally, I mean, I went to school in America, and we spent a month at least on slavery in every grade from 7th to 12th. Like, we spent more time on slavery than we did current issues. Like,
well, we still have Lecture Fan here saying that slavery wasn't an atrocity, so clearly it's not.
That's not what Lecture Fan is saying. What he's saying is
literally said it's not an atrocity.
Yes, go ahead.
We judge people based on the standards of their time. Okay?
And it was illegal, Bethany.
For moral reasons in the 1400s?
Yeah, actually, if you read the history, but I know you don't like to do that a lot.
Okay, we can do this on stream later, because I don't want to hash this out right now. I'm positive you're wrong. So you think the North World in the 1400s was like a place where everybody was cool with people walls? There was no slavery prior to like the 1600s or 1500s. When do you think slavery really started in all of mankind? I'm curious, Bram.
It goes back millennia.
Wait, so there was slavery prior to Christopher Columbus, or?
Yes.
Okay, so Christopher Columbus didn't literally invent slavery, okay?
Slavery.
The idea is that we judge people, whether or not they're bad people, generally based on our current standards. When Lecture Fan says that slavery was an atrocity, I don't think he's saying that by today's standards, like bring back slavery. I don't fucking know. I don't think
by saying his own standards at the time, it was illegal.
You know what? Don't you just think about one thing. You know, literally the nice things so we can focus on them.
Exactly.
Big reason. To express the atrocity. They just get whitewashed by others.
Destiny, can you clarify your point, Ben? Because I think there's a disconnect here.
I don't think it's fair to I don't think it's necessarily fair to judge people based on contemporary moral standards.
That's why I know that is history.
That's not going to make the difference. But based on same standards, Columbus was fucked.
Yes,
Based on American standards, Washington wasn't fucked.
Yeah, he was so bad that they sent him back for 3 more voyages. Right, I got it. Okay.
I'm saying that everyone in the Spanish government at the time, or the Spanish monarchy, was a saint, Lecture Fan. But he clearly was couldn't do the thing.
Lecture Fan, why do you think slavery gets outlawed?
If it was so terrible, then why did Spain send him back 3 more times?
Why do you hold on? No. Answer this question, Lecture Fan.
Why do you think committing atrocities?
Lecture.
You have no understanding.
Why do you think
of the
slavery
history of Columbus's
getting
voyage?
out of the country? Why would a country rule against slavery? Why would they make it illegal? Why would they say it's not allowed?
I don't know. Hold on, money, Lecture. Hold on. It's something called money.
Hold up, Graham.
Lecture Fan, because slavery is very profitable. No, shut the fuck up, you Twitter shouting drug addict.
Hold on.
No, John, I'm gonna get you in on the next round, John, I'm gonna get you in on the next round.
John, go to a bouncer. Go bounce a club. Go do some cocaine.
I'm getting him in on the next round. I don't want
in that hotel bed.
I don't want to. He's not going to be. You're not. You guys aren't in the vote until the next round, okay?
Lecture Fan.
Leave John alone.
Why would a country get rid of slavery?
Actually, the abolition movement was started by right-wing Christians, and it rose out of Judeo-Christian ethics.
Oh, thank God.
What does that have to do? Why?
That's why we got rid of slavery.
What factor? Is it money? Is it politics? I guess it's all politics. Is it morality? Why would they get rid of slavery? Because it's always profitable, so what does that leave? Only morality. So if Spain morally decides that slavery is immoral and they make it illegal, and he still does it, he is immoral in context of where he grew up, where he practiced, and he went over to the Americas and then took slaves knowing they were illegal. So it's not the same as George Washington, and that's why he's so fucked morally, man. And that's why Columbus Day shouldn't be celebrated, because of how piece of shit he is. Discovering a couple coasts and a couple fucking islands doesn't make you some great fucking explorer. But making slavery and cutting their arms off and ripping their tongues out and killing them if they don't bring you enough fucking gold, you know what that does? It makes you a pretty terrible person.
That's a lie. Columbus never did that.
Okay,
dude.
keep denying history. Go ahead. I can't argue with someone who denies actual fucking history. You're an idiot. You're actually so fucking
you've actually fallen into like a lot of the misinformation out there in Columbus. So
no, I haven't. You have. You're the one citing a 100-year-old book. So.
Okay, guys, let's wrap up the round. Can we wrap up the round?
Wes, it's 80 years. Come on.
Oh, it's only 80 years old. My bad. We haven't hit triple digits yet.
Let's wrap up the round, okay? John will be joining us
Candy
in the
won
next
the
one.
debate, honestly.
Yes, I won, right?
Okay, chat, you are voting for who you want to keep, not kick. Keep, not kick. The poll is in the chat.
Where do you go to school, if you don't mind me asking, what state?
Washington.
Okay, I'm in Indiana. It's highly conservative.
Oh.
And our education system.
Keep, not kick.
So they keep.
Yeah,
I'm a Texas. Amazing.
I feel like that's a very.
I know so much about Native American troubles.
I don't know.
Troubles? Are you kidding?
Is Indiana more conservative than Louisiana? Because it's like
I'm not playing like who's more conservative. I'm just acknowledging that my education might have been a little different from Cutie's.
No, you're using conservatism as your excuse for bad education, which is false. Because I live in the most conservative state in the union.
What? It's Texas?
My education was
Texas is not the most conservative state in the union.
It's arguably the most conservative state.
No way.
There's actually
is it?
There are parts of it that are red, but it's
actually more balanced than you think.
It's going blue in the major cities.
Wait, so you're
gonna say you're more conservative than like Missouri or like Oklahoma?
You're just saying conservative because we all fuck our sisters, dude. That's the only difference between us and Missouri is we're a little smarter.
Have you
and
been
we
to
haven't
Austin,
impregnated our
Texas?
sisters yet.
There's no way Texas is the most conservative. Wow.
We're extremely fucking red.
Holy
dude.
shit! I kind of
Wait,
went
so
out
you
on a
have
limb.
different education systems
Big
depending
cities
on.
are turning blue.
Casey,
Wait, do
are
you
you
have
still here?
different education systems?
That's the thing though. Big
Yes, we
cities
do.
blue is like
Candyland.
everywhere.
Really fucking
Education is made by the states,
Yes.
Candyland.
Really
Even in Washington State, like Seattle's like super blue, but then you go to like rural Washington State and it's like mega red.
I didn't
so,
grow
like,
up in
big
like,
cities being blue is like typical of all the
vote, chat, vote.
I don't even think all the
Vote, chat, vote.
Houston is
Wait,
still
do you want
red,
to
I'm
know
pretty
what
sure.
we do in Sweden? In Sweden, we have one test. Like we have like our schools in the different places, but we have one test in every subject that everybody in entire Sweden does. So we can see that everybody gets the same education level.
Yeah, we were trying to do that in the United States, but conservatives lost their fucking minds. It's called Common Core.
Vote for who you want to keep, not kick, chat. There's still a poll out there to vote for who you want to keep, not kick, all right? It's important you get your voices heard in this Raj democracy.
Amarillo, Corpus Christi. Not all of our big cities are blue.
Yeah, all right, mate. We're gonna get to the Bad Bunny stuff here.
Well, just the fact that like Ted Cruz like did get a serious opposition from Beto at that time just shows like the momentum. I don't think that would have even happened like before the momentum of the Alabama election. You know?
I preferred Texas to be split. I think that would actually help us.
For what greater purpose? Like split for what?
Just because red doesn't always fucking win anymore. I feel like when it's split, we always go with the better candidate.
Well, the problem is that when you're
enough are going to sway from red to blue based off the two best Republican Democratic candidates.
One of the problems you run into though is that a lot of these splits aren't like good splits down like the center of like all the cities on the districts. What happens is you get this weird like rural urban
gerrymandering or whatever. Isn't that what it's
No, not necessarily gerrymandering, but like when you look at like places that are kind of purplish, like even California has these like beds of like conservatism, but it's not like there are conservatives in the cities. Is that all the people in like the rural areas tend to fall very conservative, and then the
Okay. Well, let me tell you what this poll tended to fall as, and it tended to fall as lecture fan. You're the one that's going to be able to decide here who's going to be removed from the show after being. I just want to let you know this is the first time in Rajj Royale history you were on the verge of being eliminated last round, and now you are the deciding one. It's the first time. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just kidding. I pulled that out of my ass. But, all right. That was a false statistic. I just wanted to see if it was true. But somebody called me out on it, so it's not true, I guess. Lecture fan, you are voting between the two lowest amount of voted people in the podcast. Bella Fernandez, raise your hand. And Kaceytron, raise your hand. Kaceytron, there you are.
I just want to say, I agree with you after listening to Wes yell for so long. It made me agree.
Bella Fernandez, do you guys want to make your cases for staying?
I think that was like the one topic that I just didn't know much about, so I didn't want to sound dumb as fuck if I just don't know much about it. But I have loads more opinions to give, on the upcoming topics. So keep me in here.
All right, Kaceytron, your turn to make your case.
Someone has to. I think someone has to sound dumb as fuck in chat with all these 5 heads. So.
Okay, I think I've made my decision. Let me ask Bella one question.
Electric Fan won?
Did you?
Electric Fan gets to
what the fuck
decide.
is wrong with your audience, Raj?
Wait.
My God, Rem, shut up!
No, I'm serious.
Wait, what did you say, Rem?
I said, what the fuck is wrong with your audience?
Okay, hold on, just a minute. Hold on. You know what, Rem? Hold on, just a minute. Hold on. Let me tell you something, Rem. You know who's won this podcast more than anybody on the face of the earth is Destiny. Okay. So what the fuck is wrong with you hanging around with somebody that is clearly a representative of my community being the victor for more than anybody else on the show? What does that say about you,
Destiny's
Rem?
also a scam artist. Remy owes me money.
I missed what you said. Can you repeat that?
What I said is you said that says a lot about the community, the same community that has voted for 7 or 8 victories for Destiny. So what does that say about you for hanging out with them?
I'm not saying your entire community, Raj, but there's a portion of your community that's clearly ultra conservative.
Yes, and well, I don't know about that. I think they're ultra trolly.
I don't know. I mean, they're voting for the guy that literally said that Columbus's slavery was not an atrocity.
The Twitch viewers don't vote based on politics most of the time, dude. They vote for the person who pissed people off the most.
Yeah,
that's why
you really think that the Rajj Royale podcast voters make informed decisions when they vote? Are you kidding me?
I guess not.
All right.
I guess they're stupid or something.
Let's just say this particular vote was an informed vote, and unfortunately, Kaceytron, I'm gonna pick you to go. Sorry, but I do appreciate you. But I think I saw Bella make an indication that she supported something I said about Italian Americans.
I just said that I supported you because I don't support
Electric Fan, you're a fucking.
I know, but when we were in the fire,
is that not a good reason to support you?
Electric Fan, you picked the hottest girl. Shut the fuck up.
Electric Fan looks like you like System of a Down. You look like you like them.
Thank you guys so much.
It cracks me up when I see a comment in the chat about Raj viewers. Earth to you, person typing. You are a Raj viewer. You're in here, okay? You're dumbass. I hate this. All these people that are like talking about Raj viewers in third person. You're in here, okay? You're a Raj viewer, you idiots. God damn. Kaceytron, it's time. It's
Can we talk
time.
about Columbus again?
Thank you all so much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, everyone, so much. I'm gonna go get baked on stream, like Ninja said. Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Kaceytron, twitch.tv/Kaceytron. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Look how far you made it.
It's been 2 rounds. It's felt like a year.
Okay, yes, I know. Well, don't worry, we're only halfway there.
It was fun.
Okay, let's see. Jokered, welcome Jokered into the. You're echoing like a son of a bitch, John.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
John just says
Hold on, you fucking nobody's. We're gonna win. Everyone knows we're gonna win this host. No more mutes. We're not fucking around.
No. You're echoing, John. I'm not gonna include you in the poll if you keep fucking up. I want you to be involved from the very beginning.
First of all, okay, Destiny, I 100% agree with you with Joker. Everyone else is not making sense. Wes, mute your fucking microphone. Do the audience a favor. Bella, you can definitely welcome on my show next. Rem, how are you doing? And
John,
Candy?
yeah. John, you have an echo.
Echo?
It's bad. It's really bad.
Where is the echo coming from?
It's coming from your audio source. Your audio source. You're playing your speakers through your microphone.
You must. Oh! If I keep the phone away, can you still hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Maybe it's an echo because there's 2 of us. Ever thought of that?
No.
Okay.
John is because.
Oh my God.
John is.
Hold on. Yo, Raj, my phone is freezing from all the girls texting me. Could it be that?
No.
No.
Okay,
John,
so
seriously, you gotta fix it.
Seriously, you gotta fix it. Yo, move the iron. Dude, not on stream. Move the iron. Okay, look, listen. Maybe it's all the porn.
No, John, you seriously gotta fix it.
I got you. Fix it.
Wait, it's always.
You got a window. Fix the thing.
Oh no.
I'll mute you, okay? You have literally just a couple minutes to get in here because we're starting a new round. And if you're not going to participate in the round, then it's over for both of you. All right?
Yeet.
You understand? You understand?
Yeah. Hey, Bella, what's up?
Okay, all right.
I was promised ice cream. When are we getting the Bad Bunny, bro?
Look, I know I'm holding off on it. You want to get to it right now?
I have a lot to say, Raj.
I know. A lot of people have a lot to
right
say.
now,
I'm not
man.
even
Let
sure
me-
if people are
let
going
me
to agree or
splooge. I have a
disagree
lot
on
to
it.
say.
Okay, that's the
Let
thing.
me splooge.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Position, Raj.
Okay, all right. So let's start here. Fuck it, we'll get into it, I guess. When now's the time, I guess. Okay, so streamer Destiny. Okay, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a political streamer on Twitch.
Why isn't
Finally,
he here today?
correct me if I'm wrong, Destiny. Are you there?
What's up?
Okay, I'm gonna try to go through this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so streamer Destiny, you finally got fed up with streamer Bad Bunny. For in your eyes, relentlessly shitting on your takes and trying to align with the left. And so you had enough and you decided to expose some messages that were appearing in a Discord, correct?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So the photos, and I'm going to use the word allege because there's no way on earth that I can absolutely, I'm not sure, I'm going to say the photos allege, according to the photos that were posted.
If we want proof, we could try to verify. Oh, she deleted like half her Discord. I guess we can't.
So the photos allege that Bad Bunny said some slurs, including the F word, and about 14 different pages on Discord, as well as some other slurs. I think.
To be fair, that was like less than like 300 times, I think.
Okay, all right. So
it was an accident.
So I think she also. I think it's probably fair to mention that. That she came out essentially saying that they're forged.
Yeah,
the
right after
tweets
she
were
deleted
forged.
half her Discord channels, removed half her mod team. Yeah.
So that they were forged and they were not real. So I just want to know everybody's general thoughts on this this situation. Destiny coming out with receipts and exposing. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Destiny's
generally?
a true hero.
Okay.
No, I think it's super. I don't like that she's using those words. That's not very nice. Like, it's not very nice way to speak. It's not woman.
It's disgusting.
Like it's all.
Yeah, it's
no.
not that it's not very nice. It's
I don't know about woman-like, Candy. I think it's just not good.
It's not no, it's not just
human-like.
It's not alien-like. No, but really, it's like it's just.
Honestly,
and like the fact that she'd say that off like public. Like, publicly on the live stream.
Basically, she's a piece of trash.
Okay, now hold on, Rem. Let's keep this. Let's keep the Rem. Hold on. I want to make this clear, okay? Let's judge this from a like an analytical view, okay, as opposed to.
Oh yeah, no, I have.
Technically, she's a Twitch partner, and I don't think we can.
I thought about it a lot.
I know.
I wouldn't say she's a piece of trash. She's like trash in human form.
Yeah, look. Oh.
We can't say that she's a Twitch.
All right. Okay. All right. Look, technically, hold on. Just I don't know how the Twitch. John, hey John, you're on. John, you're on.
Yo, I'm on.
Yeah.
Zherka official / Twitter. I'm the only person on this call to do 500,000 views overnight. 9,000 my first IRL. I hit my 11,000 peak like last week.
You know what?
Like this right now, like
John.
Excuse me.
Look, man. Come on.
Excuse me in the chat. I'm viral. You're a noob. Shut the fuck up, okay?
No,
CZ, please.
CZ.
Excuse me. Hey.
Oh my god.
Hey.
Zherka, we have other things to pay attention to.
Yeah, but just a second. Destiny, I 100% agree with you. 100%. Like, keep going, man. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh my god.
I'm cheering for you, Destiny. Hey, wait. Hold on. Wait. Are we all, like, just out of curiosity, does everyone dry jack or what?
Everyone, what? Jai Jack? What the hell's a Jai Jack?
All right. Anyway, let's get into it. But seriously, just avoid the obvious TOS shit. Okay.
Sure.
I know it sucks that we.
How is that TOS calling her a piece of trash? You know what?
Hold on. You know what? I fucking agree with you, Rem. I agree with you. Okay. I agree with all of you when you say that. Okay. But the fucking.
In fact, it seems she violated the TOS because she linked.
Okay. All right. Then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Rem.
In her Twitch description, she linked her Discord where she publicly said these awful, horrendous things. And it seems strange to me that Twitch would ban someone like Mitch Jones, who accidentally, for 0.5 seconds, showed one instance of him saying the N-word, but it's perfectly okay if in your description you link
to a chat where you actively have said ableist, racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic slurs over 500 times. It's just a little bit strange to me. I'm not totally sure if I understand.
Wes, go ahead.
I mean, he's right, because in the Twitch terms of
she's a
service, it
woman.
literally says that you're responsible for not only what you do on stream, but your other social media platforms. So
Oh,
this is a
really?
social media platform.
Are we saying
So
that
she should be
Twitch
held
has
to the
double
same
standard?
responsibility that Mitch has.
So
Oh
she's
my
not been
God.
banned.
Nope.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's not-
Oh,
she's not
really?
banned.
I thought she had. What the fuck?
No, the whole aftermath here is.
That's screwed up though, because like they need to hold the same standards for everyone and not like because.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to
this conversation.
this has been a problem.
Yeah, they should hold everybody to the same standard, but the
Yeah,
standard
100%.
should not be controlling our speech and stuff. Nobody supports what she said. Nobody supports what she said or the word she used. The question is should you be canceled for saying something that offends other people? No.
Yes.
There's been what should really happen is people should not watch her if they don't like the language she
Oh,
uses.
Here's the issue: is actually this whole debate has given her a bigger platform, and she's gone up in followers, she's gone up in viewers because of this. So it's kind of like anti.
I hate talking about it because it's like we're feeding the
even
demons.
talking in it. Like,
But it's a difference between Mitch and her. No, it's a difference between Mitch and her, and you can't prove what Bad Bunny said was
But
real,
there's
right?
There's also the huge. There's also the huge thing about free speech, though. Once you like, if you start banning certain words here and there, obviously Twitch can do whatever they want. It's their platform. They advertise on here. They have the right to block you from saying whatever the fuck they wanna block you from saying. But in somewhere else that isn't on Twitch, you also have the right to free speech. And where the fuck does the limit? Like, where's crossing the limit?
When it becomes
clearly it's crossing in your Twitch description.
Wait.
You're
That
cutting
is
out.
not the point.
You cut out. Say again.
Yeah.
So bad.
It doesn't matter if something is offensive. You still should have the right to free speech because it doesn't matter if it offends.
Fernandez,
I disagree with that.
That's an American principle.
That's irrelevant.
Can I
We're not talking about that. We're talking about TOS.
No.
Yeah.
You should
Wait,
have the
no,
right
I have to
free
say something.
speech.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Bella?
but then you
No.
have to argue
Wait,
for
wait.
Twitch TOS and not
This
for
is the thing: is this she represents a company, so she works for Twitch, right?
Yes.
So you don't necessarily get free speech when you have a job that you have to withhold,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. You are responsible based off.
I
of
want to hear Bella, right?
It depends though, because it's like if a
No,
job,
it doesn't fucking depend.
It
If you
just
show up
doesn't
late to work, you get
depend.
fired. If you call a customer an F word, you get fired.
No,
That's
no,
how
oh,
shit
wait,
works,
wait,
homegirl.
okay,
That's
so
how the real life works.
I understand
Okay.
that. I understand what you're saying. Don't worry, I understand what you're saying. As for example, a school, you can't say the N word on school property because it is private property. If you're at your job, you cannot go around, screaming the N word in the office because that is against company policy. That's against company policy, and they're on private ground. They control what is then being said in their building. But outside of that, in your own home,
No, because
in
she
your own
represents
thing,
Twitch, and part of her job description is that she has a positive community, and that her community represents her.
I'm not saying it's
and
right.
So she's
I think
using
it's
these.
disgusting.
I know,
I
but
think
you're
it's
making
disgusting.
excuses for her, and that's disgusting.
I think it's disgusting, but I find it very, very, very hard to start putting boundaries on something as thin of a line as
You
free
have
speech.
to put boundaries on something
It's
that
not
you
as thin of a line.
No,
But
she's
when does it stop? When does it
she's
stop,
representing Twitch, and that is her job. So when
Yes.
she makes the community into something that isn't representational of
A
Twitch, she
question.
should be held accountable.
A question:
Yeah.
Was the DMs like a private conversation with her?
No, it was in her Discord.
Yeah.
General
it was
like
in
chat,
the
just
Discord.
a public thing.
Yeah, because you can control
that
access.
changes things a lot. That changes things a lot, and then it's like
Jackson
does that
Jones,
mean-
who was a
But
private
Yeah,
DM.
she should be banned
wait.
and not Mitch Jones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
Okay,
don't
no.
know.
Like, as someone who was
Let Eva-
around
let
Bad
Eva
Bunny-
speak.
Eva, go
Let
ahead.
Eva speak.
Eva.
As someone who is around Bad Bunny and was around her at TwitchCon and met her and is like the social justice, whatever the fuck, right?
Mhm.
I saw her working to grow. That was my understanding, right? She had a pinned tweet. I talked to her and she told me about how she removed, the whole safe space thing because she felt it was, and she heard that it was aggressive to the LGBT community. And I was like, yes, I am excited. Just like I'm excited when I hear Trihex say he apologized for saying the F word, right? And he talked about that. I think there should be room for growth. So for me, yeah, sure, we can talk about her saying the F word a billion times all over again, like we could do it with Trihex.
No,
But she
Eva,
is-
hold on.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Let her finish.
We are coming back to Destiny posting these things that I don't know. I would be shook because that is not the impression I got. But of course, people can be nice to you and be terrible people, right?
Eva.
So Eva, can I respond? But because I have my own little story about Bad Bunny, because I think I had a very similar experience here. Because I talked to her, I don't know how many months ago, like 6
On
to
or
8
off
months.
stream?
On Destiny, no, on Bad Bunny's stream. And basically, she was just an awful person to me. The only arguments that she could give against me was attacking my age and the institution
When
that I
was this?
attend.
Oh,
She was yeah, like it was awful behavior on her part.
Eva.
Okay, and ever since then, I've publicly said like I'm not a big fan of her. But then in the past few months, I started to see, maybe I tweeted out a few times like, whoa, what are these woke takes that Bad Bunny is having? Oh my gosh! So I even rated her Twitch stream one day because it seemed like she was being progressive in a certain in a very good way. That would be a good development of her content. However, throughout all of this, you had all these instances coming up where she seems to be the exact same shitty person that she was when she shit on me.
Expect her to change entirely, or are there steps? Because I would argue you are not going to
but it takes mental effort to go onto your Discord and
Eva, here's the
publicly
thing. Hold on.
be ableist against a mentally disabled person.
I got some stuff here too, by the way.
Against Alibrow.
So
Please let me
my
fucking
thing
go.
is,
No,
if
you've
the
talked so
things
much.
that Destiny brought out are true, there is no redemption there, right?
Right.
But I 100 like my concern is people are saying, she's deleting stuff. I'm getting messages that she's not deleting stuff. I don't know what's going on. Everyone's saying something different. I know there
no
was
one believes
something
her that they're forged.
doctored.
That's
It was
bullshit. Everyone's
deleted.
seen this happen.
It's just bizarre to me.
So I would believe.
Hold on, Wes. You gotta get Rem. Wes gotta get in. Wes.
One very important thing here.
Candyland.
Wait,
Wes
what?
is gonna get in. He's been waiting. He's been trying to get in.
Eva, the whole that's driving me fucking nuts right now is you're trying to make the comparison between Trihex and this fucking woman who has said this.
Let me.
No,
that's not what she was. That's not what they were doing.
Let Wes finish, Eva.
You already said it. You already fucking said it. I don't want you to backtrack to try to save face. That's so fucking clear.
No, that's totally unfair, Wes.
Rem.
Let him say the unfair thing.
You made this comparison. There's 2 points. That first of all,
I will allow Eva to
whatever, but
respond
that's super
after
fucking
Wes is
stupid.
done.
To compare a slip up when you're playing a game with your friend saying the F word versus someone who every single day is saying the most hateful possible things they can, every single slur in the fucking book, and to say she's making changes. And the second point, Rim, you two are trying to make it so she's making steps. No, she's not making steps. She's making a fucking PR facade to try to whitewash all this horrible shit that she's saying behind the scenes. And now
I agree, Wes. I agree with you, but from the perspective of Eva, who has had a more personal experience with Bad Bunny,
why don't you let Rem let Eva respond to Wes? Let Eva respond to Wes.
I'm so used to everyone talking for me because I can't defend myself, apparently.
Yeah.
No, he also implicated me, Eva. He implicated me.
Efforts, and this isn't an attack at Rem, but I've had multiple people do this, and I can fucking handle myself, okay?
Eva, he implicated me in his statement.
You're
John,
fine.
you're
You're
good
fine.
now.
I'm just calling this behavior out in general. I'm not saying.
Rem,
But
you're a white knight.
Wes, why did I make that comparison? Do you understand why I made the comparison? And do you think it was supposed to be a perfect comparison?
Yeah,
Why
well,
did I make the
shit comparison. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think the comparison should have been made because
well,
it
the
connects someone like
reason
Bad
I
Bunny,
made that
who is a
comparison-
detestable person based off what she said, to someone like
The
Trihex.
reason
Can I say
I made
something
that
super
comparison
important?
is because we can fuck up, and I can admit that Bad Bunny's fuck up is way worse, infinitely
Also 500
way worse.
times, it's not
But
a
at
single
the
fuck up.
same time, we can recognize Trihex did something that's not okay. But at the end of the day, I am here for people growing, people being able to move forward.
Okay, hold on. This is okay. We're all talking about like really random shit. The problem isn't whether or not she's grown or changed. The problem is it doesn't even look like she's making an effort to. She's just trying to grift her way into another group. Like there is one thing to be like, oh, like I mean I can say this because my evolution as a person over the last 10 years has been quite significant. Okay, but like
you're like a Charmander.
Okay, but there's like a huge difference between like somebody trying to grow versus somebody being like, I wonder if I can infiltrate lefty communities. And look at Alabama trying to stream autistic. This was 2 weeks ago, right? Like it kind of looks like a little bit of it. It's like, are you really looking to change, or are you just kind of like finding a group of people to grift into?
The thing is, she really was true. And Alabama like talked to Alabama today, and Alabama doesn't even believe that.
Yeah, of course he doesn't. Because you guys all come out and you defend your friends a lot. Dude, I had this level of charity of put it to me when I gave her birthday takes. I don't know about you in particular, but I can only go by what I see based on 99. I promise you, if I had logs like this to me, fucking Mike CCC, fucking Alabama, I had a conversation with Alabama because he didn't know fuck. Okay, I know you're not, okay? But like Alabama doesn't know fuck all about transitions, right? And I have a conversation with him, and I demonstrate to him that he has no knowledge of anything he's talking about. He gets on Twitter and calls me transphobic. When back when he's dropped fucking more F-slurs, he dropped fucking bombs in World War II. It's like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's pretty obvious that we don't have a lot of principled positions here. We're just kind of like siding with friends. And that kind of fucking bothers me when a whole bunch of people like pull high ground on some of these issues. And it's like, well, fuck, because I put myself out here. When I talk about this shit, I don't do it with a group of fucking friends. I don't do it oftentimes with a community that supports me. I don't have a whole fucking network of whatever, groups that back me up, right? I'm out here doing this shit, and I get a lot of fucking hate for it. So when I see a group of friends that all get together and all rally together to protect somebody that's pretty outwardly grifting, that's using like worse fucking words than I do these days, like in a public setting, like I don't know.
Trihex, get in here. And John, if you have something legitimate to say, Trihex, go.
I've been blue balled for like the last hour and a half now. What I want to say was like y'all all focusing on the F-slur shit, but the one that caught me off guard was the admittance of the grifting.
Yep, that's the big one.
The attempt to infiltrate a progressive left community just to put on an act for a couple of months, see how long it can go. That's the part that actually got me triggered. I was like, I don't know if that was sarcastic or not. There wasn't comprehensive context over that one post where she admitted that, supposedly, allegedly, whatever. But that one, I was like, ooh, damn.
But I also want
I was like, fuck, dude.
With the logs, it's not just logs
more about your character than just some poor decisions over what kind of vocabulary you use in your casual, shield removed downtime in your own isolated, not private but still public Discord.
No, I got hold on. Guys.
We're in that circle.
Wait, let Eva go. I love you, John, but let Eva go.
Guys.
The difficulty for me is I was uncomfortable because I see things that aren't matching up, which they aren't going to match up sometimes. That is the case. But the second thing is there was a thing that was proved as doctored, and I don't have any knowledge back or forth.
That thing that was proved is, hold on, real quick. That thing that was proved as doctored, I'm the one that came out and publicly said that because I talked to Nicole personally when that got leaked. So yeah,
it was about me. I went and verified it with a bunch of different people.
That's fine that you did it, but I was the one that made that public, okay? Because I don't even.
made that. What do you mean? I made that public.
Like literally didn't even have a stream at the time, right?
Are you idiots arguing over who can whistle better? What the hell?
No. It's about its relevance.
I understand that there are some things that have been made fake at the time, but as far as I remember, her response back then wasn't to delete a bunch of Discord channels, kick out half her mod staff, and lock down the fuck out of her Discord, which is what she's done now.
Mod staff, right?
I've been aware that she's kicked several. Maybe it's only one. I don't know.
She apologized for the previous things, yes, which is why I was saying the previous things don't matter. What I'm focusing on is the grifting and the thing about Alabrel, and I'm not 100% sure on those.
Yeah, you'll never see 100% proof on stuff like that because it's barely even. I don't even know how you would even do it. Like you could literally doctor anything if you wanted to go that.
And
route.
I got it from multiple different people. From
the fact that she literally is like spam deleting like fucking shit on her Discord or whatever and like locked it. I think you need like phone number verification to go and check.
I'm like 99% sure.
Yeah, but listen, Destiny, like it's so mean of everybody of you. Wait, can I say something? It's so okay. So fuck now I don't remember.
You said it was so mean of every one of you.
Well, it's so mean. It's so hard. I was gonna speak for like a million fucking years and now I don't remember.
Candy, your brain has a serious echo.
Oh my god.
Okay, but for real, listen. She's the kind of person that seems like she's okay. Do you remember what you're gonna say?
No.
Oh,
I'm coming back.
Can I go? So basically, she seems like the kind of person who's like okay with saying all words. Because there was even that incident where she said on a live stream on Twitch, which I was just thought it was disgusting, how she basically said that can I say this, Raj? You know what I'm on about.
Yeah, say it.
Say
yes,
it.
you can say it.
How like black gay guys basically want to make her throw up.
It was bisexual, yes.
F word though as well in that phrase. But or bisexual black guys basically make her want to throw up, and she's disgusted by it, and she would never date that.
The person who spammed the N-word hates black people, maybe.
The person who, when I talk to them, by the way, when I talked about when I talked to her about dating black people, and she said white people that date black people sound like they just have white guilt. That's no way.
Oh.
Okay, but Bella, can we talk about how you were just arguing against freedom of speech?
Did she even apologize for it?
No, I'm just throwing that out there.
Cutie Cinderella, go ahead. Cutie Cinderella.
On black people.
Cutie Cinderella.
That's fine.
I was confused about Bella saying that's disgusting, but is still arguing about freedom of speech. So she shouldn't be banned for that?
Let me explain. I think she 100% should be banned for that because which is a private entity. They are a private company. They have ads. They can choose whatever they want to be said or not said on their private. I'm saying, let me explain myself. I'm saying, in like the privacy of your own home, or like if you want to, go out in public and say these things, it's still freedom of speech. Even though it's disgusting and I hate it and I don't want to listen to that, I think it's completely wrong. She should have the right to. In public, in like a public area, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just so people can get context?
If you disagree with
Excuse me, Rem next.
Speech, and then
Raj,
Bella, your mic keeps cutting out.
Yeah.
I don't know
Can we get some context of Raj? Like,
basically-
I feel like chat should be aware of like some of the, like she said, for example, quote, go on National Geographic and watch videos of black people.
Yes, Rem. Everybody, a lot of people are familiar with it.
To be fair, wait, that was like 4 months ago, though.
But you know what?
My bad. Oh, I didn't realize. It was only
changed,
Rem. She's changed.
My question is, why isn't Wes accusing her of purposefully leaking this stuff just for drama and follows?
Why am I leaking it?
No, why isn't Wes accusing her, like he has other people, of purposefully leaking this stuff just to create
leak it.
drama?
Destiny
I was gonna tease him for.
Wait, hold
oh
on.
my god.
Destiny is
He got
literally the
called
guy who
over and
spoils
he
movies
responded
because
this-
Reddit pisses him off. I 100% believe him when he exposes shit, dude.
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
can I,
sorry, Destiny,
yeah, go ahead,
I was gonna
Trihex.
pick on you hard.
There's a really important thing here. So far, like the overarching narrative here is that like she once there was exposure happened to her and all the stuff came out that she like locked her Discord, demodded everyone, started rampantly deleting everything here. Can we just pump the brakes for a second here? Because I actually haven't gotten definitive answers on did she actually do all that? Did she lock her Discord down? Did she start mass deleting all the messages? Did she demod everyone?
So from my understanding, no, but I could
I'm
be
hearing
wrong.
otherwise from Eva, right?
I know a bunch of people that were in that chat. I mean,
Okay, well,
Why don't you go try to join her Discord right now?
Eva, 5 minutes ago, didn't you just say you don't know what actually
that's good that she's doing
That's
that. Maybe she's
exactly
trying
what
to
I'm
change.
saying is
No, Candy, she's not trying to change. She's trying to cover up her racist, ableist, homophobic bullshit.
Well, that's good. That's good. Maybe she
No,
did
that's
it
not
because
good,
she didn't know
Candy.
better.
She's trying to
Candy, I
criticizing her for being a
I
shitty
side with Candy here.
person.
Sometimes after I beat
she
my
probably
girlfriend, I
knows
cover up
better
with a bunch of
now.
makeup to show people that I don't actually want to hurt her anymore.
She knows better now.
This is why we don't have edited
Can I just say
tweets.
what I wanted to say before? So I think it's so weird that we're trying to like change her. She can be whatever kind of person she wants to be.
Candy, can you stop defending someone who called black people cannibals?
Hey!
No, I'm not defending them. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying
that's
it's
what
up
you're
to
doing. I
Twitch.
love
You are
You're
literally
so
sitting here
sweet.
defending
No,
someone who
it's
called
up to
black
Twitch.
people
It's not
animals.
up to
There's no
Twitch,
excuse for this,
Candyland.
Candy.
These are the
This
type
is
of
so
people we want to get
weird.
rid of on the fucking planet. These are the type of people who spread the most hateful and fucking produce awful
I am
things.
not
Treating them as people. That's what Twitch, man. We
And
wanna
if you
keep
don't know
people
enough
off
about the topic,
earth.
Candy, don't sit here and try to defend it.
Oh my God, Ren, I want to
So
say
I
something.
am all for people
I-
being themselves, but being yourself when it is saying those things about black people,
It's wrong. It's
I think
disgusting.
It's okay for people to say.
But
maybe
why isn't
Let
she
Eva
here
finish.
right now?
forward. Maybe we should move forward a little bit and try to lift people up out of these really damaging ideologies that are harmful to others.
But Eva, you have been sitting here defending her, and you don't even know what's going on. Like you're doing just as bad.
Let me be very clear.
That's
I
not
am
really.
not defending her if these things are true. If those two things.
Okay, then you need to be careful. No, you have to be careful about what you're saying now because it sounds like you're defending her, and if you don't know that it's true,
I didn't mean to defend
quiet. You should be quiet until you know, because now everyone thinks you're on one side.
Yeah, like Eva, it's very is everywhere of her actions.
Clear position, very clear Eva position. If these things are not true, these specific 2 tweets, I believe Bad Bunny is improving. She might fuck up and hopefully not. Like that is not fucking up. That is admission of grifting, and oof.
But I just, Eva, I don't understand because look at all the evidence. As leftists, as people who need to fight for the rights of disabled people, of minorities, we cannot sit here and wait for a month while this person can grow and grow actively their Twitch platform.
And Rem,
we need to be pushing for her being banned because every single piece of evidence shows that she did this stuff.
Oh my God,
And
Twitch,
I am
why
gonna
are you
support
not
you
her? In doing that 100%, but I hope that there is one person there having that conversation in a different way to try to help her move forward. Is that always going to be me?
Sure, I agree. I hope that Nazis can
Possibly
change
not.
from being Nazis. I hope racists can change from being racist. That's fine.
Eva has had a consistent take here, okay? So I have probably contributed to this. I'm ascribing a lot of views to Eva that Eva doesn't result. So Eva seems to be pretty fair when they talk about like giving people chances or helping people grow. I've never heard them say anything that seems to contradict that. My problem is more aimed at people like Mike or Alabrel specifically, who has relentlessly shit on. Well, hold on, I can talk about things that Alabrel has said on this program, okay? Alabrel has relentlessly shit on people like Slicker, saying that Slicker has not grown, Slicker hasn't made any improvements over anything, Slicker blah 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 blah. And then when you tell Alabrel like, well, hey, well he's like, he isn't Slicker has gotten a lot better. Alabrel's like, well, I don't know, that was like 6 months ago, like I don't know if it's been enough time, blah 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 blah. Who will then come out and on a fucking dime like call me transphobic. Like, it seems like we're playing favorites here, like pretty hardcore, which makes me wonder, like, well, how committed are you to anything you're saying? Those are generally the people I have problems with, not people like Eva, who, for the most part, seems to be pretty consistent from what I've seen in terms of like how they accept people, how they help people move on, how they help people grow, whatever. I just want to be super clear of that.
But my issue with Eva specifically.
Whether that applies if it's a conservative that says it, then does that still apply?
100%. I have conservatives in my community, and if I can keep conservatives in my community, I am so fucking excited. The problem is we run into homophobic things or them saying, Eva, there's only 2 genders, and repetitively misgendering me, and I can't have that in my community. But if I have someone there who said I voted for Trump, and I have people in my stream that do that, I am fucking excited. I live in Indiana. Am I going to condemn every person I see? I can't do that. That is not the world I live in. I can't.
Careful, you're gonna make lecture fans' peanut brain explode with being tolerant.
Hey, stop! Ram!
Be nice to each other.
I mean, look, again, he said that, he said slavery wasn't an atrocity. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I am here for his
I'm not here to support people. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. If he hasn't been educated by now, there's no hope, Eva. Come on.
Rem, please do not lie about me. What I said is that Christopher Columbus did not commit atrocities. Please do not lie.
Okay, so again, you're saying that nothing that Christopher Columbus did was an atrocity.
Why are you getting us back into this
Can I break something down?
No, I'm not lying. We can have the discussion.
Hey, Bella.
Yeah, going back to Bad Bunny, I just want to clarify something again to QT as well. I don't agree with anything she's done. I don't agree with it. I think it's disgusting. I think it's vile. I think racism is the worst thing ever. Like, just don't fucking do it. But...
You're like everyone on Twitter. You're like, I hate ISIS. You should stop.
Let me finish,
I think making your position.
Why are you laughing? This is not good for you.
Let her finish. Go ahead.
I'm just saying my place right here. I'm not condemning it at all. I think it's disgusting. Let's just make that clear, because
you're not condoning it.
Me agreeing with free speech is not condoning racism. They are very, 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 very separate things. When you start saying like people words should be banned, that is going against free speech, whether you like what the person's saying or not.
Then why did you bring it up? Because
it's important to bring it up.
Bella,
It's
Bella,
relevant
Bella.
then, Bella.
Listen
Bella,
to me.
It's
Does
not
the-
relevant.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
You're going in
Hubert, you're
circles,
saying
but go
the
ahead.
same
You're
thing.
saying
as the
random
rest.
stuff that isn't relevant to the conversation.
It is still relevant though.
I think you're
it's
trying
not
to
because
talk
you're
about
basically
being
being
smart,
hate
but you're
speech.
not being smart.
Hey Bella, Instagram must be a hell of a lot easier than this, huh? Just take a picture and get a couple dollars from an ad.
Whoa,
Oh,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
Wes.
Wes.
I've seen her
fuck off,
Instagram,
Wes.
but Instagram is a fucking art, so stop it.
Let her finish her. Hold on. Let her finish her thought.
Unlike you, Wes. Bella
Let her
actually seems to
finish
take
her
the time
thought.
to formulate her opinions.
Let her finish her thought, okay?
Throw them off the back of your hand.
Okay, I'm just basically explaining because what QT said, the chat was then like Bella's a like.
Oh,
You're cutting out.
Bella, your
Oh,
mic's
your
cutting out.
mic is so bad.
Okay,
No.
great. It's not that bad.
The issue, dude, it is bad. That's why we've all said it's bad. You can't argue with me that it's bad. That's another dumb argument.
As I was saying,
Girlfriend,
for fuck's
yeah,
sake.
keep talking in circles.
As
You're not
I
gonna
was
get
saying,
anywhere.
I'm not talking in
Okay,
circles, you're not letting me.
You're saying the same
Shut the
fucking
fuck
thing.
up.
I don't need to hear it
I'm
again.
not saying the same.
Okay, let me hear it. How freedom of speech is different than racism. Even though you don't agree with
just
racism, freedom of speech is the same thing.
I
That wasn't the argument. The argument is that you should be held
I think
accountable for
she
things
should
you
be
say by the
banned.
company you
Let
work
her
for.
finish. Cutie
Oh
Cinderella.
my god, I've heard it. I've already fucking
No,
heard
you
it.
haven't. Shut the
I want
fuck up.
Cutie Cinderella to be inside
You
of
think
me.
she should be banned?
Can you
Holy
just
shit.
shut
Oh my,
up?
Wes.
No.
Wes,
Holy
fuck
fuck.
off. It's like it's
Listen,
that is
I'm just
entirely
Christ.
inappropriate,
I am
unironically.
just making this
Inappropriate.
very
She
clear.
did, friends.
I'm just making this very
no, I
clear
don't
to chat. And also QT from Twitch.
That's
She
not
should be
what I was saying.
Yes, 100%. But what she says in her own
Great,
private
I'm
time
happy
is her
you're
own.
Hold on.
is
Let her.
her
Cutie
own-
Cinderella. Let her finish her
Dude,
thought,
this
okay?
is
Even if
so
you don't like the
stupid.
thought.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just that we've already heard it.
Wait, what'd you call
That's
it?
literally
I'm
it.
clarifying it. Holy shit.
No.
What she says in
No,
her own-
no.
Let me finish this.
Hold
fucking
on.
sentence.
Let me clarify that, okay? I said.
Thank you. Please
Don't.
clarify,
Hold
Rob.
on. Let me clarify. It's important. I said. Let her finish the thought. Even if you don't like her thoughts, not that she's a.
Exactly.
That's not what I meant. Okay. All right.
I think we call that a Freudian
That's not.
slip
I
line.
didn't. No. That. No. I
Just
didn't
wrap
mean
this
it
whole
that
thing
way.
up.
Okay.
Got
Just
him.
wrap this up.
Got
What
him.
she
Can we
says
just
in her
call it a
own-
tie?
Yeah, exactly. What she says in her own time is her own.
I wasn't
own issue,
serious.
But on
Oh my
Twitch,
God.
should be
Let's
banned.
finish
There you go.
Hold on. Hold on. Let her finish.
I'm
just
finished.
said finish,
That's
Raj.
what-
Okay,
that's what
thank
I
you.
wanted- that's what I
All
wanted
right.
to say.
All right.
Yo. All right, so can I bring it back in here now?
Yes.
So okay, so moving on past all this here. So I don't know if I got a conclusion here for like concluding allegedly if the wiping of the Discord was like legitimate or not or fraudulent or not here. So but can we agree that if it remained intact, it would be an admittance of transparency that these things actually did happen? Like, has she actually owned up to like saying all these things here? Like, what's been her? What's been?
There's been no response.
So she owned all.
Well, no, there's been a response alleging
She
that
didn't
the.
deny it all. That is not true, right there.
No,
So
hold
she
on. Hold
did
on. One
acknowledge
second.
Some of it.
Hold on. What's the response been to your knowledge? To my knowledge, I've looked at Twitter, and unless something's changed within the last couple hours, there was a tweet alleging that some of these things were not real and they were forged. Correct?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
So-
Where has she?
Is there something more recent?
If she didn't want drama, she should have just ignored it.
Eva, is
Because
there something more
Candy-
recent? Candy, no.
So-
Rem, no.
I'm saying like the
no.
F word and all of those other things she
Don't say it.
has owned up to, right?
Wait,
Whereas
where?
these two tweets, and that's why I've heard her talk about this.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
she
missing it.
has a
apologies
pin.
for her
She has a
behavior
hold
on
on.
Twitter.
Hold on. I think what Eva's referring to is that she has a pinned tweet on her Twitter regarding the things that she's done in the past, something along those lines. Correct, Eva?
And then not only that, but I know on top of it, I gotta remember, but it was basically her saying, like, I left these things up initially. So when you search and you see the F word and all the other slurs, so specifically the slurs, not the two other tweets, but the slurs, those are the ones that she has said, yeah, I left those up for transparency previously. She might have wiped them. I don't know, but I'm hearing that she hasn't. But
She
I'm not
literally
in her
used the F
Discord,
word in
so
the
I can't
past
say
month.
anything.
She
Did
literally,
she?
yes, in her chat.
Can I have a weird interjection?
So-
I just want to say, Bella, what the fuck? You know I'm a mod in this chat. There's no reason to type in chat and say Cutie's jealous. What am I jealous of? Your bad
I
takes?
was
Please tell me.
replying to someone.
You literally typed cutie jelly. What am I
was
jealous of?
replying
I would love to hear it. What
someone.
do you have that is so much better
I
than
was
me, Bella?
replying.
I would love to hear it.
Let her finish. Cutie, you have to let her
hair.
respond.
I've already
She was
responded.
replying to someone. You replied and
I
said
was
cutie
replying to
jelly.
someone.
You
Yeah,
said
'cause
cutie
I was
jelly.
replying to someone.
Saying
What
what?
is-
That
what
I'm
is-
jealous? So what am I jealous of?
It doesn't
Answer the
matter. I
goddamn
was replying to
question.
someone.
Well, yeah,
I
you
know,
replied
now
to
you
someone
answered,
and you
Bella.
said
Why are you
cutie
saying
is
that?
jealous.
Can
So
we move
why?
on? I've
what am I
already
jealous
answered
of?
your question.
No, that's not a question.
What is going on?
That's not an answer.
Okay,
Oh,
this is. Hold on. Let me put this into context. All right. This is a side conversation because Bella, I did see it as well. Bella, you said cutie is jelly or something like that. Cutie
I
jelly.
was replying to someone.
Okay.
Saying that I'm jealous. So what am I jealous of, Bella?
Because someone just said it in. Everyone's saying it in chat, so I was replying to them.
So
I
you
don't
said
know what
it
the
too,
fuck.
so
You
you
just
agreed
acting.
with them.
I'm not agreeing. I'm just acting.
So if you have, okay, so
You
if I have
know what?
freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want to say, but I don't mean it. That's what freedom of speech is,
Jelly.
right? Oh my god.
Fake, Bella.
Cutie is
She sounds like a fake.
Okay, Candyland.
We talking
Jesus
about the
Christ.
atrocity here, Raj.
She says
Who the
something
fuck
right. I
says
didn't
jelly?
stand for it.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Hey. Hold on. Hey.
I'm so jelly.
This is being taken out of context.
No, it's not out of
Take it out.
context. If the whole
Oh
that
my
is-
god!
this
I
is
didn't
the
come
most-
on here.
Hold on. Stop.
That's not why I
Bella,
came on here.
Bella,
I came on here to, like,
can you
talk.
please?
It's not
And
just
hold
arguing.
on, so we
Please
can
give
move
me
on from this.
context.
Hold on.
Oh my
Hold
god!
on.
I'm gonna leave if you don't fucking
Cute.
stop.
Okay.
Please
Cutie.
stop.
Come on now.
God.
1 second. Hey, hold on.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
give me a second. Hold on.
Oh, great.
All right.
Amazing.
Can we just clear this up so we can move on from this?
Yes,
Bella was responding to somebody in the chat who said what?
You really want me to go through this whole
Okay,
thing?
you don't. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But you
She
can.
was clearly trying
Make
to
her do it,
refer
Raj.
Cutie Cinderella.
I'm
to her
definitely-
favorite.
I am a little
I'm
curious.
invested in this now.
Okay.
I really want to. I want to know what she was responding to now.
That's fine, Bella. I
fuck
encourage
off.
it. I really encourage it. If you
I
think I'm
was
jealous,
just-
just fucking say it.
No, that's not it. I was responding to someone
You
in
just said
chat.
cutie jelly.
Let her finish. Go.
I think that all of Bella's
Let her
messages have
finish,
been
Wes. Shut the
forged.
fuck
Okay,
up.
The
I'm
messages
just gonna
were
be
forged.
quiet. Okay. I'm just gonna be quiet because I can't actually.
Wes, you should stop trying to defend her. Maybe you're jelly yourself, okay?
I am pretty
Maybe.
jelly.
Okay, Bella, now it's your
Just
turn to
ask-
speak.
no.
Everybody shut up.
I've already
what you
said my
were jelly
part.
of.
I don't want to carry on with this conversation.
Okay, can I have my hot take real quick?
Can we speak privately after the?
No, I don't feel like that. Let me just have.
Really nice.
Then let's leave it
Hey,
there then.
Bella, no, listen, because you
Okay,
didn't speak
no.
privately to me when you typed in chat. You
Okay.
finally, okay.
Okay.
Said no one left your bitch ass.
Okay.
Cutie.
All right. Yes.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen on this podcast. Of everything.
Freedom
Look,
of speech.
we
Here's my
had-
freedom of speech, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't say it.
Okay. All right. You know. Hold on. Hey.
Urging to a fight and then walking away.
Okay. This is all right. Now look.
This was the dumbest
is-
conversation I've ever seen
This
on
is
this
the
on
most
this
invigorating
Royale.
conversation I've heard. Raj, what was she
believe
responding
this.
to?
Well, she left. Now she's back.
I love the drama.
Jelly of. I needed.
Unsurprisingly.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Cutie. Clearly, she's not going to
Clearly, I'm
respond
just
to it.
jealous
She
of her.
probably,
It's
you know
okay.
what, Cutie? She
I'm
probably
so jealous.
No, she probably regretted typing it. I think she regretted it. If
Well,
she
could've
apologizes,
said that,
we
Candy.
can.
You don't need to make
Yeah.
like it's cool. It's fine. She doesn't need to. Like, it's
Well-
just stupid. It's so stupid.
Okay, let's move back. Let's
Well,
move
she,
back
like,
into.
told me-
Hold on.
Can I say something to Eva
mad.
regarding the Bad
Yeah,
Bunny
I'm
thing?
also
Yes.
Actually, I just
so
got
annoyed now.
updated logs, and she said the F word in the past week.
Okay.
So
So it's not even the past
actually-
month.
No.
God,
So
Jesus
I heard
Christ.
that this is in regards to. Do we know the context of it? Because I've heard it's in regards to not using it. But I'm getting secondhand information. I am not in her Discord.
Let me double check the link.
Just out of curiosity, this is just a general question, okay? General question. When you're referring to a slur as if somebody had said it, and then you use the slur to refer to what somebody else had said in like a context, is that something that people should avoid doing? In your
I would
guys'
recommend
opinion?
avoiding it. Yeah.
I mean,
So, like,
why?
let's-
I mean, it's totally
you shouldn't
fine
have-
for
you should-
context.
So like,
You
It's
shouldn't
the only
have
reason
to,
we
but-
avoid
Okay,
it
I've got the
because
logs.
Hold on,
we're-
hold on, one at a
we're-
time.
we're
October
avoided
18th.
on Twitch
one at a
because people
time.
would just
One at
spam
a
report
time,
us if we
please.
said
Wes,
it
you
in
go
context.
first.
That's what I'm saying. It's the only reason we don't use it on Twitch. Like, in my personal conversations, I will say the words like, I can't believe he called him the fucking that word or whatever. I would say the word.
Right.
But on Twitch, the only reason people don't do it is because even though they came out with that shit, it's like, in context, it's fine. Destiny is the only person who's had the balls to say it in context. Everyone else just says F word, N word, whatever.
Eva,
because they're just, it's spooky.
Eva, go ahead with what your take was initially. So in order, we're referring to actually not to avoid saying the word when referring to it in context.
Oh fuck! This was today.
I would recommend not. I absolutely would recommend not.
Okay.
Okay, listen. This is something that Bad Bunny said today in her chat.
Ram. There's been 500 separate occasions. I don't need to pick out the.
No. This is Bad Bunny admitting. Quote, it's okay. I deleted the messages in regard to the slurs that she previously used. So it is not about being transparent, Eva, because she's here acknowledging that she deleted the messages of her singles.
I don't know where that's coming from. How are we supposed to validate that claim? Hold on. Just a serious question. I need advice from Destiny. Okay, if Rem were to come with something like that, how am I supposed to substantiate that or allow that to move forward if I don't have it in my hands?
Well, I can send it to you.
There's a really good litmus test that we use actually to determine the veracity of information like this. It's actually just a 1-point question. Is it entertaining as fuck, Raj?
Yes.
Baby. Let it ride.
All right. Okay.
Like that's
I know.
You could have actually done some.
Wait. Can I
immature about this?
Honest to God, I really, and I call me an asshole. I really want to know what Cutie was jelly of. This is gonna drive me crazy.
I've got separate.
Yeah, we need to know.
This is real.
You're so fucking petty.
Tell us. Why
do you get to play Fortnite with Ninja and I don't?
Okay,
like,
guys, this whole jelly thing is we got to put it to bed. Okay.
Oh, we're still back to that again.
It's the most relevant thing on the show right now. This drama unfolding live, Rem. Fuck you.
Anyways, Eva, that should. I feel like that should clear it up.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. You know what? Hold on.
If you say it, you agree with it. Why don't you just? I was repeating everything. Bella, why don't you say sorry to me? You can say sorry.
I was
it was going on while we were having the discussion.
Sometimes memes.
Actually, hold on. You know what, Bella? Hold on. Cutie, you're sounding a little jelly right now, I think. I think you need to knock it out.
Raj, I feel like you should show that picture on the stream so that people know what.
No, don't let me talk. I've been waiting. Can I fucking talk, please?
Yes,
so the one thing I have not said the whole time here is the importance of how easy it is to doctor and manipulate Discord logs. I don't know, like you have like a mass amount of people who are saying that the logs are legitimate or whatever here, but when I'm seeing screen caps today of shit, it takes 2 seconds in Photoshop to manipulate.
I've got multiple different.
That's the problem.
Situation.
That's the problem, Rem. Thank you, Trihex, for highlighting that.
I've had people up my ass about the same log you're bringing up right now, Rem, but I've objected from.
That's what I'm saying, Rem. I think
trust these things.
Yeah.
There are shitters who will happily Photoshop a shit in 4 seconds flat. Find the Discord font, make it easy.
So it's a crazy coincidence that a bunch of people all at the exact same time got different screenshots of the exact same thing happening and all sent it to me.
One jackass makes a fake thing and then spreads it like fucking wildfire.
No, they are different photos of the situation. It's not the same one being sent by a bunch of different people.
It's too. Look.
No, if you got different ones, okay, then we can talk a little bit further about that. I have the same one, the same image or link spammed to me 6 different times from DGP and my chat and every chat in between here. So
can I say something about screenshots? So Bella said that she was replying to everything in chat, but in fact she hadn't said anything in chat for about 20 minutes.
Oh my god!
Until she said that. I have the screenshot. Remember, I'm a mod, so I can see your user log. So you can't say that you were replying to everything in chat, but you didn't say anything for 20 minutes. No, I'm not gonna let it go until you apologize or you say what I'm jealous of. I'm so offended about.
She just wants an apology. That's all.
I just want an apology. I want to know what I was jealous of. I'm sorry. Nope, you did not say sorry.
I didn't mean to offend you. I did. Go back in the box. Go back in the box.
Not in mean
chat.
No,
did I say
not
sorry?
meaning to offend someone is different than apologizing.
Look, I am sorry.
Hey, you can talk to Wes about this too. We had a similar conversation.
Sorry if it offended you.
No, not if it offended me.
I don't know why you're so working.
You need to take accountability. Be a grown up. Be a grown up. You say, I am sorry. I said you were jealous.
You're acting as if I freaking killed somebody.
No, because what am I jealous of, Bella? No, I just want you to own up to some shit for once in your goddamn life.
Own up to what? I was memeing with chat because that's what
you
chat.
weren't memeing with
You're
chat.
jealous of her Instagram followers, B.
What is she jealous
Say
of?
what I'm jealous of.
Why
Hold on, Cutie. Hold on, Cutie. I just want to say that I'm pulling logs of Candyland who just called you a bitch. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
No, I would never say that.
Candyland sitting here looking all cute and pretty, but she just called you a bitch in the chat. I can't believe that. Candy, hold on, let's pull the logs.
Like, come on,
See
bro.
what I mean? It's just me.
No, I want to have my last take on this.
No, listen,
I didn't call Cutie a bitch. I called Bella a bitch.
Oh, she actually
Okay.
called me.
She just called me a bitch.
Bella.
Fine, whatever.
Bella,
It's fine.
no, the difference is
just
Candy just said it to your face, and it's not trolling when you say it resentfully in chat. Also, you're sitting here, you can sit here, and your one argument has been about freedom of speech, and then you say something and you take no accountability for it. I'm sorry your parents didn't tell you need to own up to things, but you do have to have a spine and stand behind what you say.
Cutie Sorrel's just pissed because Slicker didn't choose her.
I have replied to you. I have said sorry. What else do you want from me?
I want to know what I was
sorry
jealous
if
of.
you're offended.
Yeah, you said sorry if you're offended. You didn't say sorry. I said you were
We
jealous.
need to have a real conversation on how to genuinely call. Yeah.
Eva, don't lie. Eva, I love your enthusiasm.
The truth is, I am jealous.
Absolutely silly, but I think there's a relevant point here in that people don't know how to fucking apologize.
I just said sorry just now.
Eva,
Hold on, Cutie. Hold on. Also, what I think is relevant here. Hold on, Cutie.
I'm not taking
Cutie, this is a relevant conversation. Hold on. Cutie. Thank you. The question that I have for you, Cutie, is when is it enough? Because she said sorry a few times, right? But then you're on the offense. So my question is, when is it enough for you to? Because I think we can apply this. Thank you, Eva, for bringing this up. We can apply this to multiple different situations of all sorts of different topics. But in this particular situation, it's relevant. When is it enough for her to say sorry? Yes, go ahead.
So it is relevant. I mean, it's enough once she's owned up to what she said. So she has to say, Cutie, I am sorry that I said in chat that you are jealous of me because I think that I
Hold on, Bella. Let her articulate it.
jealous of me because I'm prettier than you, or I think you're jealous of me because I'm smarter than you. Like she's all about what exactly she said. Like a 5-year-old who walks away from your computer.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, hold on. Let's move on.
You should try 911 too, Wes.
Eva. Hold on, I just want to let you know we have a screenshot of what Candyland said.
What?
Yes. I just want to make a point here. I just want to say we have a screenshot coming in live here. Oh my goodness, Candyland. I can't believe you. Unbelievable. Cutie is a bitch right here. Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
It was just an accident.
Okay. Clearly, if you're watching, that's clearly a doctor photo. Okay, you can actually call her a bitch. Okay. You can actually call her a bitch. It's doctor. Just to make it clear. One of my moderators did that in about 30 seconds. I'm not saying that.
Actually, can I say something real quick?
Can I say something?
I will play Fortnite with Candy, and I will try to fuck her.
Okay. Anyway, Trihex, what do you want to say?
Well, so speaking of apologies here now, can we talk about, I guess, are we moving on to the next round?
Yeah, let's move on to the next round. And what? Trihex, you have a 5-head brain. Hold on.
Open with bunnies.
Exactly. Yes. Trihex, you have a 5-head brain. Can you hold on to that? Because there's been a bunch of papegas. Okay, a bunch of papegas that I've asked this to, and they can't hold on to the thought. I'm telling you. So please prove me wrong.
All right.
It's time now to vote. It's time now to vote for the person who is going to win the round. Okay? Vote for who you want to keep, not kick. Keep, not kick. Keep, not kick.
So I've got a question for
Shut up, Rem.
Well, no, okay. Well, fine.
We're voting.
I'm just kidding. What's your question?
Sorry, one sec. Someone just. No, I have a question for Lecture Fan.
Oh God.
I know you're a big fan of history, so I've read this really compelling report. I can't remember exactly who it was from. It was from some book, but it was some very convincing evidence that the Nazis didn't actually use gas chambers.
Oh no.
There's a lot of really good.
Ram. That's enough. That's enough.
That's a serious question.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to go into it.
Wait, can I get the link again, please?
Yeah,
That's not a serious question.
it's not a serious question, and that's enough.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
You
Sorry,
know,
I
that's a
went to the toilet.
conspiracy. You should talk to Jon.
That's enough. I'm not gonna have that.
Conspiracy? What?
Ram, that's enough. What did I tell you? That's enough, Ram.
Look, you're literally platforming a guy who said that Columbus's slavery wasn't an atrocity, and you're getting mad at me, Raj? What the fuck?
Ram, I asked you. I asked you to stop, and just stop. How about that? I don't want to get into that.
Cringe, Rim.
You already had. You guys went at each other for back and forth.
That's right, but it's a very serious issue.
Rem and I go at it every Rajj Royale.
Every night?
I am so mad, Chad. Why are you voting for Bella? She was me. Wait, what?
Hey,
you just answered your own question.
Congrats, Bella. I got you the votes. You're welcome.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't
going
do
to
it
be
for the
real quick.
votes. I honestly thought it would give me like.
Also, for the record, if Lecture Fan, you're still denying it, someone sent me a clip of you literally saying
Now
it
I'm
wasn't an
actually
atrocity.
jealous.
So
Oh my god,
you
QT,
can
let it go.
quit denying it.
Just let it go.
Okay.
You might get along with Bad Bunny. You guys like
I'll just tell you to let
All
it
right,
go.
Bella Fernandez. Holy
I
shit!
said
Oh my God!
Christ.
You win the round.
I'm so sorry.
Who won the round?
Uh-oh.
Bella
It's not like
Fernandez
she can
and
kick
Cutie
me.
Cinderella are at the top two
Somebody's
here.
getting the axe.
Go ahead and vote for who you want to keep, not kick. Keep, not kick. Keep, not kick, chat. Keep, not kick. All right. Winner
Oh
of
my
the round
fucking God.
is.
People actually like the goddamn jelly drama. Fuck
Of
you.
course
It was a
do.
good ass story, dude.
I'm so disappointed in
I want some
humanity.
credit for that round.
You know, hold on. You know
I
what?
know
You know
how
what
the
kind of
show
weirds me
works.
out, Rem, is that like you don't have the social awareness to understand what platform you're on. You know, like you know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
do you really think this is like a some sort of environment where we're having like, you know,
No.
like
What was the first thing I did when I came on here, Raj? I literally talked.
Well,
shit
I
about
know,
the show.
but it's just like I just don't understand. Like,
It doesn't mean that I
seems
cannot
like
come.
fairly
I can come
straightforward.
on here and criticize the content.
Oh, of course.
The cool thing is,
I mean,
that
I know.
I've
I
been
guess.
quiet
I
like
suppose
2
you
rounds
can.
now.
I suppose you can. I just
wanna
don't. I
try
just
to
don't
have
think
serious
that.
conversations about stuff.
I
Like,
get
that's
it.
what
I
I'm
get it.
trying to
Okay,
do.
you're right. But I'm just saying is I feel like sometimes you just don't
So
like.
I don't know why you're criticizing my social.
No, what I'm
awareness.
criticizing is the fact that you seem to be completely dumbfounded by some of the results of the polls when you.
Oh no! I am on a daily. I am dumbfounded.
You're dumbfounded by the
you have
result of the poll
viewers
when you,
that would
like-
rather watch two people fight about whether or not they said that they were jelly.
You're
or not.
dumbfounded by that.
Rem,
Actually,
Dummy,
Rem,
this is,
we're not
this is
living-
the Jerry Springer of Twitch. What do you mean?
Yeah, we're not
Did
living
you
on
read
like
the
the
article?
year 100 where there's like slaves and stuff. It's 2000.
Sorry, what?
Here's what we do, Rem. Here's what we do: is we slowly hijack the conversation. And make it
Yes.
Destiny, meanwhile, is busy
Oh,
just
no.
dragging us through the mud.
Okay,
Thank you,
Yeah.
that's
Destiny.
because
I appreciate
Destiny.
your effort.
I had this epiphany last night on my stream. Destiny is the Regina George of Twitch. He fucking
fuck is
loves
Regina
drama.
George?
Who the fuck is Regina George?
Oh my god, how do you not know that?
Even
From Mean
Candy
Girls.
knows. Yeah, from Mean Girls.
Wait, actually,
sorry,
you
I-
know what? Wait, you remind me of Regina George. You know why? Because
Why?
Regina George was hella jelly. Amen. Can I get some cruise in fucking chat? Can I get some fucking cruise in chat?
That was really good.
Okay.
That was good. That was good.
Let's see here.
Oh, man.
Bella, you
Ready to
won
kick
the
it
round.
Raj, I
Congratulations.
appreciate what you do. I just like it done in a bit of a different way.
Rem,
But
I
everyone has
appreciate.
their own
Hold on, I
opinion.
appreciate your voice on here, which is why I continue to invite you back. Okay, so that's
Yes,
why.
and I appreciate you
Rem
having
is
me.
cute.
Yeah.
I think Rem is cute.
Oh,
You
well,
think
he's
everyone's
gay,
cute?
Candy, so I don't think it's.
Everyone's
I don't think it's gonna
cute.
work out.
I think everyone is cute.
Yeah.
But he's really cute, like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well. Hey.
I
Oh,
agree
thank
with
you.
you.
I guess I don't know what to say.
I don't know. Boobs are. I don't know. I'm with you on that, Rem.
What did you say, Raj?
What I said.
Excuse me,
never-
Raj?
What?
Excuse me, Raj?
What word?
I said boobs.
What do you-
Grow
What do
the
you mean by
fuck
that?
up.
What?
Come on, Raj. You're the fucking
You
host.
sexist
Here. You're supposed to
What?
be calling. You're supposed to be reining
Oh,
in this
shut up,
fucking
You're supposed to be the host. You're supposed to give us topics.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you talking about? What's wrong with what I said?
You know what we're talking about, Raj.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with? I said boobs.
I thought we grew from the days of Titty Tuesdays, and here you are. And here you are, Raj, an unchanged man.
I just said boobs. What's wrong with saying boobs? I'm so sorry. Is that sexist of me to say boobs?
No, it's okay. You can say boobs. I allow you.
Oh, thank you.
I give you the boob pass.
She speaks for all women.
Do I have the boob pass? All right.
Yep.
All right. All right. Okay. Well, let's vote. Bella, congratulations on winning your first ever round on the Rajj Royale podcast. You had to endure a lot of bullshit to the person that came in second to you, Cutie Cinderella. How does that feel? You a little jelly there, Cutie? Huh? How about now?
Jelly.
All right.
Oh my God. Speaking of, go follow my Instagram so I can catch up with her.
Okay, here we go. Wes, by the way, and Lecture Fan in the bottom two. Shockingly. Shockingly.
Wait, who was it?
Lecture Fan, raise your hand, and Wes, by the way.
That is just brain.
Oh, lecture.
Wait, actually, can we agree that Lecture Fan can stay if he can answer a basic 8th grade history question?
Rem,
Here
what
comes
did I
the slavery
tell you?
Nazi
Please.
question. Which one is it?
Rem, if it's about Columbus Day, we can go back to it. I just don't want to go into some other bullshit.
No. I'll lecture a random
Raj,
question.
can I ask them a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Why do you want to stay on? And how
All
are
right.
you?
Oh, cheeky. That was a cheeky question, yeah?
This is my home, dude.
All right.
I get to sit here and talk.
All right,
shit.
Lecture Fan,
Okay.
answer.
Hey, okay, fuck me, Raj. I guess I'll fist my own ass.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wes, did you want to answer?
I
That
was mid-response,
you
you
were going to
brain
have an
dead one, but-
opportunity to
Wait,
answer,
Bella
Wes.
asked, it's her elimination. Go.
She already asked it, you fucking idiot.
LC.
Right, so I'm not Wes. I don't interrupt people. I don't yell. I don't scream, and I bring a unique perspective. So you should obviously pick me.
It is very unique. I don't see many people saying that's very wrong.
It's unique if it's harmful to people in
That's
general,
definitely
right?
unique.
If you promote racism and
Yeah.
you think slavery's okay, like, is it really unique is a good word to use here? I think that's a scapegoat. I think
Big
you're a
slavery.
terrible
Okay,
human
stop
being.
slandering him. He's not fucking Bad Bunny here.
Okay, all right. Wes,
Okay.
your turn to
Wes.
defend yourself.
Wes already said something. He's already gone. Wes, I think you're amazing content. No, not gonna lie. I think you're just great for the content. But it is nice also to have someone that, doesn't scream too much because my ears are kind of hurting.
Oh, no, you don't know what show this is, Bella.
I'd
do you?
rather have the screamer.
So I'm gonna keep. Sorry, guys.
Hey, Bella Fernandez, that's not how the show works. You've been overridden. We keep content because the whole show is a fucking
but
entertainment platform.
LC is also content. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Yeah.
Bella's
I
interested
like you
in
both.
Lecture
I like you
Fans'
both.
interesting take on history.
Hey,
Let's
all
get
I'm gonna
some
say is that
lectures.
Instagram comment came to bite me in the ass, dude. I paid the price.
Swear it's not about that, but I do.
Okay.
Well,
Thanks for having me.
all right, Wes. See you later. Half the chat is saying see you, Wes. The other one's pissed, so.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, shout out. I'm doing a show after the Royale called DJ Cast, Raj.
LC saved me.
Yes, tune into the DJ Cast later to hear some of the topics that I stole from Wes. Take care, Wes.
And better ones.
Yeah. Bye, Wes. Bye-bye. Take care.
Sorry, guys.
All
I
right.
had to. LC saved me as well.
No, it's all right. No problem.
pay him back,
No
you know?
problem. It's anyway. Trihex, let's bring up what you were gonna bring up at the beginning of the last round.
All right. So yeah. So speaking of bad apologies altogether here, let's get into the next phase of this whole incident here, which is the, if I recall correctly here now, the lack of one from Bad Bunny so far. Right now that the aftermath's come and the things have been exposed here, has she come forward and admitted, or even commented on?
Wait, hold on,
anything?
just a minute.
We have talked about
Are we
this
still in
already.
the issue about whether or not she actually did these things? She's still denying it. So how can we talk about the apology?
Wait, is the topic
So
staying on Bad
so
Bunny?
officially she denies everything now. Like, I'm confused.
She-
because I
she
saw
denies
one
doing-
thread.
Wait, can I? Well, there's one answer to this. I don't know why people keep giving her answers. So she denied the two recent things that I tweeted about her grifting and about saying that Alabra was autistic when he cried on her show. She denied those two things. She has owned the past stuff that she said in her Discord. That would, like, most people have known that. So the difference right now is whether or not the stuff recently she said that the grifting thing and the Alabra comment. She denies that. She owns everything else. That's the answer to that. Okay.
Engage in petty or small scales.
My question is, how do you redeem yourself from that? Is it unredeemable?
Yeah, that's my question too, actually.
Redeem yourself from the second part or the first part?
So man, it's hard to say because she's taking responsibility for all the previous ones, but not the current ones, right? Like the calling out.
So are you focusing on how you redeem yourself from the second one?
It's hard to say because what if the second one was?
I'm wondering, what is she grifting about? What's that?
Grifting is when you invent political views, either for social capital or financial gain or whatever. You basically pretend like you have certain beliefs to make people like you.
And Destiny is an expert at it, let me tell you.
Good one, Rem.
Oh,
Maybe
zing zing.
I'm totally wrong on this, but I feel like Bad Bunny has generally felt kind of out of our circle until after TwitchCon. She had a lot of complaints within TwitchCon regarding being included and the whatnot. So like, is she grifting for viewers? Which of course Destiny can't answer this because he's not Bad Bunny, and if Bad Bunny wrote this, but it's just interesting to me why would she be grifting?
I don't think she's grifting. Or sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say you can call anybody a grifter if you just any person that engages in political discussion, you can call them a grifter, and you can't prove it because it goes to their intent and what's in their heart, and that's just not something you can prove. So it's
no, I disagree with that.
See, like Donald Trump is a grifter. He says stuff so he gets attention too, right?
Yeah, God, defending someone by saying we can never possibly know what their intentions is just like one of the stupidest defenses.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Wait, let's be a little bit more charitable here. So we can tease out intentions based on behavior in the past and based on behavior in the present. So like this would be, so if somebody were to accuse me of being a grifter, for instance, my response would be, well, actually, the type of conservative content that I would make would be far more profitable than the content I make now. 1, 2, I've like significantly changed my views over time, sometimes at the detriment to my financial gain and at the cost of my community because it's happened. So like, and then 3, like I've like lost friends and lost access to other communities because of the types of views that I've espoused. Like, I think it's pretty easy. So like, I would argue that like if for what?
Okay.
I have to pee. Keep going.
Yeah, so like that would be like my argument for like why I don't think I'm a grifter, for instance. Now if you have somebody that appears to like kind of like so like I think Dave Rubin, I think you can make strong arguments for being a grifter. His arguments are like unbelievably fucking stupid sometimes. It seems like he bounced from the Young Turks all the way over to whatever the fuck political beliefs you would say that he has now. It seems like he's making a lot of money doing it. He has like financial backers that seem to be like pretty motivated into him having a certain political opinion. I think you can make, obviously we can't know deductively, but we can kind of like inductively or abductively say like, oh, you know, like this guy is probably not being legitimate, or like how people conduct themselves in their personal lives as well with their political views.
Yeah, like we don't know whether, you know, anything exists, but we operate like we do, and we operate like we are able to understand the intentions of other people. That's just a basic fact about life.
We do
so it's irrelevant to bring it
regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing I really wanted to focus on further. Actually, was that the one excerpt of her claiming to be a grifter. Ultimately, I'm just like, I wish I knew the more context there, because I don't know if that could be a sarcastic quip in relevance to the conversation she's having at that time in that one Discord log, or it could be her being legitimate. I don't really know. So I don't. It's just the one that I thought, if it's true, it does sting a lot to me, because it comes off as incredibly disingenuous.
Right, but are people watching her for her political takes though?
Yes.
Yeah, it's largely what she does. It's like
generally, yeah.
Okay.
But again, that's only if though. I don't want to like, again, because that could be easily like, whatever. Like we're bringing up here earlier, it could be, the quoting of slurs to explain some context of their usage and stuff like that, right? So,
excuse me.
Because I saw I saw through the whole thing here, and I saw some hard R's thrown out there, in order of the hard R, and at least one of them was like not exactly being used in a demeaning way. It was like mentioning of the word and its usage in a certain way, and but there wasn't enough context to really know what she was talking about.
John, what did you want to say, John? You're echoing again.
I'm not echoing. If I turn down the volume, it'll be fine.
You are echoing. You're echoing.
Right,
you're echoing, dude.
Listen. Hey, guys, take it somewhere else. I can't hear shit. Please. Listen. Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Zherka official /Twitter. Go Destiny. I'm brooding.
Oh my
wow. Being close to Bad Bunny, I don't see grifting behaviors. Do you have something worthwhile to say, Zherka?
Bella, would you like to be on my next show this week? Are you down or no?
Sure, I'm down. I'm down. Wait, what is
like IRL?
Hold on, wait a second, John. Come on,
IRL
John.
Is this like a new Papa Bad right now, Raj? Like,
okay, hold on. I love John. Why is he here?
Well, I invited him onto the podcast. Okay.
You know, hold on. Pause. Raj.
Yes.
The reason I'm here is to make the show look good. You need a 9 out of 10, right?
All right, John. Look, I invited John on the podcast.
That's why we have Trihex here.
I don't know what's
John.
going on. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
You bring us down.
So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's hear Trihex.
Hear me what?
Trihex was asking about grifting and whether or not Bad Bunny is
we were,
grifting. From my understanding, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, we're talking about the legitimacy of the grifting and all the other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So again,
Look on your phone. Show him the chat.
did you have something to say?
Go ahead.
No,
Eva,
just keep going. Yeah.
Eva, go ahead.
Okay, so again, just looking at her behaviors, and again, that isn't the end all be all. It's not, and I'm going to be very clear about that. And I also want to be very clear that I am an endlessly hopeful person and always hoping for people to grow. But from what I've seen, Bad Bunny at TwitchCon was not having a great time regarding being included in everything. Like, she did get included, but there was difficulty with the veganism, which I also ended up having, but we just kind of, like, I'm gonna be like, well, I'll just go home and be sad, and Bad Bunny's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna tell you I'm sad, and then I'm gonna go be sad, which I really respect.
What was wrong with the veganism? What do you mean?
We just basically ended up not getting included in a thing, but that's because there was like gonna be nothing we could eat there, and we're just gonna be sitting there while a lot of people are eating meat, you know, and it's just kind of uncomfortable. Because what are we gonna eat? Freaking salad. They were just
I know.
So, you know what? But if you're used to be vegan, I think you should, like, if you get something to it, you should be happy with what you get. I was vegan for 2 years.
Andy, like coming out like a carnivore. You bitch.
That's not even my argument, though, right? Is that we were specifically excluded until she was pushing for it, right? And that was something that was clearly upsetting to her. I feel like there were multiple things like this that just she wasn't necessarily dying to be in this group. And she says that. She says, lefty people give me so much shit. So I don't know that she's grifting from that perspective. Is she grifting from a viewer's perspective? Which, like, is this... Even if this is relevant, which I'm still not even, like, I'm not sure that it's not doctored based on her behaviors. I just...
Why do you divide people into political, like, left and right, like it's just a person? It was probably one person who
the
didn't
reason
like...
that this is happening in this discussion is because people are saying she is grifting because of this tweet, right? Or this Discord log.
Yeah, Discord log, yeah.
The idea that she's getting into this group.
Can I ask a 9,000... Can I ask a 9,000 IQ question for Candyland? Do you think we shouldn't divide people into left or right because we should just treat them as people?
Yes, a person per person, like.
Wait, why do you think? Wait. Do you think we should divide people into male and female based on genitalia?
No. I don't think so.
Oh, wait, so you're like on board with like all the transitions and everything now then?
Yeah, she's been watching my videos, Destiny.
No,
topic.
I was just curious because I thought I'd heard Candyland made
oh yeah, an essentialist argument. You're absolutely right, Destiny.
No. I'm a big you know,
Destiny.
Candy loves everyone.
You could learn from her if you want.
Gotcha.
All I hope is that the next time some chat logs come out where somebody's dropping all these horrible words, I just hope Eva is defenses of that person as she is now.
Excuse me, first off, thank you, Destiny, I appreciate that. And second off,
John.
Zherka?
Can I speak?
John, what do you? No.
I just no. Yo.
John, like you keep tricking me. He keeps tricking me, thinking he's gonna come in and say something relevant to what we're talking about, and then you come in and drop your Twitter. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Hold up. I know you guys want to act like, oh, John can't get into a fucking political debate. I already beat Destiny. Remember that, you fucking clown. Number two. Listen. Does anyone here actually think they have a chance against me? I win every show. You're gonna lose.
In the show, John.
Say something relevant sometimes.
I win every show. I win every show. I win. Look at the stats. Look at the stats.
Bro, do you beat your meat to your own pictures at night? Is that what you do? Like, holy fucking
anyone else
shit,
does
dude.
that? I do that too.
Dude, like it's like the most egotistical thing combined with the most insecure person possible right now, dude. Holy fucking shit! It's always about you.
It's trolling.
You must be a fantastic relationship partner. My lord.
Jesus.
Anyway, what was Lecture Fan saying? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I find it incredibly ironic that Eva is defending Bad Bunny so hard, and I just hope that the next time somebody's logs come out where they're saying the N-word and saying the F-word, I hope to see Eva defending that person just as
Why
hard
did
as she
I
is today.
defend her? Why did I defend her? We've talked about this. Why did I defend her?
Well, according to chat, because she's
Well,
your
not according to chat. You were in the call.
According to you, listening to our goddamn conversation.
Yeah, you son of a bitch!
Listen,
Oh, sorry.
Listen.
No, you said because
If
people
you're gonna
can grow.
condemn
I'm
me
just
on
saying,
something, right?
if the next time somebody comes out and has said
Why
these,
did
and
I
they say
defend her?
they're going to continue to grow
Why?
because she's trying to get better and blah blah blah.
She
blah,
has
you can,
apologized sincerely.
well, that's okay. So again, the next time this happens, if somebody apologizes sincerely for it, I hope to see you defending that person.
And I have already talked about how excited I am for people to do that because I live in Indiana and everyone around me is conservative, and I am looking forward to them growing and being less transphobic and moving forward.
Lecture
Okay,
fan,
I will
she's
hold you to that.
basically they are extending an open invitation to you if you want to undergo that sort of transition. They would be welcome to have
open
you.
for
Rem, why are you
There's
so
some, like-
obsessed with me?
What do you mean? I'm just trying to be nice.
Huh. Well,
Okay.
I think it's time for another vote. What do you think?
Ooh.
Well, we're talking about Bad Bunny again this round.
Oh, I know, Candy. What do you want to talk about, Candy? Maybe your outfit for today?
Do you like it?
It's very nice. What is that, in fact? What is it?
It's a cheerleader outfit.
Oh, really? Who are you cheering for?
Well, Devil 666.
Oh.
It's
So I guess
a
me.
Spooky. Yeah, it's a spooky cheerleader outfit.
Oh, it's a spooky cheer. It's for Halloween, isn't it? Like 30 days of Halloween? Okay. Yeah.
No.
Can we talk? Hey, Raj,
Yeah.
before the stream started, we were having an awesome conversation about anime and the ethics of anime.
No, I don't really want to cover that because I don't know much about anime.
A great conversation
I think
for
let's,
everybody.
but we do need it. We do
isolating.
have a
It was like a
poll.
quick cover.
Hold on, we do have a poll that we need to put in the chat right now. Hold on, it's chat. Vote for who you want to keep, not kick on the Rajj Royale podcast. As we progress through the Rajj Royale podcast, the rounds will get progressively shorter. Just letting you know. Letting you know the votes are going to come quickly. Maybe even 2 people will go at once. It'll be crazy. What?
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, holy shit.
Crazy.
Crazy.
So fucking crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Fucking
Go ahead and vote for you
wild.
want to keep, not kick, chat.
Have we talked about Destiny's private use of the N-word?
Okay.
Fuck.
Actually, we were going to bring that up.
I'd love to discuss it.
We were gonna
Destiny,
bring it
I
up,
haven't been able to
actually.
talk
Thank
to
you for
about
bringing it
this.
up.
Let's fucking do it.
Okay,
I'm ready,
hold on.
Rem. I want to do
Because
it.
you know I have issues with that.
Fucking go, man. Hit me up.
Let's
Chat.
go.
John has been
I'm ready for
sanctioned
this
as
shit.
an official co-host, okay, of the show, right? That's what happened.
Oh, what do you mean?
He's just.
Don't you realize literally no one here wants him? Except Destiny, who's ironically gonna
You
say
know
it
what?
'cause-
Who wants
Wait,
it?
you want to?
The
Jon
Sharp
Zherka?
Days and me.
Ay.
Wait, did we put a poll yet?
We could have had an actual serious discussion about Destiny's use of the N-word, but now
Hold on,
John is
let-
gonna come in, say stupid shit, and we're not gonna be able to talk about anything in a serious way.
But that's the charm about this
I
show.
can't, Chad. I can't put him on the poll. He's not been on the poll for the last several rounds. How can I just all of a sudden put him on the poll? That's not fair to anybody. Because then you know what's gonna happen
It's
is
not
I put
fair
him
that
on
he's
the
in
poll.
here disrupting the conversation.
I put him on the poll, and he's gonna the chat's gonna brigade the poll, and he's gonna win the round, and then it's just after not saying anything. I can't do that.
Well, oh,
He
Thanos
left
snap.
too, so.
Go ahead and vote,
Yeah,
chat,
this is,
vote.
I'm excited for this topic because I got called a pussy cuck for not following through harder here, Destiny.
the hell?
So.
All right, hold on,
I got
Destiny,
called a
you won.
soy boy.
I got
Wait, can we talk
ripped.
about anime, like anime
So-
movies and stuff like that? I like that topic.
What?
Anime?
Yeah, you
Talking
see,
about
Candy's
anime
on my
series.
side.
It was a good. It was a
Holy
good cut.
shit! You know Twitch
It was
has
a good
polling now. I could be creating these polls in fucking Twitch. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still
how do you
using
do it?
straw poll.
Is it on the?
It's in my dashboard like an idiot. I'm not even using
That
it.
would force people from Discords that are voting or whatever to turn into your show as well.
Holy
That's
shit!
like
You're
super-
fucking right. Oh my god, you're genius,
Ooh.
Destiny. That means it would force people off of DGG and in here.
Well, they're
Wait,
probably
but they're
watching.
already watching. They already count as a view anyway. All right, vote for you want to keep, not kick. All right, Destiny, you won the round. Congratulations. You
Hell
must choose
yes, I did.
between Lecture Fan and Eva Una Love.
Oh no.
Oh no, Destiny.
Eva Una
There's
Love.
a clear moral option here, Destiny.
This is an amoral choice.
No, this is absolutely a moral. Like,
On
there's
one
a very
hand,
clear
don't
moral
make it
decision.
moral, you fuckboy. Get
No,
the
this
fuck
is
out of here,
absolutely.
okay?
You can either black or.
I have a time to think, Raj.
Yes, you have time.
That was great.
Eva is a
The world is
wonderful
looking
person.
on you, Destiny.
I value their input on everything, and I want them to continue to be here because they haven't gotten to talk much. Lecture, on the other hand, he is content, and he disagrees with a lot, which is good. I appreciate the alternative point of view.
Oh,
So
no.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Tell
It's
me,
a very clear option.
Eva or Lecture? Oh, Eva. Okay, we'll go with Eva first. Why should you stay?
Non-binary representation. So cringe. No, I think Lecture Fan, I have some concerns with him spreading misinformation, but obviously you don't care about that because you think he's content and that's more important. So I'm against the, so I'm not speaking to you very well, I guess. Bad with my audience, unfortunately.
Okay, let me say something. Nothing I'm saying is misinformation whatsoever. Everything I say is backed up and can be cited, and everything else.
From your 100-year book.
Hey, Rem. You know that Christopher Columbus's journals are 600 years old. Are those garbage too? No,
Wow,
they're
it's
not.
almost like that's a primary source and not a secondary source. Wow, have you ever heard of that before? Oh, I guess you probably have.
I have.
Oh
Actually.
yeah, well you are a lawyer, so you should have. But
exactly.
Okay,
So I don't know why you brought it
love
up
you very
because it's
much,
irrelevant.
Okay,
but-
I hope neither of you take this personally because I love both of you. I'm keeping Eva because Lecture brought back up the Christopher Columbus shit again and fuck that topic.
I like that.
Not because I think anyone is
Let the
particularly right or
echo
wrong on
chamber
it.
commence!
No.
Can I give some advice here? Whenever you're trying to like plea for not being eliminated, you always want to bring up what topic you're hyped to steer things into to bring forward relevance rather than drag shit from the past.
Good
Because
advice.
it sounds like you're running out of material. That's the real right there. I would always bring up what you're excited for in the future of this podcast,
Good
as
advice.
if you were the
Thank
host,
you.
hypothetically.
All right, Raj, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Lecture
Everybody,
Fan.
My name is Lecture Fan. I'm a commercial litigation attorney. I stream politics on Twitch.
And fake news as
and
well.
Hopefully I'll be back. Thank you guys. See you later.
Take care, Lecture Fan.
Later, Lecture.
Oh my God, Lecture Fan would have like, they should hire him on the History Channel. You know, where they run their like, conspiracy theory documentary.
Shut the fuck up, Rem. I'm just kidding.
I'm
Rem.
doing my duty.
I know you are. I'm just kidding. MB Talks, thank you for subbing. It's time now to go into a particular topic that Rem wanted to bring up. Do you guys find it a little bit ironic that...
Hypocritical, not ironic. Use the
Hypocritical,
big
excuse me,
word.
hypocritical.
Come at me, Raj. I'm ready.
I'm not coming at you. I'm just asking the question to the...
Destiny.
I'm
wants
removing
you.
myself from responsibility here. This is a question from the chat. See how I did that, Destiny? This is a random question from a viewer that came in. It said, do you feel Destiny is being hypocritical for some of the slurs he said in private in the past? Rem, is that to any relevance to what you're bringing up?
Destiny, look, you know I appreciate you a lot, you know, and we've had many discussions over the past, 2 years now on ethics and morality, and we've talked about, what things are going to be right, what are going to be wrong. We've talked about slur usage before. You've become more progressive on this front. You started to make it so that ableist slurs were going to be used in your chat. You got rid of...
Zherka, mute yourself. Fuck, dude.
It's only in appearing.
Yeah, so he's got to say
Why are you here? Shit.
You also got rid of a... Anyway, but it was just very surprising to me that somehow, in your mind, you can possibly justify the private, because these are private instances of using N-word, because I think you often call yourself a utilitarian advocate, and for people watching that, it's a very serious Basically, that's what's going to be right is if what I were to do, if everyone were to do it. So Destiny, do you think that if everyone does when you do it, private make jokes using N-word, that the world would actually be a good place?
It's possible. Sure.
You really think that everyone in private may end word jokes, the world would be a good place. So why are you saying that?
Your argument doesn't become stronger when you throw words like ironic, okay? So my position... No, you're trying to make it appeal to emotion by being like, do you really believe that? That's when you...
Because I thought you do the thing you usually do where you just switch your position on a whim.
I actually very rarely...
One day you're one day you're
Okay, hold on, wait a second. First of all, you're a philosopher. You should know this. Ethical wisdom is a meta-ethical position.
No, it's not! No, it's not! No, it's not! No, it's not, Destiny! And legal egoism is a normative position. Destiny.
Switches his opinion because you're so good at convincing him.
No, trust me, I'm not convincing him of rule utilitarian.
Candy, you're like that parent that's cheering on their kid at a soccer game and never played sports in their life.
This has always been my position, okay, on harmful language, okay? My goal is to reduce the amount of harm that's caused in society with the language that we use, okay? My belief is that if you use... So I'm very much a fan of a concept called death of the author. That means that once we've created like a work or once we've released some piece into the wilderness or whatever, people can interpret it as they will. You don't have any control of that anymore. So if I engage in certain types of jokes or humors, like in an edgy level or whatever, then what can happen is people can take that and it can reinforce beliefs that I don't want to reinforce, or it can be utilized in ways I don't want it to be utilized. I have no control over people. Stop saying right while I'm saying what I'm saying.
I'm agreeing with you.
Shut the fuck up! Okay? That's my position on using certain types of humor or certain types of words publicly is, I personally don't like to do it, and I don't think you should do it because people can take it in ways that you don't want them to. So that's why I don't do it. Now, when it comes to private jokes among friends, I don't give a fuck. I don't regulate that.
I thought you were talking about private usage.
No, I'm talking about usage on a public platform.
Oh, fuck,
okay? If two people want to tell like an edgy joke to each other or whatever, I don't think that's a big deal. And also, I think it is possible to engage in those forms of humor without necessarily embracing like the underlying stereotypes that some people might when it comes to that type of humor. So, for instance, there are jokes that I know about Jews and there are jokes that I know about Cubans. If I'm having fun with my friend Dan, who is also Jewish, we'll probably use some of these jokes against each other in a personal setting. I'm not as comfortable doing that publicly because there are people that hate Jews and hate Cubans. But I'm pretty confident that among me and my friend, we can make these jokes and it's okay. That's my position on private versus public usage.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my direct response to you, Destiny. The reason why this doesn't work is because if you are a rule utilitarian, okay, I'm assuming...
Oh my god, please, you know what? Hold on, stop. Rem, I don't know
It's not a complicated term. It basically means that you think something is good if everyone...
Okay, Rem, I'm so sorry. Not all of us are fucking have our eyes glued to an encyclopedia or dictionary.
No, that's okay. It's literally saying Destiny thinks that something
Christ.
is good if everyone could do
Some
it and
of
the
us
world would
spend
be
time
good.
casting the same cast for the Rajjpatel, okay? I don't know what this fucking word means, all right? I spend my off time watching Sam Chewy vlogs on business class in airplanes.
I'm
I don't know
sorry,
what the fuck.
2 words are just too complicated.
It's a little
for you.
too complicated for me,
clearly
Rem.
explained
What the fuck does the word mean?
I literally said it. He thinks that something is good. If everyone did it, the world would be good.
Okay,
So if everyone does what he's saying and the world is overall good, then what he's doing is a good thing. So if I kill someone and everyone were to kill someone, is the world going to be good? No. So we shouldn't kill someone.
But
It's the same
nobody
thing.
thinks killing someone is good or funny.
Oh, that's exactly right, Candyland. Thank you so much. So
maybe
if everyone,
Destiny
hold
thinks
on,
it's funny in his friends.
if everyone privately makes N-word jokes, the world is not going to be a good place. Okay?
How do you know that?
Destiny, is that not just clear to you?
Here's a question.
Hold on. Okay, let me explain. Let me respond to your point.
I'm gonna ask a question. Do you
I'm
think
going to
it's possible-
explain. You just asked me how is that true.
Because-
Can I explain
simple
it?
question. No, because I don't want to hear your explanation. Here's my question. Do you think it's possible? Is it possible that somebody could use a racist joke but not be racist? Do you think that's possible?
One more time.
Is it possible that somebody could say a racist joke or an edgy joke or a misogynist joke or whatever and not be racist or edgy or
Yeah,
misogynist?
absolutely, but that's irrelevant.
Okay, wait, that's not. So
That's
then what
irrelevant.
you're saying is it is possible that
We're
people
talking about whether
engage-
the world is overall going to be good, not if it's full of everyone is a racist.
See, Rem, if I was hanging out with Destiny and he was making a joke like that, I wouldn't think that he was racist. I wouldn't.
Okay, Candyland, that's because okay, I'm not going to say anything. Okay, look, Destiny, if I can respond directly to you, Destiny.
Candy.
Okay, Destiny. The issue is that when you go on, for example, if you go on a stream and say, "Oh, if I use these slurs and jokes privately," all of a sudden there are people, okay, you could be making a friend with a joke. You might not know that friend well enough to know if they actually have some deep-rooted or hidden racial beliefs that you are now reinforcing through your use of the joke. You might like to think that every person that you are making these jokes with is an absolutely good person, but that is just not the way that reality works. By making these jokes, and if everyone were to make these jokes, hold on, if everyone were to make these jokes, which you advocate for under your moral system, the world would not be good because it reinforces racism, and people who actually have racist beliefs.
Does anybody else want to get in this? I want to include the rest of the
Wait,
cast.
can I respond just 2 seconds? Yeah. We literally just argued that we can't truly know what's in any person's mind. We can never.
We didn't. We both attacked that position, Destiny. We both literally said Electrofan was dumb for making that claim.
Yes. So what we acknowledged was we can inductively reason what people think. Okay.
Yeah, we can.
So I can inductively reason whether I think my friend is racist or not.
Okay, but we can't mind read Destiny.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Mind reading.
No, but there's a difference here between being able to know everything that someone's thinking and knowing some basic thing that they probably intend.
Can you know if somebody is grifting?
Destiny, this is gish galloping. That is.
Wait, no, I'm not gish. I'm asking you a question. Can we know if somebody is grifting?
Irrelevant.
It's not. It's literally the exact same question.
So the real
Statements
question
of what exists in a person's mind has to be inductively reasoned, and we can inductively figure out, is somebody grifting? Well, I don't know. Let's forget it. Is somebody racist? I don't know. Let's think about it.
But I agree. But racist beliefs are something that are like hugely intertwined in one's personal beliefs.
I'd like to get everybody else involved too. Trihex, Eva, Cutie. I'd like people to get involved as well.
Destiny, why is this out there? Like, if you're joking about this with your private friend, why do the internet know about this, and why are you defending it on the internet?
For 2 reasons. One, now it's big publicly because a lot of lefties fucking hate me because I'm not an insane fucking commie, firstly. And then secondly, it came out because I had a fight with a friend recently, and they were like, oh, well, Destiny says he uses the N-word in private or whatever. It's like, oh, okay. But like, thirdly, because when I talk about language, and I'm very clear on the things that I think are acceptable and aren't acceptable, I'm always super clear that I don't care what people say in their personal private time because it's totally unenforceable, and because there's no way to even fucking know. So like, I'm pretty clear like on my stances on what language are. Like, I don't think you should use these types of jokes irresponsibly in a public forum, but whatever you say personally, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. As long as you're not making other people racist or contributing to like a culture of racism or whatever in some public manner, then whatever. So I've always been pretty clear on my position here.
Yeah, and I just want to say, if someone uses those words like when I'm around, and I think it's very uncomfortable, and I think it's like rude and disrespectful.
That's fine. That's great.
Destiny, can I clarify? I said gish gallop. It turns out I don't know what gish galloping means. I did not mean that you were gish galloping. Obviously, you weren't gish galloping. I bet.
It was more of a attempted pivot. You thought?
Yeah, pivot. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay, Trihex, do you want to get involved in this? Because I feel like multiple different people. I'd like to involve the rest of the cast. It seems like it's like a one-on-one.
Sure, I can give you a little more context here actually to the whole thing. So yeah, initially, in my relevance to the whole thing here, Destiny initially DMCA'd a problematic clip that somebody threw out there on Twitter because he threw out the N-word with a hard R allegedly in one of these clips, but it was like a wonky pronunciation of a word that rhymed with that word, so it was kind of like a reach to say that he was being offensive. And in that effort to get that in the effort with the DMCA getting that clip taken down here, that's when all the people got pissed off and or his opposition got pissed off, and that point threw out there that, oh, by the way, this guy you think is progressive actually just fucking, throws out the hard R on offline things. And there was the clip of him explaining his elaborative position here that he, doesn't particularly care about monitoring what is in private, contextually around the right people, doesn't reinforce the negative things. As far as it goes, no, I'm sorry, I was just giving you some context there. As far as for me, at face level value, obviously there's like a problem to me whenever if you like have to view a different way now, because now you're openly admitting I'm aware that you may possibly be using the hard R in private in my association, even though you say it's in your private mannerisms, it does change my outlook on you, unfortunately. So I understand all your principles you're going through now, Destiny, but it does.
I really like
it. It does hit me a little weird.
Sure,
I have to totally admit here, and this is the part I wish I got further on the DT podcast. That if you do use it in private, it makes me think that you just don't actually exit the offensive word from your vocabulary. You're just putting on a facade again with that facial mask, which we've covered here before here, but that's ultimately how I still feel a little bit weird about it ultimately.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And then I would argue on that impact of making people who are already suffering oppression uncomfortable, because like he's here, right? And we want people to feel comfortable here doing this. Like already struggling. Do we have a lot of people of color on here? No, we don't. And it would be nice if they felt comfortable coming on. So that.
Yeah, and
the other thing here
wait,
too
do you
is
think
that,
do you think that this environment doesn't.
And then not only, I just want to be clear. I make jokes about things that I wouldn't make in public, but it's about things that are attached to me as a coping mechanism, right? So if I were Black and I want to joke about this for my coping, okay, sure. And I have things like that, but it's tied to my own personal experience. And again, like Destiny is, I'm very careful about how I do that, but it's about my stuff.
Yeah,
so if it comes
agree.
out, like I'm not affecting other people in that way, making them uncomfortable, making them feel potentially less welcome or less, just less available to be there, you know? I think that's not helpful.
So what happens when these jokes or whatever, they come to the surface? Destiny.
If they come to the surface, I mean, I don't
Then
care.
you're fucked.
What
Like
happens?
What do you mean? I'm not fucked at all. I don't
What do you
give a
mean you
fuck.
don't care?
I don't care if people are comfortable around me or not. All of my views are public. If I say something in private and for some reason that makes you uncomfortable, I don't give a fuck.
So Destiny,
No, wait, let me finish, okay? I act in different ways around a variety of different people, okay? I'm not going to go up to my girlfriend's dad and talk to her about how I fuck her, okay? Right? But these might be jokes that I say around other friends. Now, is he uncomfortable with the things that I might talk about in private with other people? Yeah, sure, maybe not. But like, I act in ways that I feel make people comfortable when they're around me. If you want to reach into other parts of my personal life, and you want, I don't give a, hey, shut the lip, I don't care, okay? If maybe
offensive.
I fucking masturbate to fucking furry porn or some shit. If that makes you uncomfortable,
This is not a good analogy.
I don't care. It's a perfect
That's not the same.
No,
The racist jokes you make, the punchline of that joke is their discrimination and oppression.
But
that is why it's offensive.
I don't care if people joke or laugh about
So you don't
discrimination
care-
or oppression. What I
You
care
don't care
about
that people undergo oppression are going to be offended by these jokes that come to light?
No. I'm not concerned about whether or not people are offended about a particular type of joke. What I'm worried about
Then why do you
is
care
whether or
about
not-
it publicly?
Because I don't want harm to be caused in public manners.
But you just acknowledge that people are going to care and be harmed by these
I don't think that people are harmed by humor. I think that the types of people that partake in these types of humor. Okay, well, when I can't finish a fucking sentence, of course.
But you're
what do you
saying
wanna say, Brad?
publicly people get harmed by the jokes, but privately...
No, I don't think that people are harmed by misogynistic jokes. I think the harm comes from the fact that a lot of the people that use misogynistic jokes also discriminate against women in a variety of different ways.
Oh my
I don't think that women or Black people or Asian people or whatever would care as much about certain types of humor if they didn't have real life
completely wrong.
consequences that accompanied these types of jokes.
That is
right?
wrong. Racist jokes hurt people who they attack.
I don't care if somebody is hurt by a particular joke. What I care about is do you have the ability to get a job, or are you being discriminated against? Are you being pushed out of certain industries because of the way that people are talking to you? Are you being like discluded like in culture? You don't have representation of like movies or film or video games and stuff like that. Those are the things I care about. Whether or not you find out somebody said a joke in private that's offensive to me, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I can't think of very many things that I care less about in life than you reaching into my private life and finding out whether or not you're going to be offended about things that I don't even say around you.
Destiny, do you think that ableist jokes do not harm people with mental disabilities or physical disabilities?
Intrinsically, in and of themselves? No, of course
What do you
not.
mean intrinsically, Destiny? What?
As in right now, if I go upstairs and I tell a joke to a wall, no, I don't think any person is harmed.
That's
if I go upstairs and I tell a joke to one other
I'm
guy,
asking
you
if
don't
you
say
tell an
anything.
ableist joke to a bunch of viewers, do you not think that's going to harm the disabled
He's
people?
uncomfortable, and Destiny is saying he doesn't care.
I don't care if you are uncomfortable with things that I think I do a lot of things privately that would make a lot of people uncomfortable. I don't care about that. That's not the thing that I concern myself with. Now, and I'll argue that I don't think it's fair for you to reach into my private life and do it, much the same way that, for instance, when Trihex, okay, so
I can help you if you let me speak. Actually,
I don't know how.
The difference
Please
here
try
is
your
that
best, Trihex.
I don't know the context of how you admitted that you make those crude jokes privately, but you admitted it publicly. Again, I don't know how you were provoked to say or do that at this point. But the difference is now it does change the outlook on you as a person, one, and due to your platform, it does ultimately enable the normalization of those jokes because now everyone knows Destiny does use those things privately.
But like, do you think, what would you say if you had fans from the LGBT community that kind of like figure that you probably say the F slur a lot privately because you let it slip publicly with a friend?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
you don't say the F slur.
I don't say it anymore.
Exactly. that easy, Destiny. I'm sorry that's not saying the N-word jokes is so difficult for you. I'm really sorry.
That is the dumbest fucking argument I've ever heard in my life. It's not about whether or not it's difficult or not. It's about whether or not I'm comfortable.
Well, if you are minimizing the harm that these jokes can cause people,
Rem. You're 18. You've got the rest of your life to talk. I'm running out of time. Okay, please let me finish.
You're running out of time to backpedal and try to wiggle your way out of the corner that you're in.
Hey, I own everything I say. Okay, I'm not backpedaling.
Now you get challenged on your positions, and then when you're challenged, you just say, "Well, I just don't care."
I've mowed down millions of fucking challenges in these positions. You don't scare me on it, okay? What I'm saying is that I will never allow another person to reach into my private life and tell me what kind of jokes I can say.
I'm asking you
to
to
my
justify it, Destiny.
Yeah, this is my justification. Is that what I'm concerned with? Is as a public person, I don't want to platform hurtful or harmful ideas. That's typically what I avoid. But I will say that in my private life, I'll say things that I'm not avoiding anything. In my private
this is
life,
not what I'm talking about.
Okay, what are you talking about?
I'm specifically talking about how can you because we all acknowledge, right, that saying these ableist jokes are going to harm disabled.
I never acknowledged that.
So you are literally saying that if I were to go up on a stage in front of a bunch of people like you do, okay, on your stream, and you were to tell an ableist joke, that's not going to harm disabled people?
Did you just miss the past 20 minutes of the conversation where I talk about that in a public and a private joke?
I'll be honest. I've been paying attention.
Maybe we are just talking about each other. But so
Cutie Cinderella, let her get in. Let her get in.
He asked me a question. We're trying to.
I know, but
you're being sexist by not letting me talk.
Oh, fuck off, Cutie. Give me a fucking break. Okay, Destiny, do you believe that racist jokes will harm minority groups?
I think this is called the Rem show, right?
Cutie, can you speak, please?
I've got nothing to say.
No, she didn't have any.
Well, I have something to say.
I did have something to say.
Come on, Cutie.
Okay, let me get my energy back up. Sorry, I've been sleeping because that's what your voice does to me, Rem.
Oh, I'm sorry that we're talking about issues that are actually serious. I'm sorry that you can't have.
I'm sorry.
Bell over here about her saying that you're jelly. I'm really sorry you're not able to engage in that cat fight.
Okay, this is the thing that happened, Rem, is I was actually listening to Destiny and you clearly weren't. The whole time he was saying that he doesn't want to platform something. And then you sit there and you're like, so if you were going to go on the stage?
Oh my god, no, that's not what I'm saying. If you're not listening to me then. I'm asking him, does an ableist joke harm a mentally or physically disabled person? Yes or no?
You don't know who it may harm.
Oh my god, but if there's a mentally or physically disabled person that hears the joke, can that harm them? Yes or no? It's not that hard of a question.
It harm you. It obviously harms you, Ren.
Oh my fucking god.
When you say crazy, that harms me. When you say psycho, I could say that harms me. When you say
oh my god, Cutie. Jesus Christ, I'm not having this discussion with you again. You're too gone.
We don't need to have this conversation again, so why are you having it?
Oh god. Desi, can you answer my question?
I don't even know what your question was.
If I make an ableist joke in front of a disabled person, can that harm them? Yes or no?
It has the potential to, yeah, of course.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, we're getting to the heart of this now. So if I make jokes in private and those come out, those can potentially harm those disabled people. Yes or no?
I guess it could potentially, but I don't care what's leaked like privately to my public life.
So you're acknowledging that this can harm people, Destiny, and you still do it.
It is possible that nude pictures that I take could harm somebody if they were presented.
Oh my god, that's not leaked from my private life.
If that's leaked from my private life, the onus isn't on me there. The onus is on the person doing the leaking. They're the one causing the harm.
That's not a good analogy because the butt of these jokes are literally disabled people. You are making fun of their oppression.
But I'm not doing it in a method where they're interpreting the joke or where they're hearing the joke.
What are you talking? No, but if they are leaked, they can now see the joke that you're making. So that's
because somebody else made it public. That's on them. If I make a video,
what do you mean? How's that only on them? It's on you because you put it there in the first place.
That's not on me.
That's like saying that I put a gun in the middle of the room, and if someone gets shot, well, it's only their fault. It's not my fault at all.
Wait, I have a
you
question.
You can stop the harm by not making the jokes in the first place.
I'm so confused. This is so stupid.
You can stop the potential harm by not making them in the first place, Destiny.
Destiny, what's your opinion on this?
Is that why? My question is, Destiny, why are you defending it right now? Like, why are you just not ignoring it and saying like I should? Yeah, like We're online right now.
Because I'm not here to because I don't care about what people say in their private
No, I know
lives.
you don't care.
I'm not here to regulate what people say in their private lives ever. I've never ever wanted to do that. My goal has always been what is responsible platforming in public and what do people say publicly and how is harm spread in society. I think that it is fully possible for people to engage in like edgy humor that would be irresponsible to stay on a larger platform, and I'm always going to maintain that position. That's my position.
You can't actually justify why, because at the same time,
I don't have to justify why. You have the ability to joke about what you want to do. You have to tell me why not.
Okay, you obviously know I'm asking you to justify that within your system. I'm asking you to justify that.
Does affect the minority. We already saw that, right? And he said he doesn't give a fuck.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't understand
exactly.
why.
But it doesn't matter for Destiny because he
does
just
it
tries to
depend-
fit his moral system to whatever makes him feel good. That's it. That's what seems to be the case here, Destiny. Because at the same time, you're trying to say that what is going to be good is people doing what is going to make the whole world good, right? At the same time, you're acknowledging that
Destiny. If you don't want to respond,
how's this
Destiny,
consistent?
do you want to respond? I want to get some other people in here.
This conversation all day.
Bella.
Well, no, you haven't explained.
Bella,
You haven't explained anything.
Bella, would you like,
Raj.
mate? Would you like to get in the conversation? Yeah. You want to get in the conversation?
In the conversation.
Yeah.
But should we maybe go to the next?
Well, no. What I'm really concerned about, Bella, is why you're jelly, because it's really. Let's get back to that.
Oh my God, Raj, just stare in the.
Okay. Okay. We really, truly need a vote. We really do. We can pick this conversation up, or I'd like a conversation.
Well, Destiny, we can continue this
I'd
conversation.
like another conversation.
But, I mean, I've made my position clear.
No
I think
one cares to continue your conversation.
I actually.
I'd like to move on to.
I don't know, Cutie. People with actually like half a brain cell, unlike you, might enjoy a conversation about ethics and what it means to be a good person. Sorry, Cutie.
No, let's calm down. Everyone needs to stop. He just said, no, shut up, Candy. This is my time.
It was ableist.
It was ableist. You just said you have.
How is that ableist? How is that? How is saying someone has half a brain cell?
Let Cutie go! Come on, let her go!
That's not ableist.
Let her go!
That's not ableist.
That is ableist. It's exactly the thing.
Let her go! Let Cutie go! Go, Cutie!
Yeah, exactly. Attacking someone's intelligence.
Rem.
Yeah. It affects a minority that it's the same thing that you just said to Destiny. It was a joke, but it offends somebody who's that dumb
People who
or
have
whatever.
Like that I don't know why you're agreeing with that, Eva. I don't know why you think that's ableist, because there are many people that we will call stupid
let her
that are
finish her
very
thought, Rem,
capable
before you
of
speak.
having better taste.
Rem.
I'm removing it from my language.
Oh, okay, well then we have differing positions on where we draw the line there.
Speak
but
over people.
let's
You
have a
can
chat
do
about
all
that
these
later.
things, Rem, but that doesn't stop you from you're a jerk, and you should just admit
Oh,
that you're.
I'm sorry. I hurt your feelings, Cutie.
No.
You hurt my feelings.
Don't
I'm
copy
the
my
one who
apology.
wrote them.
Don't copy my apology. Find your own.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe Cutie's just jealous of my. I think Cutie's jealous of I'm getting more time than her on this stream.
Speaking of
Thank you for
time.
your apology. I'm just.
Speaking of time, movement! Exclamation point MBMT. Go check out with code Raj the entire portfolio of offerings, including watches, rings, glasses, to help it look a little better when you look at your monitor. Go check it out. I know time speeds by, and it goes even. Wait, I don't know if that's a good plug. I don't know if you want time to go by fast, but if you do, it works. And if you, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna drop that. But go get a watch because they look fantastic. MBMT! Exclamation point MBMT! We're giving away free watches too, so it's gonna be fantastic. Anyway, let's vote, huh? Let's vote. Let's vote for who we want to keep, not kick. Let's vote who we're gonna keep, not kick. I can't put the straw poll in the Twitch chat because I only have 5 slots. Okay, they only give me 5 options, so I cannot. I have to use a straw poll. I can't use the Twitch poll. Okay. Clearly, evidently, some streamers have gotten 15 slots, but evidently the one streamer that uses a poll consistently as the basic foundation for the concept of their shows or streams did not. So somebody missed the boat. Go ahead and vote in straw poll.
By the way, Eva, just in regards to the stupid thing, I think the reason stupid might be considered ableist, I'm not totally settled on this issue, is because of its etymological history within the medical community, right? But half a brain cell is not a medical term that was used to be associated with people with mental disabilities.
Is
Well, it is now.
Or is
What do you mean it is now?
Well, it is. Yeah, maybe some people take offense to it.
But that is not associated. When someone says you have half a brain cell. I don't think that's ever been associated with people with a certain type of mental disability.
Well, if I read Twitch chat,
it is exactly. It is. If someone is short of brain
Then I would
cells,
love
then
if you can
it's
show me
brain
something
damage.
that documents that history.
Can you guys hold off on your debate real quick, okay? Hold on.
Are you delusional?
Hold off your debate, okay?
Oh, excuse me, did you just
Real
use the word
quick.
delusional, which is actually a medical term that is ableist? Thanks, cutie.
Okay,
all
that's
right.
my thing. Again,
Listen
I
up.
have said, Ren,
Listen
I
up.
have
Hold on,
stood
cutie.
by not
Cutie, can we
giving
get through
a
this?
shit.
All right, we're eliminating 2 people this round because we're behind, okay? Bottom 2 are going to go regardless. Is that all right? Or does anybody have any objections to that?
It's okay.
Okay. The poll has been finalized. Destiny, congratulations. You have won the round. The bottom 2, Candyland and Eva Unilove, I'm sorry we must say goodbye to both of you because we must speed things up. We've gone through 4 or 5 rounds, Rem, thanks to you, okay? And Destiny.
Wait, don't say it's me. It's my fault.
It's all your fault.
It is your fault.
It is
It
because
is
you
his
don't know
fault.
how to shut up. You have no
Amen,
social.
Candy.
Like, you have no awareness of social cues. You
Hey,
just
hold on.
go
Hey,
with it.
hey, careful.
Okay, you know what? Actually, fuck you, cutie, because that actually is ableist. Because I've even said publicly
Oh
on this
my
stream with you
God.
on it that I have a mental disability reading social cues. That's not a joke.
What? Okay. Well,
Hold on
I
one
literally
second.
said on this
How is
stream that
that-
I
Yes.
suffer with that.
Okay.
Rem, I didn't
Clearly,
know
I don't
that, and I
remember that, but
apologize because I
also,
said something earlier.
What does that matter? Because
Oh,
that's
fuck.
factual. That's stating facts. How is stating facts ableist?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm stating a fact that you suffer from a mental disability. Why is that offensive? What?
Exactly.
What are you talking?
People call me crazy all the time.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Maybe if you actually have a
Guys,
mental disability, that if you have a
do.
bipolar disorder,
I do.
okay, then they're a piece of shit
I
for doing
do.
it.
So I
Then they're a
don't
piece of
care.
shit, just like
You
you're a
cannot
piece of
pick and
shit.
choose what's offensive. You cannot pick and choose. Just fucking grow a spine. Like stop being
You're right.
such a
You're right,
baby.
cutie. People who
You're
make fun of my
such a
disability that harms me on a day-to-day
You're
basis,
such a
you know, that's no
baby.
issue.
Okay.
Continue
Oh
being
my
you, cutie.
god, dude, you are
Cutie.
so 2019. It's painful.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm just a sensitive snowflake, my
Okay,
bad.
hold on. Let's.
You are.
Yeah.
Well, everything you
bad.
argue is sensitivity. That's all you
Oh, yeah.
argue.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I have empathy for people.
Against dehumanization, it's dehumanization.
Eva, do you want to step in?
I
real
like
quick?
how you're associating me with my
I'm
mental
sorry, Raj,
disability,
what
and
were
you're
you
using
saying?
that to.
Did you want to step
That's
in
really
before
mature
you?
of you.
I'd like to give you guys a shout out. Candyland, go
yeah.
ahead and shout yourself out, Candy.
Yes.
Thank you so much
I
for
am-
contributing.
Oh, thank you for having me, Raj. I'm twitch.tv/Candyland. I hope everybody continues to be nice to each other.
Aw.
Rem and Destiny, you should hug and say that you like each other.
Oh, Candy, thank you so much. I love you so much. Don't ever change. Okay, bye. Twitch.tv/Candyland.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, all right. Eva, please go ahead and shout out your channel.
Again, Eva Unilove, I talk about intersectional feminism. I am here for leftist unity. And I'm actually having a fundraiser here soon on the 26th, if you don't mind me shouting that out.
Please do.
Regarding trying to get a procedure to reduce my gender dysphoria on the 26th on my channel, Eva Unilove. So I'd love to have you over there. And thank you so much for having me on, Raj. I really
26th
appreciate
of
it.
October? At what
Yes.
time? Oh.
At noon Eastern Standard Time to midnight Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Well, best of luck to that. October 26th, noon to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Take care, Eva.
Thank you, Raj.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
Yeah, bye.
All right. Okay. Let's get back to Cutie versus Rem real quick.
I don't mean to verse him.
I just think
because
it's kind of weird because it's kind of coming from the wrong person calling him sensitive. Saying that he gets triggered too easily when you literally got so offended by the word jelly.
No, I got offended because you said it behind my back, and then no.
Ooh.
Bella, I got offended
You
because
can't
you
get
said
circle.
sensitive if you
Bella,
get
I got
offended and insecure from the word jelly in chat.
Still didn't
That's
own
what
it.
that's just
Still
what I
aren't
think it's a bit
owning it.
weird.
What was I jealous of? You.
Because I'm just like trolling with chat and you got so crazy over it.
Just tell me. Oh, I got crazy.
Yeah, you
should I
did.
be upset about that? No, I'm not gonna be upset about that because I'm not a fucking
No,
snowflake.
but it's just like
So
overly
listen.
sensitive. So
It's not overly sensitive, Bella, because
Just
you
saying-
you won't own up to it. You're being spineless, and I called you out for being spineless.
I'm just I was.
You are. Just tell me what I'm jealous of, please. I want to know.
I don't fucking
seriously
know.
Oh my God, are we back?
Then
Are
why
we back
did
in
you
this
say
again?
it? Then why did you say it? Then why did you say
Dude,
it?
it was trolling. Why
It
can't you
wasn't
take a
okay.
fucking
Then you can't.
joke?
No, the thing. Bella, Bella, the whole issue is you were arguing freedom of speech, and then you decided to go back on your word. That was the issue.
Okay, hold on. Can we?
I have always stood. No, I have always.
Jelly. How is that something to
I have always.
Ram, check your
Because
DMs.
you won't own up to it. I
did.
that.
I said it in chat.
You won't. Oh my god. You won't say what I was jealous of. If you agreed to it, then you agreed to it.
Oh
Just
my
own up
god.
to it.
I
Like, it's
literally,
so stupid. You only brought this up because your votes went down and you're trying to stay relevant. You're not relevant on the platform. Good fucking job. Cool. Okay.
I think I know the answer, Raj. Can I give the answer and then they can argue over it if it's right or wrong?
Yeah.
I think I know what the answer is. Are you ready?
Destiny, oh god, you're such a content skull. Go ahead.
I think Bella was upset that QT was arguing against her free speech position, so Bella typed in chat that QT was just jealous because Bella thinks that she's prettier than QT. That's what I think it was about. Amen. That was it. That's what they were. That's what it was for.
Can I respond to Cutie though?
We all know Bella
once Bella and
We
Cutie
don't need to argue that. I get that argument in all the live stream fails. Okay, Bella, I don't care. Just shut up. Let's go.
Should you shut up?
What are you saying, Grim?
The fuck are you on about?
You said you're literally. We have this argument. How you only say the same thing, and then you haven't talked for 3 rounds, and you came back and said the same thing. Please have some better takes, Bella. Please have something more interesting to say.
It's funny. Sorry, it's funny because Cutie, she actually brings up like a great point that you literally. So as someone who actually has a disability, I told you I have a disability. You said, well, shouldn't care that I make fun of your disability. Stop being so sensitive. She calls you jelly, and suddenly, how fucking dare you!
Oh my god, Bella.
I'm a Cutie Cinderella.
What do you mean?
What the fuck is wrong?
It's just because she didn't say it to my face. Yes, am I jealous of Bella? Yes, look at her. She's gorgeous.
Oh, is that? You want? Guys, look, I actually am jealous. You're trying to play.
So wait, we just came in.
We a pile of shit.
Hold on. We did. Whoa.
What did you just say?
She called a massive pile of shit. Do I need to say it louder?
Oh. Now, would you elaborate on why you think she's a massive pile of shit?
Because, first of all, she made fun of my disability. And let's assume, even though I've talked about it on this stream before and on many times before, let's say she didn't know, okay? But now she knows. Does she apologize for it? No. She says, no, I care. I don't care. You should stop being so sensitive. You should be so sensitive about the fact that on a day-to-day basis, I suffer from a mental disability that makes my life really difficult. And you come on here, you make fun of me for it, and you don't have the courage to actually just sit there and
It makes sense.
Ram, I do not. Okay, Bella, shut up. Everyone be quiet. Let me explain it. If you want to hear my side of it, then let me fucking talk and don't fucking talk, okay? Anyway, I wasn't making fun of it. I was saying that you were not making up on social views and you were talking. That was not making fun. That was pointing out a fact that was happening.
And then you said stop being so look. If someone is lying, okay, and they accidentally walk in you, and you say, hey, can you not see or something? Oh, I'm just stating a fact, by the way. Like, I'm not, if that's, you really think that's okay?
You twist things in such an interesting way.
That's a perfect analogy for what just happened.
Poisonous person.
Can you explain to me why that is not a good analogy, Cutie? Go ahead, I'll let you speak.
I don't know that they are blind, so they run into me, and I say, oh, I'm sorry that you're like, did you not see me? Clearly they did not see me. No, that's not offensive.
And then if they say, no, sorry, I'm blind, do you then say, oh, what, like, why are you getting upset that I said that? God, you're being so fucking...
Rem, maybe I apologize to them because they're a nice person. You're just rude.
Oh, okay. So if you're allowed to use ableist slurs against disabled people if you don't like them,
and you're allowed to use
as soon as you don't like someone,
anybody. I'm sorry I'm not as smart as you, Rem, and I can't throw words at you like you can throw at me. But you do the exact same thing to me.
I do not attack you for things that are outside of your control. You can control whether you're a piece of shit or not, Cutie. I cannot control whether I have my mental disability.
I can't control that I'm stupid. I can't control that I'm crazy.
You can't. Okay. You're having this discussion with me right now about the ethical issues about using ableist slurs. You are more than capable of recognizing that it's not a good thing to do.
The problem is that you play the victim role whenever you can. You pull it out at the second you can.
Really? When's the last time I used the victim role?
Curious. Wait, do you think that crazy isn't a word that's used legitimately to delegitimize women's opinions? Like calling someone like a crazy woman? Do you think that doesn't happen a lot?
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't call her crazy.
You have called me crazy. Bella just called me crazy like 5 seconds ago.
When did I call you?
When you said you read that in chat and then you went crazy. Oh my god, now you're psyching back.
I don't think I used the word crazy. I never used it.
You've called me crazy before, Rem. Like I don't.
When have I called you crazy?
You've called me stupid. You've called me.
I believe you're stupid.
You have mansplained to me because I'm a woman. Like you've done
really?
sexist
Oh,
things.
okay. So this is where we're gonna go back.
When you used to mix all their names up.
No, not this again.
You have used ableist terms as well, and you just decide to disregard those.
So if I have used an ableist slur against you, please let me know, and I will apologize for them.
You just said that you have less brain cells.
That is
half a brain cell. Yes,
that's not an ableist slur, Cutie Cinderella. That is not associated with an actual mental disability.
About ableist slurs?
It is brain damage. You just pointed out that they have brain damage.
Oh my god, that's not what. No, that means that you literally.
Wait. Can I ask Rem?
Now
that you know that calling her stupid is something that offends her, are you going to reduce that harm that you're causing?
Does she have a mental disability that makes her?
So you don't care whether or not it causes harm? You don't care whether or not it causes harm?
Is she intellectually disabled?
Maybe she is. Does she have to reveal that to you for you to know?
No, that doesn't apply.
Wait. How do you know that?
That is
because she. What do you mean? How do I know?
How do you know she doesn't have some sort of mental disability?
Because she just said that she has dyslexia, which wouldn't impact her being able to realize that saying ableist slurs.
No, dyslexia affects your IQ, does it not?
Oh, I'm sorry. So, Cutie, I'm sorry. Do you have dyslexia? So that means that you're not able to tell whether calling someone like an ableist slur, for example, is a bad or good thing. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what we're talking about. No, I'm saying no. The issue is you call me stupid when I do have a mental disability. That's the issue.
I can't engage with this seriously. It's just so.
That sucks, Ren. Oh, it so sucks when I twist your own words like you're twisting mine. That's such a fucking.
I'm not twisting your words. You literally.
You
literally insulted me because of my mental disability, then told me that I should be offended by it.
All the time.
Oh, you. What do you mean?
You can't. It doesn't like you're.
But I don't attack you for something outside of your control, Cutie. I've never attacked you.
You say you're stupid. You say you're crazy.
And when I say you're stupid, what am I referring to, Cutie? I'm referring to the fact that you're completely unethical. That's what I'm doing. You make fun of me for not being able to notice social cues, which is outside of my control, Cutie. Do you not see the difference between these two things?
I'm sure you can get it under control. No, I don't see the difference.
Oh my god, no!
Wait,
I literally have autism.
You just said that she's having a discussion on ethics, so therefore she should have like an IQ or not be mentally disabled. You're interacting with a bunch of other people. Shouldn't you be able to control your ability to read social cues?
Oh, actually, like that's actually. I can't tell if you're like being serious.
That's a true facts question. Answer the question, Rem.
Are you actually being serious about this?
Yeah. If you think that because
do I need to educate you on the very basics of having autism?
No. Well, let's present it as a syllogism since you're so philosophically inclined, right? People that engage in high IQ discussions should be mentally competent. She's engaging in a high IQ discussion. Therefore, you're saying Cutie Cinderella is mentally competent. That's your deductive reason here, right? Well, now she's turning that syllogism back on you, and she's saying that people that interact with groups of people should be able to display social competency. You're interacting with a group of people that are like social people. Therefore, you should be able to display social competency. Why is your argument valid for her, but her argument invalid for you?
My mental disability or not, or if you're actually just purposefully trying to piss me off.
Okay.
Because literally you're making, like, I don't know if I need to explain the basics of autism to you and the way that social interaction works with people who suffer from autism. I can't tell if you're being serious.
1 sec, John.
Is this really actually that funny to you, Destiny?
I think it's a valid question.
We're talking about an actually serious issue here about the way that people
everything is so serious
through ableist slurs, but I guess this is just fun and games to you.
It is.
Yes.
Rem, even the fact that you just like throw out the term ableist and racist all the time, that's detrimental to someone as well, is it not?
Oh, I'm sorry, my offending people who are ableist?
No, because I'm not ableist. Like, I don't know, like...
I don't know. You literally just insulted me based on a mental disability that I have, and that told me I should.
You are also ableist because you've insulted me because
I've never insulted you on a mental disability.
Yes, you just said.
No, I didn't. Okay. Me calling you stupid has nothing to do with your dyslexia. I'm sorry you have dyslexia. Me calling you stupid has nothing to do with your dyslexia.
Can we just say you said I agree with that. Okay, shut up. Can we just say?
Don't tell me to shut up. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I don't know. Just type in chat about me. You don't say it to my face. Just type in chat.
Okay, I will.
Okay, great. Keep it up. Anyway, Rem, this is what I'm saying. If you say you have half the brain cells, is having half the brain cell not brain damage?
I said half a brain cell.
Is that not? Is that
related to dyslexia, Cutie?
Wait, no. Stop trying to twist this. I need you to answer the goddamn question. If you have half a brain cell, is that brain damage?
No. You're actually not a human.
The fuck is this?
That's not brain damage. That is literally not brain damage because
So
you
your
are
brain
not
is so damaged you're not even a human?
Guys,
right?
Cutie and Rem.
What?
let's-
Wow! What? No!
That's what you just said. That's what I heard.
That is
Did
how
anyone else
fuck
say
off,
that?
Desi. That is not what I
Hey,
said. I
look.
can't believe that you
What
took that
level of
lead.
What level of brain
If you have half a brain cell, you are literally not a human.
What level of brain
Okay,
damage
and
is
that's what
sufficient
you
to
said
revoke
to me.
somebody's humanity?
Okay, yeah. Oh my god. But that has nothing to do with whether you have a mental disability
that's
or
what you
not,
said.
Cutie.
Well, that's what you
Oh
said. You
my-
said
I
that
can't
about me.
tell
You
if
said
you're
I'm not a-
actually-
You said I'm so
I
stupid
cannot
that I'm not a
tell if
human.
you're being serious or not, or you're
I am.
just fucking. with me.
I'm
People
as
that are
serious as you.
people that are in part of the LGBT community get triggered by words like the F slur because they've grown up hearing that as a way to be derogatory towards them. I bet that if Cutie was dyslexic in school, there are a lot of people that called her stupid because she couldn't read or said she had half a brain cell, and now you're repeating those same insults back to her. How is this form of triggering different than the type of trigger words that LGBT people have?
Because believe it or not, different words have a different type of impact for groups of people, and some
Okay,
words
but
cause
you
a
can't
fuck ton more.
decide
Hold on, let me respond to the
decide
question,
that.
Cutie. And so certain words have a far more greater
I love
impact
how I should
on my.
shut up when you're talking, but you
She
never
literally
shut up when
asked me
I'm
a
talking.
question,
You told me
Cutie.
to shut up.
I'm just throwing that there. I'm
Oh
throwing
my
that out
God.
there. I'm throwing
Okay,
that out there.
hold on. Hey,
You told me
guys.
to shut up, but then someone telling you to shut up, you can't take it. I don't understand.
Can I respond to Destiny?
That's because you haven't said anything.
Yes, hold on, guys. You got it. Hold on, Rem.
Respond.
We need to
Rem,
respond.
respond,
Hold on, all of you. You need to respond to Destiny. We need to find a conclusion because we need to take another vote, and then we're gonna
Okay.
move on. Okay? So we
This
need to
is my
find a conclusion to this. You respond to Destiny, Cutie. Maybe you and Rem go back and forth a couple of times and then find some sort of place to leave it so we can move on.
Yep, absolutely. So, Destiny, there are certain words that cause a lot more harm than other types of words. So, for example, the R word, okay, that is used, that is an ableist slur. We all know what we're talking about. That causes far more greater harm to disabled people than, for example, the term stupid. And actually,
do you determine that?
hold on, can I respond? So there are actually studies that show the amount of harm that those types of terms do have on disabled people. Okay, now listen, the term, I don't want to say it, the R word is used specifically in contexts that are relating to people with a mental disability. The term stupid has actually developed over time and is now not greatly associated with people with mental disabilities. There are some people, like Eva, who believe that it has just enough to where we shouldn't be saying it anymore. But the difference between the R word and the term stupid is so great that they are not even really on the same level. And so that's why saying the R word to someone is far worse than calling someone stupid.
Okay, I completely and totally disagree with this. So here's my
I
problem.
want to disagree too.
Here's the
I
problem.
have a great way to disagree.
Here's the problem with what you're saying. First of all, studies that saying retarded causes harm to somebody, when you talk about causing harm to somebody, this is a qualitative argument. You don't really have a right to tell somebody else whether or not their qualitative experience.
No,
with
you can talk. But you can discuss the amount of people that would, on average, be offended by something like that.
That doesn't matter, and you would never defend that argument because if I were to say,
what are you talking about?
Okay, fine. I should be able to use transphobic slurs because there's very few trans people in society. Would you buy that argument?
No, because they
Okay,
are.
wait,
Hold on,
Okay, your argument. You just said that very few people wouldn't be offended by using.
There are enough trans people that would actually
What's your
offend
threshold?
Destiny.
What's your threshold?
You're asking me to draw an arbitrary line.
Oh well,
You
I'm
know
making
that's an
acknowledge
unreasonable
that it is
argument.
indeed
No.
arbitrary. So
No,
perhaps
drawing lines like that are
well,
not.
okay, wait.
That's
So
not
perhaps wait,
necessity.
you
It's a
just
fuzzy line,
acknowledged-
Destiny.
You
That's
just
totally
acknowledged.
fine.
You just acknowledged that the line was arbitrary. That's great. So maybe
No, it's a fuzzy
just-
line, not arbitrary. It's a fuzzy line.
Okay, well maybe that fuzzy line.
Just because
could
I can't
encompass-
draw an exact number doesn't mean that it's not there.
Maybe that fuzzy line could grow to encompass people that are uncomfortable with their intelligence being made fun of. Do you think that's reasonable?
But as of right now, I would say that's
Yeah?
probably just not the case. If it comes
Really?
to there's a,
So
hold
you
on,
don't think that
hold on. If there's a big movement from disabled groups, okay, and from groups that advocate for the rights of disabled individuals, that we should remove the term stupid from our vocabulary, absolutely, I'm going to be open
Why does it have to
making
come
that
from
change.
disabled individuals? Why can't it come from people whose qualitative experience with the word stupid is causing them harm because of experiences they had being called stupid in
Because
school?
slurs that are used against minority groups actively oppressed are far worse than other words, Destiny.
Gentlemen,
you don't think that
gentlemen,
people
gentlemen,
are-
find a conclusion.
Wait,
Can we find a conclusion in this round at least, please?
Yeah. So do you think that people of lower intelligence are ever oppressed in society, or do you think they have all the same opportunities and benefits as people with higher
Again,
intelligence?
I've already talked about this, that the word stupid doesn't really refer in general to people.
Stupid people? To people of lower intelligence?
No, you keep getting hung up on this low IQ thing, but oftentimes...
I never brought up IQ. Whoa!
Well, no, so I don't even know how we would...
Whoa! You're the one that just brought up IQ. I'm just saying of like lower, higher intelligence people in general. You don't think there are people that are bullied with the word
Destiny,
stupid?
whatever measure we want to use, okay, a lot of the times these people are well within their control of not saying things that would make them completely immoral. So you can attack them for things that they are more than capable of changing. Like Cutie Cinderella is more than capable of recognizing that being ableist is a bad thing to do.
Okay, guys. Hey guys,
this is the
look,
final thing I'll say on this.
we got to move on.
Yeah. Okay. This is my good faith, like actual like engagement, because I asked you a lot of trolley questions. Because I know it frustrates the fuck out of you. Okay. This is my actual good faith engagement though with this topic. Is that like it appears that when people like you say that you are intrinsically like interested in certain issues, the idea of whether or not like harm is caused to a person isn't stuff that can be 100% accounted for under some sort of like abstract philosophical argument for or against good language. At the end of the day, we're worried about people's qualitative experience in society. Meaning,
what do you mean by qualitative?
I'm explaining it. Meaning, like, how do you feel when people do certain things to you, right? We're asking, like, how do people interpret things? How do you feel? Like, how can we reduce harm? So when somebody will sit here and say, like, literally say to you, like, hey, this word causes harm to me, right? You can attack every single thing that somebody like Cutie is saying. You're being ableist. When you say this, it's a bad argument. You can do all of that without calling somebody stupid. And if calling them stupid is causing a form of harm to them, there are other people in the audience who I guarantee you have been called stupid before that's caused harm to them. That's something that you can very easily avoid. Why would you die on the hill that you should be able to call somebody stupid when there are so many other ways that you can attack that person's argument? It makes it seem like whatever engagement you have with oppression or minorities or blah, 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 that doesn't matter. It's all some abstract philosophical argument to you when somebody right now is saying like, hey, I'm demonstrating real harm being caused by the words that you're using.
Because we look at the context of the situation in which someone is claiming to be offended, which is Cutie in this case, who is now, because I've now accused them of doing it, their way of making themselves feel better about themselves, or maybe making the audience not think they're as big a piece of shit as they actually are, is to turn it right back around on me. And the fact that they have never ever expressed discomfort with that sort of thing before leads me to believe that it's just a rhetorical strategy.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
No,
that's it. Cutie, no. We're voting. Vote in the poll. The poll is in the Twitch chat. There's not going to be it's in the Twitch chat. Go ahead and vote for who do you want to keep on the Rajj Royale podcast. We're using the Twitch poll for the very first time. We'll see how it works. Go ahead and vote in the poll in the Twitch chat. Twitch.tv/Rajjpatel with 2 J's. Go ahead and vote for who you want to keep, not kick. Vote, vote, vote. There's less people voting in this poll than any poll. I guess they can't vote in their Discords. No, maybe, I don't know. Is it? Where's the poll at? Is the poll not on mobile?
Like a drop down in the chat.
I don't know.
It's a drop down on chat. If you're not on mobile, does it not work?
No.
No.
If you're on mobile, does it not work?
No.
Just use a straw poll, Rob.
All right, let's use a straw poll. Sorry.
Yeah, figure out next time.
We'll figure it out for next time. I didn't know that it's just not. A lot of people can't vote. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. Use a straw poll. Use the straw poll. There we go, chat. If you're on mobile, go ahead and vote who you want to keep, not kick. It's on straw poll now. Keep, not kick. Vote, vote, vote.
So how's everybody doing today?
Sorry, there's intense music going on in the background.
Been a lot. Oh shit! I'm sorry. This has been an exciting episode, Raj.
It has been very exciting. Bella.
Yeah.
Unbelievable performance so far.
Yes,
Cutie. I think Cutie has a new enemy.
Like from a purely, because I don't think your intentions are actually poor. Well, no, actually, I sometimes think they are.
Mine?
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's just I'm a little bit irritated because like just earlier, like,
Gentlemen.
You can go into my private.
Here we go.
convos.
Destiny, you won the round.
I understand.
You run the round. You must vote between the bottom two people, Rem and Bella Fernandez.
No, don't make
You
me
must
do
eliminate
this, Raj.
one person from the show, Rem or Bella Fernandez.
Okay, listen, I'm not even gonna do a thing. Okay, Bella, you are very fucking cute, but Rem contributed so much to this conversation. Okay. Rem is also very cute as well. But okay, so I'm sorry. I'm keeping Rem on for the content, okay? Because I
understand that.
Okay.
He's keeping it going with you. I get it.
Bella, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Go ahead and shout out your channel, your Instagram, or whatever you want to shout out. Oh. Hello?
My computer froze. Wait, one sec.
Yep.
My computer just froze. Okay, it's
That's
back.
all
Okay.
right.
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
I can't even see you anymore. There
oh,
you go.
really?
Now you're back. Yes.
Am I still
Oh,
here? Okay.
now you're back. Yes, please go ahead and shout out your whatever you want to shout out.
Yeah, so my Twitch channel is just literally just this. Bella Fernandez with 2 Z's and then Bella Fernandez with 1 Z on Instagram. And yeah, I'm gonna probably stream soon, so come watch.
Thank you very much, Bella Fernandez. Take care. Thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, let's
Bye,
bring up
thank
something.
you.
Next round, we got something completely different. Trihex, you want to take it away?
Yeah, man, I've been it hit me kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, Destiny. Whenever you said that you don't care how others come off with your private demeanor, even if it includes the usage of like the insular or whatever it may be. You know, I don't choose to be black, and I ultimately have been offended by that word, whether it be hard R. I guess the one you were. I defended you for a very long time on that. I knew you had said hard R in the past. I knew that you whenever I tried to confront you with it on the podcast, I figured you had like an elaborative reason, which was just the DMCA clip where you where it was just like some like onomatopoeia thing that you tried to overreach into. But the difference here is that it's really disingenuous for me to continue the conversation with you if you privately still use hard R, the most contextually offensive word in modern American English language, or whatever you want to call it, dude. I'm not sure. It sat with me very problematically when you admitted that. I wish I had a more objective way to frame that, but just in terms of feelings, to me that wasn't cool.
Well, listen, I love you a lot, buddy. I mean, like, I enjoy talking to you and I enjoy interacting with you. If you legitimately think because of jokes that I say privately or whatever that I'm racist, I mean, that's completely on you for you to believe. I don't reach into your... Wait, hold on. I don't reach into your private life to figure out like what you say or don't say that I may or may not like it if you say it around me. I mean, if you think that like you can get offended, or if you don't like something, or not even get offended, but if you feel like something I say is like actually like a judgment to you or disrespectful to you in some private manner, I mean, that's completely for you to believe. Like, that's fine. I understand your opinion there, but...
Did I get the DT podcast canceled?
No, this is something I would have talked to him about in private, but I'm just choosing to like, because obviously my body language is implying I'm discomfortable currently, so I wanted to acknowledge it.
I like the podcast.
If you guys don't feel comfortable discussing this any further, we can surely you guys can do it off the stream. I don't want to.
It's a bit awkward now. I gotta say.
Well, it's just that like
I can discuss anything. For me, I have the only shit public.
If you guys feel uncomfortable at any moment, you guys we can move on, but it's up to you.
I feel like if I ever made like offensive, I don't know, Cuban jokes, or I don't know, I feel like if I did that check there, I would immediately reform for you, like I did for the F slur. I have different takes, obviously, on the modernization of language. I've gone over that too many times to count on Scuff Podcast or even the DT Podcast here, but I don't know. It just,
I mean, like
that was a weird one for me.
We can talk about, because I don't understand. I want to understand your point here, Destiny, but can you not understand how, like, for example, the N-word is going to cause a lot more harm than, for example, the word stupid?
It potentially could, yeah.
What do you mean potentially? Like, this is just
what I said. If I go upstairs right now, nobody's listening to me, and I say the N-word, I'm not causing anybody any harm, right? And I think that there are certain types of jokes that you could say between friends that are really fucking edgy, where you understand that, like, we don't actually hate whatever groups of people we joke about, that if said publicly could cause harm. But the question, like, do you not see how something could potentially cause harm? That's such a weaselly question. Like, yeah, of course. I'm going to acknowledge here, if I'm being honest with you, of course, anything could potentially cause harm. For sure. But
on average, do you think that the N-word causes more harm than the term stupid?
It's still a Weasley question, but yeah.
Why is that a Weasley question?
Well, because like when people are
because we're like, if we are a utilitarian, for example, we're looking at the amount of harm.
Making this an argument of ethics. It's not like
it is.
You don't have to bring up utilitarianism to have a question about anything we've been talking about so far.
Okay. Well, no, yeah, you do, because it depends on your moral system, and you know that. But if you are concerned with making the most people potentially happy or have the most pleasure or not cause the most amount of harm that you can, then do you not think that we should care about which words are going to cause the most amount of damage?
If that was like the way that I maximize like my normative ethics was to enact at all points of my life in ways that I think will like make everybody else like maximally happy, then for sure. But there are certain concessions that like I'm not willing to make. And one of those concessions is I'm not willing to say that every single thing.
Argument.
as well.
Whose argument?
This is something like this.
Yeah, I don't know what Dan's argument is. I don't care. But I'm not willing to make the concession that every single thing that I make in a private joke should be okay with every other single person in society. I'm not willing to make that concession. I don't want to do that. I think I should be able to joke about things or say things like privately that everybody shouldn't necessarily.
I know you
be okay
feel
with.
this way, Destiny, but we're looking at whether that is right or not. You can't really seem to give me a justification for doing this. I understand
I don't
you
need
think
to
it's
give
right.
you a justification for
Oh
why
my God,
something
Destiny,
is
yes, you
wrong.
do.
No, I don't. It's treated neutral unless you can compel me to believe in your view for why it should be
that's
wrong.
just so incorrect. You should be able to justify every
Wait, hold on. Are
single
you telling me
thing
that
you
any
do.
any moral act is considered negative unless it's given like a positive virtue or unless it's given
Everything
like
is either good or bad, Destiny. There is no neutral ground that exists. Something's always going to cause some amount of pleasure or some amount of pain to people. That's how it works. There's no zero that exists.
So
okay, but you're saying this. I'm sorry. I just don't understand
how you could think that saying the M word in private is
I don't
neutral.
know. I don't know why Rem is arguing ethics when he hurts people's feelings all the time. Yeah, but you hurt people's feelings all the time, do you not?
Oh no. Well, I might hurt your feelings, but I think I'm doing a greater good by doing so because I'm exposing people like you for being the pieces of shit that you are.
And how am I a piece of shit? Please tell me.
Being ableist. I mean,
how am I why am I ableist?
I don't want to go into this again.
No, that's the thing. Is
why I think you're ableist.
You can't take a moral high ground and then still be perfect. Like you sit here and you say that you're so perfect.
I do not claim that I'm morally perfect. I have done bad things in the past.
If we're being really ethic about, or we're talking about harm and we're talking about empirical studies and whatever the hell that is, like whatever you're trying to say, like there's actually like more able-minded suicides than there are people that have like mental issues. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sorry, are you trying to dismiss the harm that ableism does because more people commit suicide do not have a mental disability?
No, that's what you're trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. You'll have to re-explain this because I don't understand how able people or people who don't have mental disabilities not committing suicide.
Your argument is you're defending different words and the amount that they hurt people. And so if we're saying that saying the R word is more hurtful to society than calling someone stupid, I don't know if I can agree with that, because more often than not, able-minded people are called negative terms, and those are the ones that are committing suicide. If we're saying that the overall end-all is the impact on society, that is more effective. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't understand how you think that.
How you don't understand.
Because this argument doesn't really make any sense. I mean, the usage of stupid, for example, as someone who is mentally disabled, as someone who I'm part of mental disability advocacy groups. Most people I know who are disabled are not really harmed by the term stupid. I'm sure, like for example, Eva said that.
Okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean disabled. That could just be negativity in general. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. You're a negative person, and that impacts society more than
is going to drive someone to do anything to themselves.
I disagree.
Do you think that my negativity is so bad that someone's going to kill themselves? Is that really what you're saying right now, Cutie?
Because you never know what you're saying to what person.
Oh, hey guys,
that's a real hot take.
No, it's not a hot take.
It is. So it's funny because you literally said to someone who has a mental disability, they should stop being so sensitive. So maybe what you're saying could drive a mentally disabled person to suicide. Which of those do you think is more likely?
What I'm saying, Rem,
like, this is such a stupid argument.
In circles. No, it's not.
How am I talking in circles? I'm able to justify
said
every single thing I say.
stupid argument again. It's just annoying when all I try to do is keep up with you and all you do is call me stupid.
I'm sorry that you feel this way, but I'm very well. Like I'm not going to sit here, and she is ultimately. I'm sorry that I've offended her. I'm sorry that she feels that way.
You just gave the same apology that Bella did earlier. I'm sorry if you're offended.
Well, no, because I literally am. Because she has come on here. She says stupid takes. She says really offensive things that harm people who have mental disabilities, and I'm not going to sit here and tolerate it. I'm not going to tolerate people who are actively being ableist to people, who actively will shit on someone because they have a mental disability. And so fuck you.
Hold on.
If if you get mad at me for that.
Is this a deleted VOD episode, Rob?
It might be. It turned into that way.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know if we can make it through to the finals here.
I have no apologies for
for
offending someone who's being a piece of shit. That's
right.
Frankly it. If a Trump supporter starts crying,
I think we're done talking about it.
We're not even. Oh, about okay.
Like we're done talking about it.
Well, but okay, but you can understand what position this puts
when I
me in,
said we're
Raj.
done talking about it, we're done talking about it. Let's take a vote. Well, Cutie left, so
Jesus Christ, Raj, what the fuck? What's your next topic? I'm curious.
Well, it's supposed to be the finals next. Well, let's see here. 1 second. I have to make a new poll.
Well, if me and you make it, I'd like to continue our conversation. Actually,
yeah, sounds like a great.
hope-
Why not?
No,
Let's
I
go
really
all
hope
the
we
way
can-
to the finals.
No, I seriously. Oh God. All right.
Okay, let me say something.
No.
Just so.
No.
Well, but I'm not going to say anything about her. Okay, I'm just going to make a general statement.
Okay.
I feel like that's only fair.
He's digging.
Well, look. So I'm not digging because I'm justifying what I believe to be right. If I ultimately hurt someone who I believe is truly causing harm to people on Twitch, to society in general, and they get upset over that, I'm sorry that ultimately that hurts you, but I believe that I am doing a good thing by exposing these people for not being very good people.
Let's knock it off. It's done.
Well, that's all.
It's done. All right, Rem, thanks so much. Shout out your channel.
Okay, well, look, my channel is Rem the Bath Boy with an I. You can go to remthebathboy.com with an I, and then my Twitch is on there. And I stream philosophy lectures like 3 times a week, and you should come check me out.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Take care, Rem. Thanks. All right. I'm going to take Joker, and you guys shout out your channel. Twitch.tv/JokerDTV. Do you guys want to talk at all? Because you guys, they've been experiencing technical difficulty the entire time, so I'd like to at least give them an opportunity to. We've been trying to get them involved the whole time, but it's been, you guys have had trouble the whole time. What's up? Hello?
Yo, talk. Yeah, hello.
Yo, what's up? Yo, the finals are here between Trihex and Destiny. I know you guys are just sitting there awkwardly, so if you guys just want to dip out, you can.
Sure, yeah. No, we're gonna skip out, but like Destiny's gonna win this.
Fuck off. Get him out of here. Kick him out.
Hold on. Another thing. We're gonna be going IRL live soon, so you can definitely find us on Twitch TV/JokerDTV. Jon Zherka. It's gonna be on my channel, Jon Zherka /Twitch TV.
Thanks.
Twitter is Zherka official.
Thanks, John. Take care.
Hey, chat. Hey, hey, Raj, great show. Don't delete the VOD.
Okay. Okay. Well, we don't have to have any. Man. All right. Well, here we are.
Here we are.
So if I can elaborate on my position a bit more here. So I'm actually, I've said before here when it comes to the usage of language that like, yeah, I've had friends around me use, N-word with an A or even the H and use it with an R, and I understand all that right there. I guess the difference is, in this case, is that like, with you, I understand that you're admitting that you do one thing, but when you admit it publicly that you do X in private, that does bring context to how one would view you.
Oh, your mic's out. I'm sorry,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So whenever you admit publicly that you do X in private, that does add a context to how one is to perceive you at that point. I understand. I completely get your principles as far as like the use of language and shout, I guess like in R and
it keeps cutting. Sorry. Just for some reason. Yeah, he keeps like auto adjusting or something. Maybe tighten the cord a little bit.
Maybe I'm just not like shouting on. I'm sorry. You're good. Yeah. So okay, I'll repeat here again. whenever you admit publicly that you use certain edgy stuff privately, that doesn't bring the context of how you are perceived. I totally get your principles. I totally get that you like hypothetically you shouted like the F slur in the middle of the woods. Does any LGBTQ person get offended? I completely get that. But I guess the difference here is there is a tangible thing with me that I don't choose to be that now changes how I perceive you. And it's a little bit weird that you want to like, I don't know, that doesn't like change like your dynamic, I guess, as far as our friendship goes. I wish I had like a better. I guess another way to look at it too is that earlier you used an example of like if you took like an offensive selfie or like a dick pic and and then it leaked and then someone was offended by that whatever the picture or whatever example you used earlier, then it's not your fault for that person being offended because you took the picture. It's whoever leaked the picture, right? So in that framing, I guess here, if like somebody like Mitch Jones uses like the N with a hard R and then leaks his own usage of it from private to now public on his Twitch or whatever, did you not essentially do the same thing here by admitting publicly what you possibly do privately?
I mean, I think it's different because I don't like say the particular types of jokes that I say privately. So like this is the idea between like engaging in edgy forms of humor is like a really hard line to walk. And multiple people historically, even famous comedians have come out and have said that like there's a lot of difficulty in doing this. The two most common examples I'll go to is Chris Rock has a very popular skit. I'm sure you're aware of it, that like he now regrets doing publicly because like racist people take that skit and they use it in a way that empowers their racism. And then Dave Chappelle also on Oprah, came out and said like, I'm not really sure how I feel about some of the skits that I was doing because there were people that are laughing at these skits, and now I'm not entirely sure if I feel comfortable with like how they engage with that form of humor. So the way that I view like these types of jokes, and I don't know like what people's impressions are, that like when I'm in private, I'm just like going through like the list of every black person I know and saying like this person is an N-word or something, or like finding all the gay people and going like, oh, this person is F or whatever. Like typically they're just really edgy jokes that come from things like the Chappelle Show, which you could argue like maybe things like the Chappelle Show or maybe certain like George Carlin skits shouldn't be public, that these are things that are just like too edgy to be public, or they empower certain types of people. I could see arguments like for or against like different types of humor being made public, but I don't think, for instance, if you had a group of friends that was enjoying like certain episodes of the Chappelle Show privately, if you knew these people, like, and I say no, like if you're reasonably certain these people aren't racist, like I'm not going to be bothered if I think that they're getting laughs out of like the Chappelle Show. However, I wouldn't be comfortable watching the Chappelle Show with say like a bunch of conservative friends, depending on the skit, because I know how they'll take it. So like, for instance, I mean, we could name like a million Chappelle skits, but like the ones like the wife swap episode or the husband swap episode or whatever, where there was a difference between like the white family and the black family, that like type of humor, that's prime material for a lot of racist conservatives. And you know that the way they would engage that would be super irresponsible. But just because I have a friend that I know enjoys the Chappelle Show isn't going to change the way that I view them. I would need more information. Like if somebody were to tell me like my favorite Chris Rock skit was like the N-word versus black people skit or whatever, I'm not going to instantly think like, this person's racist. I would probably need a little bit more information, right? Just because the type of humor that people use as privately could be interpreted in a negative way doesn't mean I'll necessarily think that without knowing more about them. That's just the way that I privately engage with humor. If you have like a particular view where there are certain things that you should never say, certain types of jokes, certain words that are just off limits, and if you say it, then you're de facto bad, I mean, that's something that clearly we disagree on. If you want to have like a different opinion of me because of the way that I view that, I mean, obviously I have to accept it, like that's your opinion. I mean, nothing will ever be leaked where I say something like, I really do think black people are intrinsically lazy, or I really do think gay people shouldn't be hired, or I really do think, like, I've never ever had opinions like this, and I never will. But I do enjoy like forms of edgy humor, the Boondocks, the Chappelle Show, George Carlin skits, some Louis C.K. stuff. Like there are things that I enjoy. Now there could be problematic aspects to these humors if you engage with them in certain ways, but I also think they can be enjoyed in responsible ways. And that's just like, that's my view on humor. It always has been, more or less, and for the foreseeable future, it probably will be. And that's the way that I engage, I guess, like in a private manner with humor, because obviously I understand publicly, like I have different responsibilities for how other people will interpret the messages that I say once they've left my mouth.
Well, I guess my response there would be like, I don't know if there's ever a possibility that you can probably be too honest, because I don't know what is one to take from that other than like, I don't know. I feel like if you gotta, I don't even know what genuinely would offend you at this point. Then I don't know if you're just that far dissociated from any form of an identity. of any kind, whether it be because you're half Cuban or half white or male or whatever it may be. But like,
I mean, I am like, I'm like, in terms of what I present as, like, you can say half Cuban, I'm white as fuck. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I live a Hispanic experience in the United States, like 100%, right? So I present as white, straight, and male. That might be something that insulates me from a lot of like offensive types of things. But like, there are things that people do privately. No, like if I'm being totally honest, it's pretty hard to offend me. I do recognize that I'm like relatively out of the norm there for sure. And maybe that insulates me, or maybe that informs my opinion in some ways. But like, there are people that talk about things or do things that I don't generally enjoy or approve of, but like I try not to let that shape my opinion of the person unless they're actively doing it around me. So like, I don't want to use like furry porn as an example. Like I'm trying to think of something more serious. But like I have like some friends that are pretty conservative, and like I kind of disagree with their viewpoints. But like how much I'm going to hang out with that person, or you know what I think of that person, is going to depend on like how much they bring out that like viewpoint while I'm around them. Like if I'm around somebody, they're constantly saying shit like, you know, like I hate black people, blah blah blah, or I hate, you know, public healthcare, all like minimum wage workers are lazy. Like, well, okay, well I'm not going to hang out with you anymore. Like fuck this. Like I'm done with this. Like this is stupid as fuck. But in terms of like, I guess like trying to judge like a person's character based on things that they may or may not say privately, I don't know. I think that's like a step that's too far in a certain direction for me. I do acknowledge what you're saying.
It's just
about
weird that like if you had like hypothetical leaks of you using such edgy stuff, then you're like okay with the reaction being negative. But because you only admitted publicly that you do it privately, but there's no tangible proof you actually doing it or an example of it, then it's okay.
If
that's the whole thing.
Wait, can you rephrase that again?
Like if you used an edgy joke with the N-word with a hard R, that's what we're talking about here, right? Let's
wait,
sure
can
I'm
we
being
go on, just to be
clarified
clear,
here.
it's not just N-word with a hard R. I don't know if people think it's like that's very, very, very rare, like a joke involving that comes up. But it's like it's other forms of humor that could be interpreted as homophobic or misogynistic or ableist or whatever. Like it encompasses like a wide variety of things. It's not literally just like this is like the one thing that I'm obsessed with saying. I don't know if people like have that idea, but like it's not just that thing. But it's just like it's basically like broader. It's forms of humor that I engage in privately that I would never do publicly because they run the risk of being harmful or misinterpreted or something like that. Just to clarify that. Okay,
well, then let me clarify on where I'm trying to come from here, then, because it's because it was that when we own a DP podcast, I think 2 weeks ago here, that was the thing that I was attempting to get elaborative context on. That way, people get off my ass about it because I'm apparently the emperor of like the usage of the N-word in every context ever. Everyone wants my take on it, whether I'm here or scuffed or on a DT podcast. So I got ultimately the reception that I kind of gave you a free pass there. And here we are, because ultimately you clarified on your DMCA clip, the one that got taken down, the chess match, that obviously that was an onomatopoeia and that was a super reach, and you didn't actually say in or the hard R there. But I haven't heard you since then like definitively say that you don't use it or that you don't want to use it.
Well, like, so I've always been clear that I say it like privately, but like, or not that, but any type of edgy humor. But I mean, I don't say it like publicly. I'm not like calling people like hard R, but I don't do that with like any slur. And like, even before it got popular on Twitch or whatever, like I've even tried to back off of like ableist language, like calling people retarded or autistic. Like that's something I've backed off on publicly. Now that doesn't say anything about what I say privately, but publicly, like, yeah, like I've been pretty clear. Like this has been a pretty open stance I've had for like a long time. It just comes out every now and then when somebody wants to try to burn me or whatever. But yeah, like I mean, I don't like say it jokingly publicly for all the reasons I've stated like prior to this.
I don't know. I can only just say that whenever you admit that, and there's not really like an attempt to detour from it, I can't help but just think it's a little bit weird. Like I don't know, like what hypothetically, what would Eva say if she like, you know, if you apply the same kind of argument here? Oh, I mean, I'm for LGBTQ, but I still use the F slur in private. Just, you know, I just make sure that it's not around you. You know, then I mean, I
think that there are ways that you can engage with edgy humor responsibly, and I think that there are ways that you can engage with edgy humor in irresponsible ways. So, like, here's like a really good example of this.
So, am I supposed to like just remove the context there? Like, if I know that you use F slur or like N with a hard R, like you openly admit it to me in a very transparent manner right now, I'm supposed to just like take that and like completely not apply any contextual relevance to you as a character or a person at all. I'm supposed to be able to like apply some crazy principle that like, oh, it's because he uses it in private doesn't mean it's not a reflection at all about Steven the character at all whatsoever.
I mean, you don't have to do anything, right? Your emotional interpretation of anything that happens is always yours to own. I can never tell you how you should or shouldn't feel about a particular thing. Now, if you're asking me how I would argue you should evaluate somebody's character, then yeah, I would say that there's a more holistic approach than the type of humor a person employs, although that could be part of your evaluation or assessment of a person's character. But I mean, in terms of how you personally interpret anything, you can always choose who you wish to associate with or without based on what they do publicly or privately. That's always within your right to do, of course. But as an example, a form of edgy humor that you can engage with in a positive or negative way. Everybody's seen the "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" clip where the guys talk about raping the woman on the boat, right? The mattress one. Do you know what I'm talking about? The guy's going out on a boat and he's talking about buying a mattress and putting it below deck so that the girl will sleep with them because they'll be out in the ocean, and if she says no, the guy will either rape or murder her. That's the joke. It sounds really dark when I explain it that way, but that's the joke. But when you're watching this scene, right, there's two types of laughs that you can get from this.
Jesus Christ.
Now you can laugh at the scene because it's clearly fucking ridiculous. This is a horrible thing, right? You shouldn't what?
I don't think you could laugh at it, but
well, no, the joke in "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia," the laughs usually come from how ridiculous or absurd the positions of the characters are.
Well, I mean,
that's the humorous part. Or even in Seinfeld,
I don't think there's any humor in that.
Yeah, you're really gonna do this to me, Raj? I know you don't believe this. Don't. Oh fuck! Wait, are you really gonna do that to me? I'm talking about because of the implication scene in "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia." Okay. Or actually, you know what? It's totally within your right to do it. If you don't think that any form of humor like that is ever acceptable, then that's fine. That's your right to say that. But I think that you can find jokes out of incredibly dark or edgy situations like that. But there are ways that you can engage with it responsibly, where the joke is literally this is insane and ridiculous, and it's not, this is crazy. Or you can laugh because you think it's actually an acceptable or a good thing, right? Two different people can engage with it in very different ways. One that I think is acceptable and one that isn't acceptable. The reason why I don't make those jokes publicly is because I can't control who's going to engage with it in an unacceptable manner, where people are laughing because they think oh wow, it's funny to rape people. But if I'm with a private group of friends and I'm reasonably certain what their values are, then I think I can engage in edgy forms of it because I know they'll engage with it in a way that isn't reinforcing harmful or oppressive or negative views of minorities or certain people in public or people in society or whatever. That's my general argument for it.
Well, okay. So let me just continue here then. I guess it feels a little bit weird because I would put our friendship ahead of my principles to an extent. If there was something that offended you greatly that I said or did, whether it be tied to anything involving your identity, your race, orientation, whatever it may be, again, maybe you're open relationship, close relationship, whatever it may be, right? If I made a joke that offended you and you communicated that to me, I would make a great effort as your friend to deter from doing that publicly and privately in a genuine attempt to reform for the betterment of our friendship because I like you. I'm not hearing the same thing from you if hypothetically using N with a hard R in private and my acknowledgement and your admittance of such would be offensive to me. I guess that's where this disconnect comes right now. I get your principles and I get that, but
I understand your argument, right? But the flip side that I would say is I respect you enough. I like the way that I associate with you. I like the friendship. I like talking to you personally, privately and publicly. And I would never reach into your private life to find out if there are things that you joke about that I don't agree with. I would respect your private life, and I would never make a demand of you when I'm not in your presence for you to act in a certain way because I don't think I have that authority over it. I'm not your parent. I'm not your wife or girlfriend. I'm not your child. I'm not somebody that lives here. I would never make that demand of you. And then I would say, I would hope that, reasonably, that same request could be respected of me. That you don't demand to control the types of, jokes that I use in a private setting when you're not around me. That would be, the flip side of it.
I guess the difference there is, you wouldn't reach, but I didn't reach. You broadcasted it.
I don't broadcast the particular jokes I say. I'm just broadcasting my belief on whether or not you can or cannot say private jokes or have edgy humor in a private or public manner. If I was sitting here saying here's the private jokes that I say, blah 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 blah, here's a homophobic joke or an edgy joke or whatever, then yeah, I think that this complaint would be more valid. It's well, hold on, dude. You're literally fucking saying them publicly now. What the fuck? But if I just say yeah, I think that you should be able to use edgy jokes privately versus publicly, and then you go well, hold on. Now I'm really upset because you just told me to use edgy jokes. Well, it's not I'm using that form of harmful or edgy joke around you. I'm not reinforcing any homophobic or racist or whatever forms of humor or whatever. I'm not repeating what I'm saying privately. I'm just saying that there is a difference between a private and a public way of joking around with people is my position.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not. I really don't want to try to drag or anything here, but then it seems like any attempt of reform of of utilization of language involving you is disingenuous. Then
what do you mean by that?
I can go on a huge tangent about how when I used the F slur in October 2018, I got slammed for it really hard, and I could have went on a huge rant about how I feel there's a modernization of language, and I could have went on this awesome ass stream or whatever about how the F slur, 1 syllable and 2 syllable, its modern usage through online gaming communication chat rooms, and that the context of what it's used there has nothing to do with actually belittling or demeaning homosexual or LGBTQ people. It just happens to be the same word that's used in 2 different ways to be ultimately offensive. And you can bring some way to contextualize about right there. I could die on that hill and say, no,